It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Monday, July 11th, 2022. Hello again, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I am fired up about today's show. This is going to be an amazing show, one of our best since we returned almost a year ago. There is something in the air. It is beautiful. It's the Saturday month of the calendar year, July. No better month than now. My first show as a 40-year-old. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. There's a lot to discuss. Great weekend of fights. Big weekend here, New York, Long Island, UBS Arena. No time to waste. Let's get into the guests today because, my friends, we've got an all-timer for all of you. Now, as always, we are presented by our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are the official sports betting partner of the UFC and, of course, more importantly, the MMA. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use code THEMMAHour for a special offer when you sign up. Again, that's code THEMMAHour only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Back into the show. We'll talk to GC and the crew. New York Rick is here as well. It is Mondays. Recap the weekend that was. Recap his bets. Recap how I got screwed with my H-Dow. All that to come. Also, 4 o'clock, Jake Paul. Have you heard of him? The problem child. Going to sell out Madison Square Garden August 6th. Got the press conference here tomorrow in New York City with Hasim Rahman Jr. Not Rahman, not Rahman, Rahman. Say it with your throat, Rahman. I'll be hosting it. Big week. We also have some breaking news regarding this show. This show, breaking news, massive, massive news. Stay tuned for that. All that happening around the 4 o'clock hour. El Pantera, Yair Rodriguez, going to join us at 3. Can't wait for that. He's headlining the show, UBS Arena against Brian Ortega this Saturday on ABC. 2:30, Chris Curtis, the action man. He's replacing Darren Till against Jack Hermansson. Can't wait for that. He'll join us to talk about that all. My doppelganger, Aiemann Zahabi, big win for him over EKC, a.k.a. Ricky Tercios on Saturday. He'll join us at around 2:10. Can't wait for that. First time that I get to interview him on the show. It's going to be like that meme of the Spider-Man, Superman. I don't know which one. They're pointing at each other. You know what I'm talking about. But no time to waste, my friends, because we have a very special VVVIP guest in studio. Without further ado, let us say hello to a man who I'm not really quite sure where we stand. Are we friends? Are we rivals? Are we competitors? Are we colleagues? I don't know. There he is, the one and only. The man, the myth, the legend himself, the disruptor of all disruptors.
How are you, brother? Yes.
Andrew Schulz.
Dude, thank you so much for having me.
A really big deal. Look what we have for you on this.
You kept the crop top, yes. but look what I did. Now that we're friends.
Oh, yeah.
The world knows we're friends now.
We're friends.
Okay.
Kayfabe.
Okay, we've made kayfabe. I got you.
Well, I saw this on your
male
Instagram.
Version
wow. Thank you. So now we're buds.
Now we're boys.
Okay, thank you so much.
Now we're together. Because I've retired.
You retired from being the greatest?
I've retired from MMA journalism.
Oh, really? Okay. We shall talk about that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this. You're a big
welcome.
deal. I heard you don't appear on podcasts unless you're paid. Is that true?
Who said that?
That's the word around town.
Who told you that?
I mean,
could
listen,
not be more
I don't
untrue.
reveal sources. I'm a good journalist.
Okay.
But it's good to have you here. Fellow New Yorker.
Yes, that's
fellow
right.
New York Jew.
No.
I know.
You found out about this.
From you.
But I kind of tricked you.
You did. Well, first of all, your name is Andrew Schulz.
Yeah, Schultz. Most people assume I'm Jewish.
The nose is very Jew-like. Yeah.
That's you that said that racist thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And I think you told me to come to your show at Radio City.
But it was on
Passover.
That's right.
I said, how dare you as a fellow Jew do a show on Passover? And then you said, little known fact, I'm not Jewish. I look Jewish. My name is Jewish.
Yes.
Or Jewish-ish.
Yeah.
But you're not. Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, I mean, obviously growing up here, you know, everybody assumes I am. Everybody assumed I mean, I went to school you grew up in the city.
No, I grew up in Montreal.
Why? Oh, no, you moved to the city.
Yes,
that's right.
2004.
I went to school on the Upper East Side, and I remember when I was like younger, I asked my dad why we weren't Jewish. And it sounds so silly as you get like older, but like when you're younger and you're on the Upper East Side, like it was me, there was a kid named Quanamana Pamford and Alexis Perez were like the kids that weren't Jewish in our public elementary school. And I asked my dad, I was like, what's wrong with us? Like, why are we not? And then my dad kind of chuckled. He's like, oh, you're going to find out as you get older that most people are not.
Right.
Most people are not Jewish.
But I'm assuming you had Jewish friends.
Yeah,
I mean, in New York.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're friends.
Yeah.
This is so exciting. So great to have you here. You're on freaking fire. You're
Things
in the
have been
news.
Cool. I'm here. This is how I know I made it.
We need to
bro.
start with like the new news, if you will, and then we're gonna get into MMA. You're a big MMA fan. Even like when I listened to you with Izzy, when I listened to you with Jake Paul recently, I could tell when someone follows the news. You follow the news.
Yeah, I like it.
You know what's going on in the sport. Like you mentioned a couple things. Like he was like, was Leon Edwards his last fight? He was talking about Nate. You were like, yeah, it's Leon Edwards. Like you knew everything.
Yeah.
You love this sport.
I follow it. I'm a boxing guy, so like.
Oh really?
Yeah, my dad used to be in journalism, so he would like cover fights back in the day. Like
For who?
NBC. He produced news for NBC when he was in Baltimore. He was an on-air like reporter, so he would go to like Ali's camps and that kind of stuff.
Sick.
And like, so I grew up like a boxing family, right? Like, so you know, we get the pay-per-views and everything like that. And I didn't even like MMA at first. I think it was like too much going on for me, and I was trying to be like to the stupid like boxing purist.
Right.
And then there's something about MMA. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things about it that are they're amazing, but like. I love that I don't need to know who's fighting, and it's almost as entertaining as if I do know the marquee fighters. Like the scrap itself is just so incredible. I went to one in like the Hilton Hotel down in Miami. I was living in Miami during the pandemic, and like I didn't even know the guys, and I'm just watching it. I'm like, oh, and there were boxing matches and MMA fights on the same card. I'm sure you see some of these
hybrid,
and I'm telling you, man, it is just unbelievable. So I'm like, okay, wow, something's happening right here, and I just like the fact that like. The fighters are signed to the organizations, so the organizations benefit if the fights are interesting. Where in boxing, you're trying to like build up a fighter, so it's just tomato cans he's fighting for the first 20 fights.
Right.
So none of the undercards are interesting. Like I was watching the UFC fight last weekend, 2 weekends ago?
There's one every weekend essentially.
Yeah.
Which one? The pay-per-view?
The pay-per-view.
Yeah, 276, 2 weekends ago.
It was 2 weekends ago, and like you watch the undercard, and you ever look at like the stands?
Yeah.
That's the most impressive thing.
Yeah.
Like for people who haven't been to a boxing match, like you will go watch like Mayweather fights, it's empty until Mayweather's fighting.
Yep.
And the fact that they've found a way to get people in there is just like, and I imagine it's similar with the other organizations.
Not as good as the UFC.
Really?
Like UFC, you ever been to a Vegas UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's people there. I've been to Vegas boxing. I was at Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah.
And no joke, co-main event, Gervonta Davis, who has now become a big star.
Yeah.
No one was
Nobody's there.
It was at the T-Mobile Arena, probably for boxing. I think it's like 18,000, 19,000. You're looking at my weird pencil here.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very weird. It's just a thing.
It's all good.
And no one was there. Then once the main event started, everyone like
Everybody flew.
UFC, you're there for the first fight. You know everyone. Like we know who. I know Jessica Rose Clark was the first fight of the 276 card. So yes, it is different. It's a lot more like pro wrestling in that regard, where you know from the beginning to the end. But you have become, I feel like Izzy's your guy. Like that camp is your guy.
Izzy.
How did you guys become BFF?
Izzy was like an avid listener to Brilliant Idiots. I do a podcast with Charlemagne the God.
Yep.
And then Flagrant. He was listening to Flagrant a lot. And then when he came, I forget, he was on Flagrant a few times. I don't know if it was after the Gastelum fight. We definitely had him on after Gastelum, but maybe even once before that. And it was just like, I don't know. I always think you like come up with your peers. You know, I think a lot of times like, and you probably noticed this because you're like a fan of sports. It's like you'll like congratulate a young fighter and tell them they're doing a great job when they're young and nobody knows about them, and then they become champions. And they're like, yo, Ariel always said that I was really impressive and he liked what I was doing early on. I'm going to make time for him and come on. Where a lot of people, I think they just chase the blue checks and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it was just, I don't know, like we were just. We would always talk online, and he was always very like sweet. And then, you know, I saw this guy, and I was like, "Wow, he's really fucking talented. It'd be awesome if he was the guy." And then, you know, he goes and becomes the guy. And everybody's giving a hard time about the fight. What did you think about that?
What did you think?
I think what happens is like as you're champion and as you're dominant, you are fighting the riskiest fighters. So the fights are not going to be as entertaining when you're getting a tomato can and knockout in the first round.
Right.
Now, he can take extreme risk, which I think is what everybody wants to see. I want to see my friend dominate people, and I love the technician that he is. I'm learning to like appreciate the minutia of MMA a little bit more. So like I like seeing him set up his strikes and that kind of stuff. I can see how a guy like Chris Pratt, who's a sweet guy, is like, I just want to see carnage, dude.
Right.
Like I want to see, you know, a bar fight. And that's probably why most people can enjoy the sport without really having any knowledge of it.
Right.
You know?
There's so much for him to lose. Why should Izzy put his neck on the line, get knocked out, go all the way down the ladder, less pay, less sponsorship, all that stuff, because some drunk dudes in Las Vegas want to see want to see them scrap. Want to see Rock'em Sock'em. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that he has gotten all the heat and no one is blaming Jared, who's the guy who's essentially supposed to
go get it.
Yes. Now I think that look, it takes two to tango. Sometimes
That's a
guys
good
don't.
point. Why is
No one's blaming Jared.
Don't you want to get the belt?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're the guy who has to
yeah.
come in there and bring the fight to Izzy, especially Izzy, a counter striker. He's doing his thing. Bring the fight to me.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to bring the fight to me, I'm just going to chill here. Now you have to win the rounds. Like I don't know if you saw the Rose Namajunas fight a couple of months ago.
That was the most I saw live. That was the most peculiar fight
Right.
that I've ever seen. And it was almost like, I mean, she said afterwards, like, I was just doing what my corner said. This was like the plan. But like, sometimes you got to deviate from that shit. Like,
so that's a case where you can't, even if you're a champion, you can't totally sit back.
Yeah.
But Izzy was doing enough to where I think Izzy is so popular and so exciting that people have this high standard for him. And if he comes here, they're like, oh man, the entrance was more entertaining than the walk. By the way, the entrance was tremendous, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that incredible?
the urn? Yeah,
God, he's incredible. Like he is such a showman.
Yeah.
I wish they would let him lean in even more because he has to walk out with the urn and the hat, but he's wearing the stupid Venom gear.
because you can't wear an outfit now. They
Yes.
limit. So that's the thing. It's like the UFC wants these guys to be characters and promote their own fights and rewards the guys that do that. But there are these limitations that stop them from doing it. What is interesting, though, is seeing the guys react in real time to what works, right? Like you saw it with the Conor era, and not only people dressing like people started to talk that shit. Now people using Twitter, calling each other out.
Yeah.
It's like they're marketing their own fights, which is great. That's money in your pocket.
But
You know what I mean?
there's
Like-
a limitation there. And you were saying like, oh, in boxing, they're fighting cancers and that, but the boxers are making way more money. Like the creme de la creme. And Izzy in boxing is making more money than Izzy. Now, Izzy's actually one of the highest paid guys.
Right.
But he should be making way more.
So that's the thing with the fighter pay. I always wonder about this. Like, because I had Portnoy on, Dave Portnoy, Barstool, right?
Yep.
Have you guys spoken?
Yeah, we did a thing together. You used mid. He called you out for it. Yes.
Okay, so that was so funny.
Yes. No, we did one show together, the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight.
Oh, that's right. That's
they
right.
were on the
that's right.
broadcast. Yeah.
So like, and he said something interesting when he was talking about like how he hires people. He goes, "Listen, we're hiring 10 people. We're paying 10 of them, and we're hoping one of them pops.
Right.
And the reason we can pay all these guys is because if one pops, we're going to make our money back from that one." It's kind of like the music strategy. And I thought about that with the UFC, and I was like, listen, I'm sure there's wiggle room. I'm sure you can pay all these guys more. I want these guys to make all the fucking money in the world. Like,
Right.
I want them to, what did Dana White say? It was something like, every time it's a going out of business sale, every boxing fight. I want that for Izzy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want
100%.
to have 4 McLarens. Like,
Yes.
he's out there, he's risking his fucking life with CT, all this other stuff.
100%.
It's like, go get the money. But I do have empathy for the risk in signing all the fighters instead of just having one guy that you promote against tomato
Sure.
cans.
Yeah.
So maybe there's like a middle ground somewhere, or maybe not even middle. Maybe it has to come up even higher than that. But I feel like the conversation can be more nuanced about that.
You just like those free tickets that they give you.
Bro, I love that
they're
shit,
great.
dude.
They're great.
I love that shit, dude. And it's,
They feature you on the Twitter. You're doing videos.
just
and
right
shit.
there. That's funny.
You were
when
like
I'm
on the
watching
cage, right? Weren't
We,
you like?
we were close. I mean, like, to be honest, I go through Joe.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
And
you
Joe
live in
is
there.
just the man. Like, it's,
How did you meet Joe?
just from stand-up. Joe is like, he saw some stuff of mine, and this is back when I was like putting out, specials on YouTube, and I still put everything out. I love YouTube.
Yeah.
And
He reached out to you?
yeah, and he reached out, and actually Schaub was the guy who connected us. Your
Really?
best friends, yeah. Schaub connected us.
We're good. We're good.
And
Great interview with him, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love him.
Walking that truck, yeah.
Yeah. Son of fucking drive it, my
That was
boy.
good. That was a solid 1.7
Reddit
out of
just
10.
exploded right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It just went on fire.
T-Fat kid.
So, but no, like he saw some stuff of mine, and he asked.
So
me to
how
come
were
on
you
the
friends
pod.
with Schaub?
And Schaub, I guess, just knew me from stand-up. I did The Fighter and the Kid.
Got it.
And I was kind of doing something different in stand-up, which is pushing all my stuff on YouTube and social media. Now this is a very common, successful practice for guys. But back in the day, it was like people wanted to put their content on like Netflix, and they wanted to put it on HBO and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I had this feeling, I wasn't getting those opportunities. I had this feeling like the people were on YouTube and social media.
Right.
And once I went that way, it was really changed it for me. So I think Joe saw that, and he nurtured it. And we had a really cool. That first pod with him, I think, changed like the course of stand-up in a lot of ways. In that, like, I think people realized there was another option. If they couldn't get a Comedy Central hour, they couldn't get a Netflix, they're like, oh shit, this guy's selling tickets and he's putting stuff on YouTube. I think a lot of comics started to do it and like see themselves building followings, and it was like, oh wow, I can eat what I hunt? That's even possible? Whereas before, it's like, every time you go to a festival, you're like trying to kiss the ass of some exec.
Right.
It was kind of almost like actors, you're in like Hollywood, and like everybody thinks they're like one conversation away from being, the new
next,
Terminator or some shit.
So you do have, so you have one under your belt. You have Schulz Saves America.
Schulz Saves America I did on Netflix.
At Netflix, yeah. I'm talking because like you were the YouTube guy, but then you did have the big Netflix special.
Yeah, not stand-up though. I did. It was more like a
thing, okay. Yeah. But then you were going to have a second one. Now let's get into it.
Yeah.
Infamous.
Yeah, I was going to do
you had the tour.
Special, yeah.
Killing it all over the place.
Yeah.
Even went to my hometown of Montreal. They treat you well over there?
Dude, I love Montreal.
Tremendous place, right?
Montreal is, it's like soul. There's flavor. It's like...
feels like you're in Europe.
It has the vibe, man.
The bagels. Did you try the bagels?
Dude, that's the thing that's like slept on.
Yeah.
Like, Jews got a bagel recipe that they don't give nobody. And like, whatever Jews went to LA didn't get it. Like, it's like an East Coast fucking thing.
Right,
and then, am I allowed to curse on this?
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay. Do whatever you want.
And they're just like, no, we're not giving it to the LA Jews. I don't know why you guys are hoarding it and not giving it to them, but like the bagels in Montreal, different bagels also.
Different, totally different.
The big hole.
Yeah.
Almost looks like a donut, if you will.
It does, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But delicious. And no, I love Montreal. It's amazing. And I went up there, we did 2 shows there, and they were just fucking great. And it's always fun. You got fun little local jokes. You guys, your politicians are...
Yes.
You're funny out there.
You and Trudeau, so you have this, and then it's going to come out on a platform. Now, you're not going to say which one.
Yeah.
Because you're not known for biting your tongue, but on this one, you're biting your tongue.
It's not necessarily, I don't look at it biting my tongue because I look at it like I'd be a hypocrite if I'm going to criticize them because I have projects on every streamer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm in a movie coming out on Netflix. I have another deal with Amazon. I have a movie coming out on Hulu. Like I'm not against streamers.
Okay.
Like I think this is good. I think we should be able to work together. This is great. I'm against editing my jokes. So I'm not gonna edit the jokes because you think, you're gonna get like Twitter backlash or whatever the fuck it is. So
how does it work? You put together the special, and this was one that was in Austin, right?
Yeah, we filmed it in Austin at the Paramount.
And it's just one. Like, you don't mash them all together to make it the ultimate. It's just like one.
No, we do 4 shows.
You do 4 shows.
And then we take what is best from the 4
Are you wearing
shows.
the same thing every time?
Every single time. Sweating in it.
Oh, that is horrible.
Yeah,
I've always wondered about that.
Good question.
Is it always just one?
Good question.
Wow, so you're wearing the same thing?
Yeah.
You don't have 4 different outfits of the same thing?
If I was smart, I would.
Okay.
But no, I
Is
didn't.
it back-to-back nights?
2, yeah, so back-to-back nights. I think we did like a Sunday and Monday, and then we did those 4 shows, and like, the nerves are up the first show. I don't know if you feel that way like when you're doing live.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And the thing about nerves is like they warp your perception of what happened because instead of living in the moment, you're thinking about the moment, especially when you're doing a special. Like, ooh, did that joke land the way I want to land?
Yeah.
So I wanted 4. I actually paid out of pocket to have the second day because I was just like, I want as many interesting moments. I want I want this to be like a magical piece. I don't know if you're familiar with my stand-up, but a lot of times I'll also like talk to the crowd.
Of course.
And I was like, I want to be able to have the loosest, most comfortable, wild set. So
which one do you feel like you use most? Like, is it the 4th one?
I think 4. It was either 4 and like, I think 4. That was like the base.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And is it tricky as far as editing? Now I'm getting really into like the
good.
inside
This is
baseball.
good, yeah.
I'm curious, like how often, because you want the same people sitting in the same spot,
Of course,
right?
you want continuity also.
Yeah.
Like you want continuity within the jokes. Like you want continuity with the sound.
With
like,
the way you're speaking, yeah.
Because that's more important. Like the best joke is obviously the most important, right? And the best like reaction, the best delivery of it. And I'm like such a stickler to these things. Like it could be a syllable that's off, and I'm like, ooh, we could have saved that. But at the same time, the continuity for the person watching, you don't want to see something jarring, some cut that makes you go, hey, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
Most people won't even notice that. But like for me, I can be such a perfectionist. That's what I'm trying to learn to like break away from. But it's hard when like it's your creative endeavor.
Of course,
You
it's
know
your
what I-
baby. Yeah,
Yeah, and
a
it's
big
like
freaking deal.
you got to deal with the repercussions of not being a perfectionist on it.
So who's editing it?
We do.
You have a
Me and my
team.
guys.
So is like your own production company?
Yeah,
Who does the podcast, Flagrant?
Yeah,
No longer
We had a
Flagrant
production
2?
company shoot it. They were amazing.
Yeah,
And,
crazy cameras and everything.
Put a bunch of cameras in there. Yeah. So
Okay,
it's really
and
cool.
then you basically, part of the deal is you deliver it to the streamer?
Yeah.
Now, do you have the deal with the streamer in place before the tour?
Yeah. Not
Okay.
before the tour, before we do the special, yeah.
Okay, so
Or
they're
shooting,
we're
yeah.
going to pay you X amount.
Yeah.
And does it work like, do you get a cut of, I don't know, like how do they, like Izzy will get a pay-per-view cut, right?
And then
If
like a percentage after.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, no. Like,
Or is it
there-
a flat fee?
There are different things. Like, it depends on the network that you're doing, and they have like different fees or different situations. But usually, there are places that will do buyouts. Now, some are doing like licensing fees.
Okay.
So they'll be like, okay, we want a window for this many years on your material, and then we're going to just pay you for that, and then you can get it back when you do it. And there's a bunch of different ways.
And they limit what you could post on YouTube, on your social, right?
Of course, yeah. And I understand that. That's
Yeah, you don't want to give away the good stuff.
people are paying them for their service. You're going to put it out. Like, I'm shocked that HBO just lets John Oliver go out on HBO.
And just post, yeah.
Like, right? Like, and nobody has an issue.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm paying every month for John Oliver, and
Right.
then it's here as well. Like, I get that, but at the same time, maybe you're paying for something else for the streamer.
Right.
That's the thing about streamers I'm realizing also is like what you need to be a successful streamer has changed. Like, we've really kind of like honed in like what makes a streamer. And you need background noise. Like, I don't know if your wife goes to sleep watching Friends every
Sure,
night.
sure,
or
yeah,
like
yeah,
my wife goes to sleep watching Harry Potter. That's her thing. She
Interesting.
just throws one of them on, knocks
And you're
out.
okay with this?
No.
Okay.
my comedy's full of Harry Potter references
yeah.
now. It's like, it's just osmosis. It's getting
right.
emblazoned in my brain. But yeah, so it's like you need that, and then also like a good scripted show that people want to know what's happening next. And I think that was an issue with Netflix because remember they had all of the go to bed television,
yeah.
the background they had, I think, did they have Seinfeld? They had Friends,
Yeah,
they had
yeah,
The
yeah.
Office, they had all these. And I think their business model was, well, we'll just develop our own versions of those and let these go. The Office and Friends is like once in a decade
Right.
chances that a show is going to blow up like that, and people are going to like build these like intimate connections with the characters. It's hard to replicate that, especially when you're just pushing out so much content. And I think that's why they're struggling a little bit. And then you have a streamer like HBO, which came out last, but their scripted is the best.
Right.
It's like they put out a show and the world stops. Like when Euphoria was out, within a demographic, I don't know if you watched the show at all.
I don't, but I know of it. I don't have time to.
I get it. No, I get it. But it's like within a demographic,
Yeah.
every week. It was
It's
Game of
almost
Thrones.
like appointment viewing. Yeah, and the only thing that's really appointment these days is sports. But they have found out how. Like, I see my Twitter feed is talking about all this crap, which is very impressive because no one's appointment viewing, NBC shows or CBS shows these days. So you do this. By the way, on a scale, like, so you edit it.
Me and my guys. My guys are phenomenal.
Your
like,
team.
The same guys I do the podcast with. Alex Media directed it. Mark Gagnon also directed it, and then we all edited it. And then my young guy Shifty, we had this guy who came out from California, his 19-year-old kid who's just so brilliant, and he just killed himself on it. I mean, we taught him how to be an adult and work.
And you're finishing, like they are not a part of the process when you're putting it together.
Correct. Now they get a version of what it's going to be.
Okay.
So, because of course nobody's just going to go, okay, here's money for
Yeah,
something.
sight unseen. Yeah.
So they know what it is.
Okay.
Culture changes, and then
Now, on a scale of, let's say, 1 and Gringo Poppy, how good is the stand-up?
guy.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm curious. How good is it? Like,
you're gonna draw me.
I'm just curious.
You're
like,
gonna
on a
have to
scale.
see Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
When you buy
July
it from my
17th.
website.
Right. Well, I was building. I just wanted to get a frame of reference how good it was. I just wanted.
You want it. You're good. You're good.
So you.
Do you ever worry about somebody being upset and like doing
Who would
something
be
to you?
upset? Look at this face. Who would be mad at me?
I don't know.
I got
never say
friends.
anything about fighters, and they were like,
I'm always very respectful until they throw the first like 5. I give them 5.
you give them a few.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've never started anything with anyone. I mean, even with your friend, like it was like 10 in a row.
Yeah.
Until at one point, I just had to
But
go.
what about with me? Didn't you start with me, or did I?
No, I think you started with me.
Oh, that was
you
a
said
good joke. That
Greatest
was a
MMA
good
journalist, all that stuff.
No, the Under the Sea. That was a good joke. Objectively speaking,
Expected better.
my
by the way,
God.
I heard
There's
that
no
joke.
way,
I heard that joke
Ariel.
in freaking third grade.
Ariel.
What?
No, Under DC, like
I know.
you can't hear it. You don't know DC, right? He's in Montana or wherever he was, right?
Use it. Yes. No, it was a good joke, but the mermaid stuff, it was not bad. It was
The mermaid thing is hack.
1.7.
It's whatever. But the DC,
yeah, it's not bad.
come on.
It's not bad.
I mean, that was beautiful.
That's my guy.
You guys had something special.
We did.
I don't want to
I
harp on the
know.
past, but like,
It was.
you guys, dude, very few people can be entertaining on Zoom.
I know.
Like, you guys have a really good setup here. I didn't know you had a whole fucking like NASA space launch team back
not
there.
bad,
I had
right?
I think we need to show that a little bit more so they know what's happening over here.
I agree.
And you do it right here, like where the call is kind of like over the shoulder. So it's like you feel like you're in your position. Like how you design this is really smart, even though you probably had nothing to do with it.
Absolutely nothing.
But that thing, you got, I mean, it was just like there's
Chemistry
like
is-
socks in the background.
Yeah.
Like his camera's blurry for half of it. But you guys had something. You both knew what you were gonna say, and it was like you both knew how to twist. You knew how to push it far enough where it's silly and fun. He's also very good. He laughs at himself.
He's incredible.
He's a really good.
He's the most
sport.
humble, like superstar that I've ever met.
For real.
They didn't really appreciate or understand what we had.
Who's they?
You know,
I don't know.
the corporate
The corporate overlords.
which you know about. See, that's why I sympathize with your story very much. Because, you know, I don't know if you've heard about Independent Helwani, but it's been like a tour de force.
I've heard about it.
It's sweeping the nation. I feel like you have Independent Helwani in you. So I want to get back to this story because I think this is incredible. You deliver this and they're like, nah.
Can we do a thing with you in DC again?
Oh, yeah.
Just like a one-off or something.
We will
like
ride
that?
again.
Can you do like the award? Dude, you guys should host the MMA awards every year. That would be so much fun.
Don't you feel like those?
We'll write jokes for you guys. It'll
I
be
feel like they'll
fun
script
of-
us too much. The beauty of the show.
Write the shit so it'd be fun. Like,
I know, but I feel like the beauty of the show was it was all off the cuff. Why do you keep
do you
staring at my
really-
pencil, by the
because
way?
you chew on a fucking pen made out of minions. Like, what do you mean? Why do I stare at it? Right? Grow up. What I'm trying to say is, you guys gonna have like the things to say, and then your natural charisma. You think you're really just going to read off the script, the both of you?
No.
Or you think you're going to be busting each
riff.
other's balls in front of all the people that also know and love you guys?
That would be good.
That's it. Now I'm in producer mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this. By the way, do
Back to
you have a prompter?
When I would do the Netflix, when I did like the Netflix special?
Well, that one, but not when you do stand up.
No,
you can't do that.
No.
Even if it's the one for the show, like
You
even
know,
if
you know what I saw? I saw when I was younger, who I think is the greatest comedian ever, Patrice O'Neill.
oh,
what
love
they-
him. May he rest in peace. That's
There we
why
go.
I love that. Yes,
and he had some iconic performances in Montreal. at
Oh,
the
Just for Laughs.
Comedy
Yeah.
Festival. Some of those clips are up right now, like amazing. Anyway, so I went to one of his special tapings, Elephant in the Room, and what they did is they had a prompter in the back, not with the lines, but with the topic of the joke. And it was basically like, let's make sure we get all your jokes. Okay, you did that one, we could scratch it off the list.
Wow.
So it was more like reminding you to,
to
do it. Like I forgot a couple bits in one of the shows I did, or two of the shows I did.
Does that piss you off?
No,
You don't get mad at yourself.
I did 4 shows on purpose, so I know that I have a good one, and like I'd rather be so in the moment that I forgot it.
Okay.
Because like that connection is going to just bleed through the screen. It's going to bleed through everything. At least for me, when I see stand up, like there's certain people that come through the screen, and there's certain people hilarious in person. For whatever reason, it doesn't transfer. But like, yeah, I mean, like one of the things about Chappelle, like, I mean, he's masterful at like holding attention, but he also comes through the TV. Like the tension that he built in the room, I don't know if you're a Chappelle fan, but like you kind of feel it at home by yourself, and you shouldn't. There's no stakes for you.
Right.
It's not awkward if you don't laugh. Nobody's looking at
That's
you.
true, yeah.
But for whatever reason, you're like kind of captured by it. So I'm always thinking about that when I'm in the,
My favorite is Seinfeld.
yeah, Seinfeld.
No, you're not a fan? The way you said that was like,
Fine.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Jerry? Stand up?
Potato chips around.
Yeah.
You know.
What's the deal with Ovaltine?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's not oval. I mean, that's
I'm
good
sure
stuff.
there was like a cultural moment. Like,
Really?
I'm more of a fan of like Seinfeld, the guy, even though like I've had like a weird interaction with him, but like I hear stories.
What, he big timed you?
Nah, yeah, it just was rude. But like,
Really?
Yeah. But
Where?
I mean,
Caroline's?
No, I was doing a show to a comic called Gotham.
And what do you do? Here in New York?
Yeah, and and it was like my
Michael
first
Richards?
like, headlining weekend.
Okay.
And then him and George Wallace, who's like the sweetest guy, came and they were gonna do spots on the show. The club called me. They're like, "Is this okay?" And I'm like, "Is it okay if Seinfeld?" You're asking the kid who grew up in the East Village if it's okay if Seinfeld is gonna come and George Wallace is gonna come. So they came and I said hi to George, and George was like, "Hey man, I saw some of your stuff last night. I watched it. You're really funny, and thank you for this." And I'm like, "Dude, I can't believe you even said that." And then I walked up to Santa. I just wanted to say, "Hey, thank you for coming." I was like, "Hey man, thank you so much for coming." And he looked at me and then just looked the other way and just walked the other way. Yeah.
Didn't acknowledge you.
Dude, acknowledged and then decided to not acknowledge.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it was like a thing that he didn't like about you, or?
I think that like everybody's got their own thing.
I don't want to hear this.
Don't take that one instance and let it like form your opinion on him, because he could have had a horrible day. He could have just fought with his wife. He could have had a buddy of him call him for like a coffee. Like, I'm going to choose to hate him for the rest of my life.
Right.
But you don't have to.
And that was the only interaction.
Yeah, only interaction.
Damn.
And he can be kind of like annoying about comedy a bit.
In what respect? This is good. It's coming out now a little bit. What, like you think he's like a little too hoity-toity?
I think but then we all are. So like, yeah, be it. You are disciplined about like what you like and what
doesn't swear.
Yeah, like that thing is just so weird. Like not cursing is just so weird. Like, what do you do when someone cuts you off? Gosh, damn,
now, do you think he curses in his personal life, just not on stage?
That's my feeling. Like if you curse in your personal life, you don't curse on stage, then it's just not authentic. It's not real. It's not pure.
What if he wants his comedy to be PG?
That's great. That's a great business move.
Right.
Shake your hand, crushing it. You're doing great. And it's true. Like if you look at the guys that are doing like arenas, like they're guys that have often like generations of people coming. Like you look at a Jerry. Like I don't know if you do this, but like some of my friends that like will go see Jerry. It's their dad.
Yeah,
them,
everyone.
Maybe their kid is old enough. Sebastian also has this, Sebastian Maniscalco. So it's like.
Do you not like him either?
Love Sebastian.
Okay,
I think he's fucking.
That guy's the man. I love that guy.
He's so funny. I saw that guy perform. I was managing a restaurant when I went to school at UC Santa Barbara, and he came up and performed at the restaurant. There was a comedy night at the restaurant.
Wow.
And he fucking crushed back then, and he was so talented. And it's awesome to see what he has now. And I think people don't actually understand like how, I think people go, oh, he's Italian and like Italians like him. He speaks for the immigrant experience. Do you know what I mean? Like I have Somali friends that are like, oh my God, my family loves that guy because what his father is their father.
Right.
There is a unique experience to being an older immigrant in America. And he like hones in on it perfectly. And those cultural nuances that he taps into, other people also relate to. And that's how you fill out the Garden 3 times or whatever.
Insane.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another guy who does that well is Russell Peters.
Oh yeah, Russell.
He speaks about he speaks about his dad, and my dad is not from India, he's from Egypt, but like I feel he's talking about my dad.
Egypt?
Alexandria.
Get out of here.
Wait, you know about Egypt?
Yeah, my trainer's from Alexandria. My trainer is actually like a very famous boxer, amateur boxer in Egypt.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ali Abdelaziz?
Hossam Abdin.
Hossam Abdin.
Hossam Abdin. And he was
Does he know Ali Abdelaziz?
I'll ask.
Okay.
Is Ali Abdelaziz Egyptian?
Yes, he is.
I didn't know he was Egyptian.
Yeah, Olympic team.
As a boxer?
Judoka.
What's that?
Oh, judo.
Oh, judo. But why do you call it judoka?
Oh, like you are either a judo player or a judoka.
Or a judoka.
Like that's just like the person who practices it.
Okay, gotcha.
Instead of like boxer, that's what they call it, or judo or.
Yeah, no, he's.
So what do you train? You train just you mean like
just boxing? I like.
You do.
I'm not trying to be a boxer, but ever since I was younger, I just did. When I was
you
in college.
versus Dylan Dennis, Jake Paul undercard.
Me versus Dylan. Oh, I like Dylan.
Okay.
He got upset at me because I wrote some jokes for Logan Paul and Logan did like a roast of him a little bit. But I liked him. We had him on the podcast. Dylan knows how to ham it up and he knows how to get attention. Like,
you had him on the podcast?
Yeah, in Miami. He pulled up in a Rolls Royce.
Golly.
Yeah, you don't like Dylan?
Rented that shit from Enterprise. The bar is that low for your podcast? Like you have one of the best podcasts. Like I see you have like 2 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, I thought he was entertaining. I thought he was engaging.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was big enough to be on your podcast. Now I'm actually offended that I've never been invited.
I told you to come on the podcast.
It was like it was like a T-Rex invitation. It was like here's my credit card. I'm going to pay.
Really?
That's what it felt like.
How so?
It was token.
You think?
It was like, hey man, I need you on the podcast sometime. I'm like, yeah, cool. How about Wednesday at 4? Yeah, I'll get back to you.
No, you record here which days? No, we record the same day, son of a bitch. That's what it was. Yeah. That's why you couldn't do it.
I just started the pod.
I moved mine back to be here.
That's big.
With you.
But you're not live, right?
No.
So like if you tape today, when does it come out?
It'll come out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's usually within a day or two.
You like live, huh?
I like live.
Why?
Don't you feel like there's something?
There is.
People are watching this
Magic.
right now.
There's something that
Why don't you do live?
I even feel it. We're wilder.
So you cut stuff out?
Yes, of course.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I want people to go as crazy as possible, and then we'll massage it down.
You'll reconvene.
Yeah, sometimes we'll bleep things. So we have actually fun with the bleeps. Like,
Right.
I don't know. And then we can put a little more production into it. Like we have we don't got the space station, but we got I have intros that we do for the pod.
Yeah.
And you need to edit those and put those
No.
together.
The production value is great, and the new studio is great as well.
That's where I need you. I need you
Congrats.
in the new studio.
It's sick.
Yeah.
I love the name, but why'd you drop the 2? Flagrant 2 to me is a basketball reference.
Yes, you're right. It was.
Right.
And it was originally a sports podcast, but we're also being flagrant. I couldn't think of anything with a number in it that was successful.
But why didn't you just keep it Flagrant 2?
Because flagrant, it was no longer a basketball or a sports podcast, so I thought it was creating an expectation, and that also felt like, for the people who don't even understand the basketball reference, they're like, well, is there a Flagrant 1?
Okay.
He does another podcast with Charlamagne. Is that Flagrant 1? It was just kind of confusing brand-wise. And people just call your show one thing. That's the other thing. I'm going on Rogan.
Right.
I'm not going on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
And people were just calling it Flagrant already. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going on Ariel's show. What do you think they call your...
I think now they probably call it Ariel's show.
Ariel's. I'm going to Helwani's. Helwani's kind of fun to say. You're
Yeah.
Egyptian.
Egyptian and mom's from Lebanon.
Oh, wow.
So I'm first generation Canadian, but we're Jewish. So they left in the mid 70s. They
Yeah.
were kicked out.
Yeah.
And both came to Canada.
Oh, and they met in Canada.
Yeah.
Look at that. Have you
Crazy.
been back to...
I've been to Egypt, which was tremendous. I was probably 12 or so.
Alexandria, kind of wild.
Yeah. Oh, it was nuts.
mean,
Went to
this
the freaking, we went to Cairo, went to Alexandria, went to my dad's synagogue where he was bar mitzvahed back in the day,
Get outta
crazy.
here.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Probably ancient, right?
Very old. I got crazy diarrhea there because
Yeah,
you can't drink the water. It was a problem.
Cairo's kind of a dump, right? Let's be honest.
It was cool. I mean,
But be honest also.
yeah.
But say that and then say how you really feel.
It's not quite Israel.
Right.
Israel, I don't know. Have you been to Israel?
Yeah.
Israel's a lot more like Dubai
Yeah.
with the big buildings and everything like that. There's a lot of
It
technology.
depends, right? Tel Aviv is
Tel Aviv, yeah.
Tel Aviv's kind of like Miami, but I don't know.
I love Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv's fine. Jerusalem is that's next level, bro.
In a good way or bad way?
Good. It's the
Yeah.
Super Bowl every day. It's like everybody there it
Everyone
believes.
convenes.
Even if you don't believe, you feel them believing. Does that make
Wild.
sense?
Yeah. Different faiths too.
Yes,
Which I believe should be, everyone should come. It should be the melting pot.
That's why it's Jerusalem.
That's right, yeah.
It's Jerusalem, right? It's like the city's always there.
Why did you go? Get in touch
there was
with your
this.
roots?
There was this Israeli restaurant that I would go to in my neighborhood. Shout out to Gila, who she's closed it now, but she's just so great. And she was just so sweet. I love it. She was almost like a surrogate mom for me. And I was like, wow, you're so cool. This is awesome. Where is this from? And she was actually Iraqi, and then her family moved, obviously, once Israel opens up shop. And then she was in there, and I was like, yeah, I think I want to go. So a good buddy of mine who's a Moroccan Jew, he was like, dude, if you're going to go, we'll go. It'll be great.
Wow.
And,
How long ago?
This is I don't know, a few years back. But it was awesome. It was so much fun. We had a great time. We didn't speak for 3 months afterwards, though. And I didn't take a shit for 2 weeks. Dude, I was so
Wait, why didn't you speak? You got into a fight?
We got into a fight.
You and the friend?
Yeah. It wasn't even a fight. It was just he lost a negotiation. He didn't want to deal with
What
it.
negotiation?
I think it was tough for him, being Jewish and losing a negotiation in the homeland.
Right,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
yeah.
I got
But what were you negotiating?
We were fighting over who has to pay for an Airbnb. And
Wow.
I got him, bro.
Typical Jew,
I got
huh?
him, man. I got him.
Didn't want to pay. Horrible.
I think I had superpowers there, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
I'm sure a lot of people thought you were
Yeah, people always assume.
MOT.
Yeah. What is it called?
MOT.
What's that?
Member of the tribe.
Member of the
You don't know
tribe.
MOT?
No.
Oh, man.
MOP?
We're going to get a lot of hate here because it's too much. People get very upset when you talk about Israel and you're
Oh,
not,
really?
Oh, wow. It's crazy.
Really?
I get a lot. I don't give a crap, but they get very upset. Oh, apartheid state, this, that.
Yeah. I mean, I think every country has things that you can criticize.
Of
but
course.
I think there's also cultural things that are very beautiful about every place. So it's nobody's perfect. And I don't
This is
think
a
that
whole
we're
different,
striving.
but I will defend its existence till the day I die. I don't know if you heard about something called the Holocaust that happened like 2 years before Israel. So we kind of need a place just in case
And I think that people
happen.
could probably see why you feel that way, and I think why people agreed with that 100%.
So back to the streaming. So you finish this product, you go to these guys, you say, all right, we're done. And now they say, we need you to cut X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And you say, this is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to cut it, and I don't think it's, and then there was listen, I have like empathy for these guys in these positions because like their passion isn't stand-up comedy, right? Their passion is like building up a business and like being, top level execs, and that type of content, supersedes just stand-up. So like you got kids in school and shit. Like I get it. I'm a psycho when it comes to my stand-up. If I'm doing a movie, edit the movie however you want. You wrote it.
Yeah.
I didn't write it.
Right.
I'm not gonna bitch about anything at all. But if it's my stand-up and we knew what we were getting into and you saw the jokes and and I understand culture kind of changes. I think they got really freaked out when the whole trans thing happened with Chappelle, and they were like, oh my God, this is a lot of backlash for our company. We don't want this. You know what I mean?
So how, let's say the special is how long? An hour?
Hour, yeah.
How much did they want out?
That's a good question. I think there was like 2 jokes and then there was like edits of lines from other ones.
It ruins the flow.
But it's also like the jokes are really something I'm proud of. Like, when I work on a bit, it's months, maybe years.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, you're polishing it, adding lines, taking away lines, changing things, and it's just like you make this thing, you're really proud of it, and it plays a part within the special. Like, I want the whole special to feel like it's connected. It's not just like, here's a joke and it's over, here's a joke and it's over. But each thing is blending into another thing, which is taking me to another joke, so that you're at home and you're part of this, great process. And that's kind of how I look at like specials. I want to find a way where there's more of like an arc in it and less just here's 60 minutes of joke. I don't think anybody has the attention span for 60 minutes of just jokes, but we have attention span for story.
Right.
We have attention span for progress. How can I keep you engaged and on your toes for that time?
Do you have a line?
For me?
Yeah.
Like a line that I won't cross?
Yeah.
I mean, there's things that I just won't joke about, but it's just because I haven't found a way that's funny enough to joke about it. But
there isn't something where you're like, I'm not talking about this topic.
Like, I don't say the N-word.
Okay.
Like, I just don't say it. I never said it growing up. But I also grew up in New York City with like a lot of black friends. So I understand what that could mean to them, right? And I understand like the feeling of that. I think that there are guys that were like, yeah, let's just joke about anything. I'll defend jokes to the end of the day. There's no question. I mean, like, George Carlin has a wild joke where he says it. You know what I mean? I'm always on the side of jokes. I defend jokes. Me personally, I have things I don't talk about. I also don't talk about a lot of shit I find boring.
Right.
That's also a line.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, boring is worse than offensive.
Of course.
So yeah. But I think people have to decide that themselves.
So, like, in this day and age, being a comic, a lot different than the Carlin era, right?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the same. I don't remember how it is, but I think this is the fun time to be a comic. Like, everybody gets all upset about censorship, and it's just like, that's when the greats are made. You don't get considered a great comic if you come up in a time where you can say whatever the fuck you want. Like the comics we all look up to, right? They came up in times where you couldn't say shit. The Lenny Bruces. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, imagine Patrice was alive now. Imagine he had this time. To just play around with these like thought experiments that are his jokes, right? Like, I see those guys, you see Pryor, you see Carlin, and you see them, using humor to, I guess, expose some truth, but also some fake shit too. I mean, like, comedy doesn't have to be this like preachy thing. Like, I like it to be silly. I like it to be funny first. Like, if I want to fucking save the world or something like that, I'd go into that business. I'm here to make strangers laugh, and it makes me feel good.
Are you territorial about the industry? In other words, if someone goes up there and tries to be a comic, does it bother you?
No, I get it. I get why they're doing it. And it doesn't take anything.
Inclusive. Like, if I'm like, I want to be a comic, and let's say I'm like I don't know, like a former athlete, a former fighter, and
That's crazy.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, and I go,
crazy.
You go on the stage. Do you feel like, get out of here, man? I take this seriously.
No,
okay.
just do it. Take it seriously.
Well, that's the thing. You have to take it seriously.
Yeah. Do you feel that way about MMA?
About fighting?
Yeah, like if like a fighter didn't grow up fighting, but they played football and all of a sudden.
No, but I'm not a fighter.
That's true. What about MMA journalism? Like when I became the best, like did that bother you?
No, not at all.
It bothered you a little bit.
I disagreed.
I was
with the
widely
statement.
regarded as the best MMA journalist alive.
How did that come? Was that because of the Valentina Shevchenko thing? You said she was overrated,
my
right?
My time in the game, bro.
Yeah,
that's what it was. And what happened in Valentina's last fight, by the way?
I mean, entertaining.
Hey, what happened
so you
in
don't
that
think
last
she's that good,
fight,
huh?
by the way? What happened in that last fight
I thought
when
she
I was
lost.
right?
I thought she lost.
When I was right. You thought she lost, didn't you?
I thought she lost 3-2. But
where's my apology?
Listen, you could say someone's overrated. I actually think people take that too personally. Like, that's okay.
I just say I didn't. I was like, yo, why isn't she finishing this girl? It's like, get her out of here. It's time. This is what you got to do. Like, you got her gone.
Why don't you say that about Izzy?
Because I didn't think that he was out of here. He was gone. I thought he was dangerous.
Okay.
And he's a guy who's knocked out people at heavyweight. Like, this guy got real pop. This is not the other. I mean, the girl gonna hurt?
No.
Shevchenko? Like, what are we doing? We dancing around?
Right.
We playing pitter pat? What did Chris
that's
No. He was so dominant. I think this was also like the criticism of a guy who's, I mean, Pernell Whitaker is one of the greatest boxers to ever live. But a criticism at the time is like he'll carry guys, and Pernell could crack, but he would carry guys later. And maybe he didn't want to take the risk, though. He was so amazing defensively. Maybe now we're getting too deep into.
No, I love it.
But like, I mean, he's so amazing defensively. I mean, there's people who don't know who Pernell Whitaker is who probably have seen a clip of him, and it's Oscar De La Hoya throwing like 30 punches in a row and Pernell slipping everything while he's moving back. And like, but there was one criticism of him, which was he can get him out of here, but he's choosing not to. Which is your choice, bro. It's your life on the line.
Of course. That's why I get really upset because they don't get paid enough. I don't think even boxers get paid enough based on what they're putting in and what they're risking.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always fight for fighter pay. By the way, you had Jake on in the midst of that, like when he came in.
Yeah, Jake was just on.
In the midst of the whole Tommy thing.
Yeah.
Now he went with Hasim Rahman Jr. You remember his dad.
How crazy is that?
You got it.
How crazy is that?
I get a lot of hate for being like a Jake sympathizer.
Oh, I love Jake. I think what he's doing is awesome.
Yo, Hasim Rahman is 12-1, and then people say he lost his last fight. Who gives a fuck? None of you thought that he would fight someone at 5-0 who's 12-1 as a pure boxer.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you look at all the greats, every single one of them, Canelo, Floyd, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, all of them, none of them are fighting anyone with a winning record at 5-0. Yeah. Especially when one of those wins is against a freaking YouTuber. Another one is against, he's really 3-0, if you want to say that, right? Like Nate Robinson.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I also, like early boxing records, like how much stock do you put in early boxing records?
But that's what I'm saying. He deserves a lot of credit for fighting a guy like Hasim Rahman.
He does, because we know that Hasim has probably spent his entire life in a boxing ring.
100 amateur fights.
Yeah. That's more impressive to me than a professional record. Because, as we know, boxing professional records, you're just being brought up by the promoter and they're getting B-side guys and they're dragging them out of Wendy's and saying, hey, can you go lose professionally? That's boxing. So I don't know what those 12 guys are, but 100 amateur fights, you're going to come across talent. Simple as that. And you know he's been in the gym his entire life. So it's like, yeah, I mean, they had some sparring. That
was good stuff.
I haven't seen the extent of the sparring, but I'm curious how that went.
Will you go to that? It's in New York.
Of course. I fuck with Jake heavy. I went to the weigh-in when the girls fought.
Oh, yeah, you were there. I was there, too.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you.
Oh, you didn't say hi?
No, I didn't say hi.
Oh, that's weird.
Because there was beef, bro.
Back then, there was beef.
That was when you left MMA because you weren't the best. And you went to boxing. Remember that?
And why'd you retire?
Huh?
Why'd you retire as an MMA journalist?
I feel like I need to let you, I feel like it's so like integral to your identity.
Right. I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Right.
And now that I'm here and I saw the NASA setup, I actually am going to come back.
You feel like
before I didn't know that back end was here. I thought that this was like a part of your like house in Connecticut or something like that. Right. But this is
impressive.
Now that I know, it's on. It's on.
On a scale of like 1 and King and Sting, where would you put this setup?
This setup right here, this might be the second greatest MMA journalist
Behind? Behind?
I mean, come on, let's be honest here.
Fighter and the Kid?
Flagrant, bro.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. It's Flagrant.
Where you were going.
What other show? DC guy.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good show.
That is a good show. What is it?
Watch it.
Say again.
DCRC.
But when you see another man with your boo, like, what is that like?
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts a little bit, right? Like when they like.
Especially since I brought him to the dance, and then they promoted up the wazoo on the broadcast. They never promoted me.
Why not?
Well, you know why not.
Jewish.
You think so?
What?
I didn't want to say it, but there have been rumors.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want to get.
You got to remind him you're actually African.
Yeah, my dad.
You're
That's right.
African American.
Yeah, that's right.
You are
well, Canadian.
an African North American.
Doesn't sound as cool.
Just say it.
Yeah.
You're an African North American, bro, from Alexandria.
I know.
Caesar City, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
No, not Caesar City. Well, he did have it, but like Mr. the Great.
Pharaoh? Was he Pharaoh?
Alexander the Great.
Right. I don't think he was from there.
No, they built
Greece.
it. He built it.
Right,
He was
right,
like, this
that's
is
right.
the spot. Yeah.
Is that true?
From Macedonia.
Is that true?
What do you mean is that true? Why do you think it's called Alexandria?
I didn't know. I really didn't know that.
Alexander the Great, dude.
He built it.
Of course. Well, I mean,
My
he didn't, but he was like, this is the
you
shit.
guys go over there.
You guys. No, they conquered it. And he's like, you guys got to make this my city.
Right.
And then made it special, man.
Okay, so back to the thing. I feel like we keep.
The special.
Yeah.
You can buy it on my website.
No, but I just want to know what happened.
Go.
You said life savings.
Yeah.
You spent your life
That was
savings.
a little hyperbolic.
Okay.
That was a little hyperbolic.
like,
but
damn,
I'm
man.
okay. But like in terms of total sacrifice, millions of dollars.
Multiple millions. Because there was a report, 1 million. You were like, no. I wish it was.
Anything on these. That's another thing I learned about journalism, bro.
Well,
like,
there's levels.
Bro. And I've only experienced the top, so I don't know, but beneath me. But like, that was a joke.
Yeah.
No, but like they'll just say anything, dude, and they'll just fucking run with it. And then certain sources will be like, "We reached out to Andrew for comment and didn't hear anything." I didn't get any emails. Maybe you reached out to like my agent or some shit. So it's like, people just say whatever.
You had to pay a lot.
I had to pay
out of pocket.
A lot out of pocket. That is
to get it back. They wouldn't just give it to you. They don't want to air it at this point. They don't want to air the version that you're giving. Why do you have to buy it back?
That's where we get into like production and those types of things.
Okay.
It is very. I'm fortunate that I was given the opportunity
to buy back.
Yeah, and when I say millions, I mean it's money purchased plus money that I was still owed.
Yeah. Oh.
And
interesting.
Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
you don't obviously get everything.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm grateful that I was given that opportunity because then I can go do this, and I can, ideally, if the people want it to be, create something that will shake up the industry, create another opportunity for comics. Like, if they're not able to do the comedy that they want to do on a certain platform, they can put it out themselves and now monetize it. You can always put it out yourselves on YouTube, but like, in order to create a fucking, I'll be honest, this production takes people back there. Like, in order to do something that's like this level of production quality, you need a budget. It is what it is. Like, and I go on tour every single week, and I have my guys. We put up cameras and stuff like that, and it's great. We get these awesome clips, and it's created my career. But in order to up it to what you see on these major streamers, it requires hundreds of thousands of dollars in production.
Right.
You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't even be like cheap about it. You can cut some corners, but it is a very expensive thing to do and takes a lot of coordination, and that takes budget. And like, if we find another way where comics can do it, that's fucking awesome. The scary thing is you find out how much you're worth. And a lot of times people don't want to know that.
Right. But here's the thing. So was there any chance that they were like, nah, we're not giving it to you? Like, were you afraid that you were losing this, or was it all pretty cordial?
No, it was cordial.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I read, so I'm happy that you're here. First day, 500,000, second day, 1 million?
There's numbers out there,
That's it. Can you say, because you put this out, I think.
I think it's weird. Like
this has been a success.
Hey, listen, job's not done, Kobe.
Job's respect.
You know what I'm saying?
Mamba.
Like, job's not done, Kobe. We got to cook. But the thing about this is like, money makes everything gross, but it still can be inspirational. So it's like, I'm very delicate with talking about money in certain ways.
How do they find out? People talk?
There's a source next on the phone. I'm like,
Right.
I think they just make shit up, but who knows? And who knows who's leaking things?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of different ways that things can get out. And I'm actually curious, my damn self, because when you see certain things, you're like, this is odd.
Right.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, it's saying that I did well, hopefully will motivate other comics to continue to put out their stuff exactly the way that they want to do it, right? Because they'll feel like there's like a sense of security around it. And at the end of the day, it's up to you and like your audience and like if they're going to support you, if they're going to rock with you. Like, I'm very fucking fortunate that like, people enjoy the podcast, they enjoy the stand-up, and they've supported me. They literally, they go out and they put on clothes, they get a fucking babysitter, they come to the comedy shows. Like, that means the world to me. That is the validator, right? For me, I never got caught up in being validated by like, some people like they need the logo. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not working directly for UFC, are you a journalist? And it's like, well, are you defined by what you say about it? are you defined by the people and how they appreciate you? Like, to me, I always want to be a man of the people. I don't care about going to the cool parties in Hollywood. I don't care if I ever get invited to one. I do care if I'm walking in this building and the guy fucking pick up the trash. He's like, oh, Schulz, what up? Like, I want Fight Club type level shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like the people that actually make the world work know what's going on. And if the hoity-toity people have no clue, like when I'm on a movie set, if no actor knows who I am and every like key grip and sound guy, if all those guys are like, what up, Schulz? I'm like, I did it perfect. It's exactly what I need.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So hopefully they can take that and then they can go with it. And it's not for everybody, dude. It's like, yeah, it's not for everybody. And the scary thing is you find out how much you're worth. And there's a lot of people who don't want to know that number.
Right.
Because they have maybe an inflated sense of that because they're protected by an institution. So they go, oh shit, only this many people want to see me. I don't know what that is for me just yet. I know from the road, people have come out to see me. And it's been fucking amazing. And it's the
biggest crowd you've had that you drew?
I did 2 shows at Radio City that you ignored because of your religious beliefs.
How many people was that?
6,000 each, so 12,000 people, man.
And was Bill Gates really there?
First show, dude. Yeah,
Come on.
Wild, swear to God.
Bill Gates was actually at your show, just chilling. You had no idea?
No idea. They told me before. They're like, hey, just to let you know, Bill Gates is here. And I'm like, okay. I'm like to see
there
me?
He is.
Like, oh yeah, there's a picture. You guys are good.
Yeah, man.
I think maybe his daughter is a fan or something like that.
Did you meet him?
No. We asked him. I was like, "Do you want to come down afterwards?" But
she said no.
He's like, "I'm good." But
did you reference him?
Say again?
Did you reference him?
No, I didn't because like that's vulnerable, dude.
Yeah.
Like if he had his own little box, maybe I'd fucking light him up. But to be in the middle.
Yeah.
And like I start making fun of him for like the vaccine shit or something like that. If I start just really kind of going in, now you gotta leave.
Yeah.
And then when I heard afterwards that he was laughing at like some wild jokes, I was like, all right. All right. I don't care if you met with Epstein. You find me funny. That's really all it takes.
All right. By the way, why didn't you do Radio City as the? I feel like that's the special, right? Like that's part of the gimmick. No.
You want to know something?
Tell me.
I think that. Okay, this is nuance with comedy. When people watch jokes live, there's like a longer time between the punchline and how long the laugh goes for. Because when 6,000 people are laughing together, like it takes a little while for them to slow down.
Right.
When you watch something on your phone or at home on like a TV, that time is shorter because it's just you and you, or you and your wife, or you and your boys. There's 5 of you. So it's ha 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 ha, and then it stops. Any extra time after you've stopped laughing feels like an eternity for the person to laugh. They don't realize this, but it's like a subconscious thing.
Okay.
Right? So the rhythm is off for the person at home. And when I'm making this, I'm like, I need a venue that's big enough for how big the jokes can be. In other words, it'll provide enough like feedback and reaction and energy for how big the jokes are, allow me to really kind of get in and perform it, but not too long where the person watching Home Alone is going to be like, I'm like waiting for the next line. And Radio City is too big. I think the sweet spot is around like 1,000.
That's fascinating. I would never think of that.
If you watch any special where it's like really big, for whatever reason, it works in Delirious. I mean, that's just because Eddie Murphy is fucking unbelievable. But like, if you watch specials that are in like the 1,000 person range, maybe 1,000 to 2,000, that is the money spot.
Okay.
In my opinion, because for me, it's all about like exchange of energy. I can't be giving you more energy than you're giving back to me. Like if that's when a comic feels like he's bombing, right? It's like there's the joke itself, but there's also like if he's like going all out and you barely hear anything. You know what I'm saying? It just feels awkward. But there's an inconsistency here.
Right.
It's like, why would he be giving so much and not getting anything? Like, you look like a sociopath.
Do you talk to yourself a lot internally? Oh shit, this isn't working. Oh, I need to drop that. Like, are you having
try not to edit, but that's what happens.
Okay.
Like you're editing live.
Yeah.
You know, like actually you do a live show, so you get what it is.
Yeah.
Like, how is that going to be interpreted? What is the internet going to say about that?
Yeah.
The version of that for stand-up when you're taping a special is, will that joke work?
Right.
And I try to not do that because I want to be locked in.
Because you're calling audibles in your head. You don't want to do that. You want to just go with the game plan that you came in with. But sometimes you can feel a crowd and be like, oh, this joke or this.
They need a little bit more here.
Right.
Oh, we're not connected enough to get here. Oh, this needs a little bit more tension. And you're like making those.
Fascinating.
Yeah, you're like making those changes. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's constantly, for me, it's all about connectivity. So it's like, oh, I can really push them. Oh, I actually need to pull back. Like a lot of times you think to quiet an audience, you raise your voice. No, you get quiet. When someone's whispering, everyone listens.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's different tricks to like draw them in. Don't talk over them too much because then they feel like you're not even listening to them and then they'll start talking to one another. They need to know you're listening to them. It's just, comedy's the best. I just nerd out on this shit. Let's go back to Israel-Palestine.
Well, so yeah, that's right. I'm sure people love that. Okay, so thus far it's been a success, fair to say?
Yeah, like I'm
You're blown away? Are you surprised?
Excited, man.
This is validation. Now you get to know.
Job's not done.
I know, but at this point, now you get to know. It's July 17th,
Yep.
theandrewschulz.com.
Yep.
Schulz without a T, so it's SCHULZ.
Yes.
Andrew, not like Andrew Jones, former Braves player with a U.
Yeah.
Always a weird spelling. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
In the outfield?
Where is he? Aruba, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, I mean, look at that.
There it is.
Infamous,
Yeah.
special, July 17th, my dad's birthday,
Go order
great
it.
day.
See, good luck.
It's a tremendous day. Now, you are going to be doing like a bunch of things where I saw you're flying people in.
Oh, yeah, we're going to fly 10 people in to watch it live with us.
That's crazy. Is
Yeah,
Mike
and
Perry
we
one of them?
pre-ordered it. Dude, I wish.
I saw you
wish,
on the
bro.
IG Live
Dude,
with
he
it.
is
Were you in
so
the bathroom
funny.
or something?
Yeah, I
Where
was
were
in
you?
the
Okay.
bathroom. I was going live, and that's like to what you said earlier, which is a great observation. Is that like there's a different energy live, and it creates like the wittiness shines. And he said something funny. I was like, "Are you celibate before fights?" And he goes, "I'll sell a little bit here, I'll sell a little bit there." Like, yeah, bro, I was fucking crying.
He's crazy.
He's such a character. I want to go to his fight in London.
You're gonna go to that?
I want
the
him.
bare
Let's see
knuckle
if I
against
can.
MVP.
Yeah,
that's sick.
He's really good, the MVP guy, right?
He's good, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Some might say he's biting off a little more than he can chew.
With-
MVP has boxed before, so this is.
Oh, Mike Perry is biting off more than.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, his striking seems.
Oh, he's smooth. He's really good on his feet.
And
I'm
he's
talking
with
MVP.
Bellator.
He's with Bellator, yeah.
Got you.
But it's bare knuckle. It's a little different. You like that bare knuckle
And
stuff?
why? I mean, it's so hard to not watch it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's
It's
like
a little gruesome for me.
it's so funny that's my dad is this boxing enthusiast, and that's what he would say about.
MMA. Golly.
He's like it was already difficult for him, but he just loved it. And then I think when I showed him some of the MMA stuff, he'd be like, there are moments in MMA where like a guy's on the ground and like you're hitting with an elbow. Like I don't care how big a fan you are.
No.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, enough.
It's a lot. So I get that reaction from him, but he's a boxing enthusiast. So like, see, you say, but this is the thing is I think we just keep on getting like more desensitized to things.
Oh, 100%. No, you show people like guys getting kneed in the face, like it's insane. And I'm just like, okay, nice knockout, like.
Is there any, do you have any like qualms with it? Like, you know what it does to the guys?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I love Howard Cosell. I grew up idolizing Howard Cosell. You know him, of course, right? Yeah. I read all the books. Like that's who I want to be Howard Cosell. I'll never
Who
be
is your
1/10.
Ali?
That's a great question. I don't know if I can determine that. I mean, I don't know. I'll say a name, but it'll piss everyone off. I mean, like who's been bigger than Conor, right? And Conor's been very good to me, but Conor doesn't have like the cultural sort of influence that Ali did, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I one time told him that I want to be the Cosell to your Ali, right? But it's different. Anyway,
God.
people are going to be like, oh, how dare you compare? No, I'm not comparing.
I don't think Conor would compare in terms of like cultural influence. You need something happening in the time to have that.
Yeah, it's different.
Like Ali existing within the civil rights movement. Like,
oh, it's totally. And what he did with Vietnam.
yeah.
Point is, I remember later I remember reading this and it stuck with me even before I became an MMA journalist. Cosell really didn't like boxing in the end, right? He actually turned on it because he saw what happened to his friend.
Yeah.
And I've often wondered if that's going to happen to me one day. Just because now I see, like, the guys who I came in with.
See them now. Yeah, the CTEs, it's rough.
It's not just the CTE, not left with any money.
And that's probably why the pay for you is such a.
Yes.
Yeah, is such a.
I see guys that you would be shocked. Guys would be like, that dude's probably killing it, right? Like he headlined, he was a champion, this and that, and nothing to show for. Nothing. And meanwhile, like the owners, God bless them, they had to put in a lot. I do not discredit that. They had to invest a lot.
Yep.
If there's no, Lorenzo, Dana, Frank, there's no this. I don't have the career. Like life is. But man, these guys have nothing. Like, can we just divide the pie a little bit more fairly?
You almost want something like in football, right, where the guys
a
have
pension.
pension.
There's none of that. Hey, Donald Cerrone, you fought for us 35 times. All right, so there's a tier. You fight 30 and up, you'll get X amount for life. You fight 20 and up,
like a factory. Like
yes.
my grandpa worked in a factory, sweeping
asbestos
off the floors.
Right.
And he actually died a year before his pension.
Oh, man.
Which is fucked.
Because of the asbestos?
Probably. But like I think he had like emphysema or some shit. But like the point is like if a guy who works at a factory even has some coverage and he's putting in that kind of time, I think what you're saying is completely reasonable. I don't think there's a single person, maybe outside of those lobbying for it, lobbying against it within an organization that would disagree with you. I think.
Well, they think it comes from a negative. Like, I love this sport. If there's no UFC, I don't have a job.
You could argue it's selfish. You're like, this is taking away my joy.
Right.
It's hard for me to enjoy.
Selfish. You're right.
Yeah, like I love it, and it's making me hard to enjoy when I see what happens to these guys later on. Create something where I can still enjoy it because you're not the only one. There are other people who watch, and they are also going to see those guys and go, oh boy. I think that was for my pops with boxing too. Like seeing Ali State, seeing all of them. Seeing the guys start to get punchy, you're like, oh man, can I enjoy it? And it's something they got to look at. I mean, football's trying to do it now with the helmets and this, that, the other. But the reality is most people are going to take that chance.
Well, but also we're selfish as consumers, right? As I say, we just want our Saturday night. We want our beer, our pizza, our DraftKings. We just want to have a good time. Don't talk so the fans will get mad at me when I talk about this too much. When I say, like, even on Saturday, Bisping. I love Bisping, but there was a fight that was close, and I thought the wrong guy.
Who?
It was Michael Johnson, his fight against Jamie Malarkey. It was a tremendous fight.
I thought Johnson lost it when he got dropped at the end of the first. If he didn't get dropped at the end of the first, there's no way you can give the round, right?
Close fight.
You still gave it to Johnson?
I gave it to Johnson, yeah.
I think that's it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if he didn't get dropped at the end of the first. And I also think he has a history of kind of like losing those fights, so I think you kind of root for a guy in that situation. But I hear you.
The point is, he says there's no loser in that fight, which is fine. It's a nice thing to say. However, the pay is, if you don't win, you don't get your win bonus. So you're actually walking away with 50% less than you would have won had you won. So yes, actually there is a loser in that fight, his bank account. So when you know how the sausage is made, that stuff bothers me. So, we move on to the next fight, but Michael Johnson's in this thing being like, man, I just lost 45K or whatever it is. I don't know how much, because some dude sitting cage side didn't think I did enough in that first round.
Are a lot of these guys like coaches on the side? Do they
do
run
stuff.
gyms?
It depends.
Classes?
I mean, remember Stipe was firefighter at the same time as he was heavyweight champ. Now there's different stories all over, but no, they're coaching. Some of them are doing other stuff like police. Everyone has a different story.
Yeah.
I love fighters, man. I will always love doing this show. And this isn't about me here, but just because of the characters, I love their personality. You see them, right? Like Volkanovski comes to your studio. Like, how cool is that guy, right?
Volk and the bubbler, bro.
Yeah.
Did he tell you what the bubbler is?
Which bubbler?
The bubbler is this thing that the rugby guys do where they piss in their mouths.
Oh, Jesus.
But a bubbler is a water fountain in Australia. So they create a water fountain out of their dick and they just pee into their own mouth. Yeah, they do. So after like the game, they go on like a bender. It's just like what they do. And then he just started telling these stories, bro. Oh my God. But he's a great personality. Nobody's done anything better than the Chael Sonnen thing with the feeding the bus.
The bus, yeah.
That was the funniest thing.
That was to me.
I know.
Yeah. That was his. So he was suspended for a year.
No.
Yeah,
for that.
No. It was, he fought Anderson Silva UFC 117 in August of 2010. He disappeared because he then tested positive afterwards. He disappeared for a year. That interview was in July of 2011. It was a full year later. That was his big reemergence. So I sit down with him in his hotel and he had freaking material. Like if you go back and look at that, he's talking about Vanderlei, like going into his house, home invasion. Like it was the craziest. He had a year's worth of material. And then he talks about the Nogueira brothers feeding the busted carrot. They thought it was a horse.
I was crying, dude.
He's great. Have you ever met him?
No, I'd love to
love
meet
him.
him. He's a character. He like understands the entertainment aspect of it. But dude, that fuck. And then there's a follow-up where Rogan asked him about it. Have you seen that video?
Yes.
Was that a true story? And he goes, absolutely. Bro, you try to not break in that interview too? Like,
Oh, no. Thank God there were times I wasn't on camera.
you're like this, right?
Yeah.
So wait, what happened?
He's amazing. I love that guy. Anyway, theandrewschultz.com.
Yeah, go check it out.
Go check it out. July 17th. You can pre-order it now.
Pre-order it now.
You're going to be doing a live thing during...
Oh yeah, so we'll watch it.
I feel like I'm promoting this better than you, for God's sakes.
I'm just enjoying our conversation,
I
man.
appreciate it,
You're
bro.
very good at this.
Thank you.
I'll be honest. You create a great momentum with your questions, and
Wow.
you also like you're knowledgeable and curious, but you make me want to provide a good answer to you. Not everybody asks questions where I want to. I don't know if it's impress you with the answer. I respect you, so I want you to think the thing that I say is like thoughtful. So yeah, you're good at this. You're not number one, but
Yeah. 2?
you're definitely two, bro. You're definitely two. But yeah, theandrewschultz.com, and then we're gonna do like a live stream afterwards. Pretty cool. Like the Moment House company that we partner with on it is like they're the one that are gonna host it. So like afterwards we can do a live stream where like we reflect on it and like people can like comment on it and all that.
And the
kind of
merch
stuff
is
live.
great.
Thank you.
You have a whole freaking store up.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
Yeah, I got to get you more stuff, but I need you to get the proper heavies.
No, this is tremendous. The thing you did yesterday in the gym, that was good stuff. You're I see like on TikTok, I know nothing about this stuff, but it's very smart. You to me represent the new age comic, right? Like you've embraced social media, you've embraced YouTube, you're going indie. That's what everyone loves.
Yeah.
People want to root for you. They want to support you. They want to buy your merch.
I
mean, Jerry Seinfeld can't hold a candle. If I'm being honest. He can't hold
Maybe 8 candles? No.
That's good. That's good. All right, I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you so much,
Let
Ariel.
you go. Thank you.
appreciate it.
Send my regards to the team, to Brendan, to Joe.
I will.
Joe won't have me on his show, but you know.
Why? You guys, what happened? What's
You'll
the
have my
deal?
uncle on all the time.
Who's your uncle?
Gad Sad.
That's your real uncle?
You know him?
Of course.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy.
Wait.
That is my uncle. That is my mother's brother.
That's right. He's Lebanese.
Lebanese. From Montreal.
That's not
Jew.
really your...
On my life. Gad Sad is my uncle. Grew
What
up with
a
him.
small world.
Yeah. So you'll have my uncle on all the time, but he won't have me. Should
Why?
I be
What's
offended?
the beef there?
Well, you know, he's...
What is it like? Oh, there's issues with the UFC. What is your thing with the UFC?
No,
Like,
we're
what?
good. We're good. It's all work. You know wrestling?
Yeah.
Kayfabe? It's all work. They
It's a
love me.
work.
Yeah, it's a total work.
I mean, obviously you're doing good business for them. You're promoting fights, etc.
love me.
So then what's the issue? Why?
It's a work. It's like Vince McMahon and Stone Cold. They didn't really hate each other.
Or Vince McMahon. What's going on?
Well, I just mean back in the day. We don't need to get into that. But I mean, like back in the day, they didn't really hate each other, right? It was a work.
And now, so then, are you guys good? I mean,
Yeah, we're
I
good.
assume if they hated you, they'd be like, nobody can even go on the show.
Yeah, we're
the fact that
good.
you get guys
We got
on.
Zahabi up next.
Yeah. Okay, before I go, who's your least favorite fighter?
Of all time?
Yeah,
Like to watch or to talk to?
talk to.
Oh, God. I can't say that. You kidding? Listen, you tell me the streaming platform, I'll tell you my least favorite fighter. How about that?
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you, man.
This is tremendous.
Peace.
You're the man. Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Andrew Schulz, legend.
Oh, we have a center camera right here.
Yeah,
we
this
need to do the nose off, dude. This is
yeah,
our
this is it.
our what's it called? What is it? This is your thumbnail right here.
I touched him. You broke? Did I win?
Bro,
Did I win? I win.
he's-
10-7 Helwani all day, every day.
I quit. I quit. Peace, man. Be good.
There he is, Andrew Schulz, legend. Wow, that was fun. He's going to try to leave. There he is. Go check it out, theandrewschultz.com. What a freaking guy. That was tremendous. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Was that fun, Joe? Did you like that? All-time guest right there. Could have had him on for 5 hours. Let me drink my prime here. That was a prime guest. Prime guest. But seriously, go support theandrewschultz.com. He's doing it on his own. Life savings. And I appreciate anyone who goes out on their own and does it their way, indie style. A lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed that because that was fun. That was great. And he's got a great podcast called Flagrant. They just got a new studio, Flagrant 2. We just spoke about it all. They've had some great MMA guests on. Izzy was on the week that he came here. Volk was on. Jake Paul was on recently. Logan Paul was on recently. And just a great guy. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of people betting on themselves and doing things their own way. And he's actually a legit MMA fan. Legit MMA fan, legit boxing fan, fight fan. I got a great text from Action Bronson yesterday. He's a big GC fan. Who knew? I mean, there's fans all up in our lives here, all up the wazoo. Action is the best. My favorite thing about Action is anytime I see him working out, because he works out pretty much 23 hours out of the day, and he's just like working out. He's got the Bulgarian bag, he's got the kettlebells, he's got this, and you just hear our show in the background. Like there's no tag, there's no nothing. It's like, oh, there's our interview with Jim Miller, just playing in the background. I appreciate the support very much. Reminder, later in the show, we're going to be joined by Jake Paul at 4. Reminder, later in the show, breaking news regarding this show. Breaking news regarding this show and something going... Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Mysterious Frank is out. He's sick. But how about Chris just taking the baton? Well done. I'd even ask for it. I told him by Wednesday he's going to be an actual character on the show. He's a little shy off the bat. But he's going to be a character on the show. That's how we like to do it. Breaking news regarding this program still to come. Stay tuned. I have something very big that I want to share with all of you. Stay tuned for that. Breaking news regarding this program. Tomorrow, I'll be hosting the Jake Paul Hasim Rahman Jr. press conference in New York City. And Wednesday, we're back. But breaking news, I say and I repeat, like the Joe Biden thing, repeat the line. Breaking news regarding this program. Now, in a matter of moments, do we have our guy here? This is going to be a big one for the internet. The internet's about to blow up. I have never had the opportunity to interview myself. This is probably the closest that I will get. Every time Aiemann Zahabi fights, I get flooded with tweets. Good luck, good luck, good luck. You're about to fight. You're looking good. You're looking good. It's just like a flood of tweets. And so he won on Saturday. Capital W, we beat Ricky Tercios. We did our thing, and I was like, all right, I've had Faraz on. I've had the whole TriStar crew on. I've never had Aiemann on, so I want to have him on. Here he is, the pride of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, my doppelganger, my spirit, my fighting spirit, if you will. The great Aiemann Zahabi, who's coming off a fascinating, tremendous. What is going on here? You're supposed to try to look like me, although you have the shirt. You've got the plaid shirt, Aiemann. How are you, my friend?
It's Ariel.
Yeah, I love that.
Hawani boxing in the house.
Let's go.
Hawani boxing, baby.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I really appreciate the fact that you're so good. You can tweet in between rounds.
How about that? Although I got the round wrong, which showed just how locked in I was.
You're in the zone. You don't got time for fans when you're in there. Listen, you don't got time for Ricky's jumping and screaming either. You did a great job. Your defense, masterful in there.
I thought so too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very kind. By the way, I don't have cool glasses like that. I can never pull off glasses, but the shirt is fantastic.
Listen, I don't wear prescription. These are, you know what I mean? I gotta look fly for the ladies. You know, Hawani boxing represent.
Let's
go.
I'm
the primetime Deion Sanders, Hawani boxing. You know what I mean?
I love it. By the way, Aiemann or Aiemann?
Either one is good. I prefer Aiemann.
Yeah, okay. Because, I'm Lebanese too. You know this, right?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, for sure, man.
It's really weird. I sent a...
You're Lebanese from Montreal.
It's freaking
we're the same guy.
I know. It's crazy.
We're the same.
I sent a picture of you to my mom, who watches everything. I was like, this guy is Lebanese, Montreal guy. I'll never be as tough or as fit as you, but I feel like something like, do we know each other? Are we like related? Is there some sort of like once removed? Like I feel
gotta
like
be some kind of cross between our families at some point.
Something, man. There's something. And now you did the shorter hair. Before you had a bit longer hair, shorter hair with the beard. It's uncanny.
I realized how well the look was working for you.
Thank you.
So now I'm all in.
Do you get a lot of people stopping you on the streets of Montreal? I feel like you can't go outside.
Yeah, they ask me, they're like, hey, aren't you supposed to be taller? I'm like, no. Aren't you like 6 foot? Like, no, not really.
I get a lot of, are you Aiemann Zahabi on the streets of New York? That's how big of a deal you are right now here.
Well, I mean, with how good you box. Like, I saw that video of you hitting the thing with Nate Diaz. You look fantastic. Crisp.
You think so? Because some people were taking shots. Listen, I didn't want to hurt his hands. I've got a deadly right.
Yeah. Listen, you're a gentleman.
Thank you.
You're a gentleman. Listen, if that was a fight, I gotta be running, man.
I agree. People don't realize I've been doing some stuff, but I'm not one, people go to the gym one time, they post everything on Instagram. I'm not that type. I'm doing things in the lab quietly by myself. I'm a humble guy. You understand? Humble Montrealer, Lebanese. That's the way we roll.
That's what I mean. After, we have a julep, we have a good time. That's how we do it.
You go to julep too?
Yeah, of course, right next to the gym.
Yes, there it is. Please tell me you don't have the spaghetti and meat sauce like George.
No, listen, I tried it one time. He came in the locker room. He's like, hey, man, you want to have the best spaghetti in Montreal? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, come with me. We go to the julep. Listen, it's not bad.
No.
Is it the best spaghetti in Montreal? No, but it's not that bad. It's just weird to get spaghetti at a drive-thru. You know what I mean?
It's not, you get the hot dog, you get the grilled cheese, you get the drink, of course.
You get the burgers, you get the chicken wings,
right. I have never seen someone, even like George has said it, I've never been there, and I go every time we're in Montreal. I grew up going there. I've never seen someone order the spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, me neither. Only George, I know. But it's on the menu. It's there.
What a legend. By the way, that was a great clip. He comes up to you, and if I'm being honest, he was there in the locker room, and I felt it was a little rude by the UFC. Like they were kind of eavesdropping on your conversation there. Like it felt like you guys were trying to have a moment. He was trying to impart some wisdom, and they just let it run and run and run. Were you getting a bit annoyed? Because I was getting annoyed on your behalf.
I wasn't annoyed because I know, like, to them, George is the biggest, like one of the biggest stars ever. He's like the king of an era, So I'm sure they try to get as much footage of him as possible. And I just found it funny that he was just there to say hello, because honestly, I asked him to corner me. Because he was supposed to be in town that weekend, and he was going to try to do it because my fight was supposed to be at 5:30 p.m. Vegas time. But then cancellations happened and they rearranged the card and ended up fighting at 6:30. His thing started at 6:30. He had some charity event with Chuck Norris. So it was still cool of him to show up, but then they brought out like the media, they filmed us and things like that. Hey, it is what it is. He still imparted some nice wisdom. I love what he told me.
What did he say?
It was right on the money. He told me, he's like, listen, all you have to do is be yourself. Don't try to be more than you are. You're more than good enough. He's like, you can beat all these guys if you're you. But if you fight less than yourself or you try to be more than you are, it's not going to work. Be Aiemann Zahabi, be authentic. And that's, you can't be more true than that. That's why he's the best.
I heard you say something to him like, I just have to be me. I just have to be, you kept repeating something to that effect. Do you find that earlier in your career, maybe your first couple UFC fights, that you weren't being yourself?
Well, being Frost's brother and coming from TriStar and all that, there's all these expectations for me to win by like a backflip spin hook kick or something crazy. So I'm always trying to do more than I could do. Like I want to finish the fight. Like I have to prove to everybody. Like the best example was the Ramos fight. Like I feel like, okay, round one, I really tried forcing the wrestling and the grappling. It didn't work out great. So then I took away the wrestling and grappling in round two, and I really picked up apart with like my jab and my uppercut. And in round three, I was like, he couldn't hurt me the first 2 rounds. I'm going to go and I'm just going to kill him. And I threw caution to the wind, and I overdid it, and then it cost me. And then I fought Vince Morales, and then I did the opposite. I was a shell of myself, and I lost the decision, which is very hard because I thought I won the fight too. I thought I did enough. And then Draco, I was the first time I tuned into who I am, and I'm just going to do what I do. Boom, I knocked him out. And then with Ricky, I just tried to do the same thing, but Ricky kind of didn't give me the old Ricky. He didn't come in with the barrage and the barn burner fight and the 1-1-2s and the stepping in and the takedowns and the nonstop. I was ready to counter him up because, the more you throw, the more you're open. But he really held back, I found. I feel like he didn't really open up.
Frustrating fight for you?
No, great fight for me. I mean, I feel like I looked like I outclassed him. Like defensively, like I shut him out. I think he only landed like 10% of his strikes. I had him between a rock and a hard place. Like if he stepped in too much, I was going to crack him with an overhand. And every time he stepped out, I low kicked him. So he found himself in this like in-between range where he's like shadow boxing almost himself. Like he's throwing punches and kicks, but not that he could really reach me, but he was trying to look busy and I couldn't really reach him. And like he put us in this weird distance, But anytime he stepped in, I tried to double jab him, jab hook, or like really cut him off. Because he was so long. He has a short torso and long arms and long legs. So I basically go at the same time as him. It was going to be hard for me to catch him first.
The lack of activity showed that he was almost like perplexed by what you were doing out there. And I'm happy you got the nod. Obviously, the last fight prior to this one was an incredible finish. And then we don't hear from you for like 16 months. Now, I saw an article that E. Spencer Kite, fellow Canadian, did a great job for UFC.com where he profiled you leading up to this fight. And in the article, he says multiple times that he tried to get out of you why you disappeared for 60 months and you wouldn't do it. Even though you guys have a relationship, you wouldn't do it. You said you would save it for after the fight. So it's after the fight. Where the hell were you? What happened?
Yeah, so, oh man, like a million things. Like it was crazy because, you know, Sean Shelby gave me the new contract because the guy missed weight and he gave me like a pay grade, an increase in pay. And so I was really happy. I wanted to fight again so I could make more money, right? But then when I got back in Montreal, the COVID restrictions were so extreme. We couldn't get together and train. And plus, like, we were having issues with, I don't know if you heard Faraz's podcast. We're having issues with someone else in the building. They kept calling the police on us anytime we wanted to go into the gym and train. Even though technically we were in the gray area of whether or not we're allowed to be in the gym because of like the square footage we had and stuff at TriStar. So they kept calling the police and the police kept coming, show up and try to shut us down. So it was like very hard to get a training camp going. And then finally, when they reduced the restrictions, I ended up getting a couple of injuries. And finally, I had a third injury that was actually really big, and it took me like 6 months to recover from.
Whoa.
So I'm just happy that I still got to be in the UFC, and I got over my stuff, all that bullshit that happened. And now I'm finally back in the UFC, and I got to show that, you know, time doesn't really affect me. I feel like I'm a lifer. I've been in the gym since I was a kid. And I don't feel like there's a real thing about ring rust. I'm just happy to be there. Honestly, when I get in the octagon, I'm just happy to be able to perform. It's like my canvas. I finally get to paint, you know?
That injury that sidelined you for 6 months, what was that?
Yeah, not telling you.
What?
Not telling anybody.
Why are you so secretive?
My opponents get nothing. Opponents get nothing. I take from them everything.
I feel that. You don't want anyone to like target it or anything like that, right?
Yeah, and also I don't want excuses, man. I'm not an excuse-making machine. It is what it is. Like, honestly, it was the proudest moment of my career beating Draco, not because like of the knockout, but because I overcame 2 losses. You know, like I was considered a front runner for the longest time. You know, I was Faraz's brother. I never lost an amateur. I didn't lose in pro until I got into the UFC. So a lot of people expected a lot. And then when I lost, I feel like everyone threw me under the bus. And like I listen to these picks sometimes, especially like when I was fighting Draco, you know, some of these media guys, like, you know, when it comes to striking, just like it does in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, it's not only about like how to throw a punch, but can the guy control the distance? Can the guy control the pace? Can the guy control the direction of the striking? There's so many layers to striking. That's why it's so hard to become elite, right? And I felt like I had the edge in the intangibles and what's invisible in striking compared to Draco. And I knew that I would catch him over time because he was so aggressive. And I'm a counter fighter. I knew he would step into something eventually. You know, I just had to find out how fast he was. Once I got the timing, you know, I split the combo. I tried to do it to Ricky, but Ricky was really smart. Like if you hear his corner, they were telling him to duck and cover. Oh, the haymaker's coming now. No. Like he was really avoiding getting hit with anything too big. And I feel like that kind of like ended up, you know, the fight had less action than I expected out of Ricky, but I understood why, because he didn't want to get hit with the power, I don't think.
By the way, after those 2 losses, were you, I mean, confidence-wise, were you struggling? Were you
confidence? Yeah, was brutal, man. Yeah. It's very hard, like, you know, because even for me, like, when I was undefeated for so long, like 10 years, and getting knocked out was hard, man. Getting knocked out was really hard. And even worse was losing a decision I thought I won because I took my foot off the gas, you know, in round 3 against Vince Morales. And I had enough in the tank, but the PTSD of getting knocked out against Ramos in round 3 came to me in the Morales fight. I was like, fuck, you know, I was like, forget it. Like, don't get knocked out in round 3. Make sure you don't get knocked out in round 3. And I kind of eased off and I regretted it, man. I'll never do that again. You know what I mean? I'll never do that again. And it was hard to come back, but I read a really good book called The Tools. And one of the tools they give you is they tell you this mantra. It's, I love the pain will set me free. I love the pain will set me free. And then I switched it to, I love the fear will set me free. Because you know what? In the end, the most nerve-wracking time is from weigh-in, after you complete weigh-in, to fight night, to getting in there. That is the hardest thing you can imagine. Like every doubt goes in your mind, all these different scenarios of what can happen. And there's so many ways to win in MMA. It's incredible. Like you can lose with a spinning elbow. You can lose with a flying knee, arm bar. You go to take a guy down, your foot gets stuck in the cage, you rip your toe. Who knows? You don't know.
Right. What is it like having someone like, it's one thing to have your dad in your corner. You have your brother in your corner, and not just your brother, one of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport. Do you find that he's tougher on you? Do you find that he's like, how would you describe the relationship that you have?
It's a great relationship. It's obviously a unique one in a way, because like he's also kind of like my father. Because like, you know, don't forget, like when my brother Faraz was 7, he asked for a younger brother. He told my father, he's like, give me a younger brother. He's like, my brothers treat me bad. Give me a younger brother. I want to show them what it means to be an older brother. So my dad told him, listen, I'm done having kids. If I give you a younger brother, you're raising him. My dad's working. He was a taxi driver, my dad. He came here with nothing. He came here with $10 in his pocket.
From Lebanon?
He was working 2-3 nights. From Lebanon, yeah. He came in 72 or 73, right? So he was working like crazy. So for us, said yes. At 7 years, like, well, if you give me a brother, I'm going to raise him. So ever since then, we've had like this father-son dynamic too. He always took care of me. And so we have a very unique relationship. I love him to death. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's hard. It's funny, like, I don't bring it up to him, but sometimes I find like when I'm sparring, he like picks at me a lot. Like if I get hit with one right hand, it's like, oh my God, how did you get hit with that right hand? But like I didn't get hit with that many, just one. But it was, it's the end of the world.
Right.
So like, but it's all jokes. Like I know it's because he doesn't want me getting knocked out ever again. And honestly, for him, like my favorite performance was the Draco one. And I think for him was this one against Ricky, because we came in with a game plan. And I had to change it in the fight. And we figured out the low kick, and like the kicking him in the leg was not coming, like wasn't part of the game plan at all. And then we found it. I found it in there, and I used it to expose him.
So you have a situation where you're growing up and you're among legends, right? In my opinion, the greatest of all time. George, like when TriStar was on fire a few years ago, and the pandemic obviously slowed things down and it made it very hard on you guys. How would you describe TriStar now? Like, are you guys able to do your thing? Are there any issues? And
oh man, it was tough. The pandemic was really tough for TriStar. It was literally hell. Like the cops were coming all the time. Like people, what's so funny is that even one guy who was training with us, his roommate was calling the police that we wanted to train, that we were training because he was scared that the guy was going to bring him back COVID. It was like, oh man. And obviously our European fighters couldn't come, our American fighters couldn't come, and not all the fighters were getting vaxxed, so it was very hard to get into Canada. So we're in a rebuilding process, but like our main guys are back, and we're growing back to normal. And I think some of the American guys are going to come back. Like Kevin Lee texted my brother about my fight and stuff. So hopefully Nasrat, Arnold Allen's coming back. We have Mandel Nalo, who's doing phenomenal. Yeah. We have Olivier Aubin-Mercier, who's doing great at PFL. We have a lot of up and coming guys like Alex Morgan. He's coming up. We got so many different guys winning fights. They're doing good. We're coming back.
Those glory days with GSP, you were around for all of them, right? Like you would go with them, you would travel.
Yeah. I remember when it was Christmas time and GSP and David Loiseau were both on the same card, and it was only people sparring during the holidays. It was me, Faraz, David, and George.
Damn. How old were you?
Spar these guys, help them get ready for their fights. Sorry?
How old were you at that point?
I was 18 at the time. I've been making the UFC walk since I was 23. I think I was cornering Miguel Torres. I cornered Rory against Tyron Woodley. I cornered Mark Bocek. I cornered so many elite guys in the UFC. So that's what people tell me. Aren't you worried about how long it takes for you to get back in? Like I want to fight 3 times a year, but unfortunately, sometimes things are out of my head, like injuries. I can't do much about the injuries. But this year, I told myself at least one more time. So I'm hoping in October or November I'm in there, because I'm taking my wife and kids to Greece for a vacation.
Oh, nice.
Next week we're leaving, so I'm really happy. I told my wife after my loss to Ricardo Ramos that I had just gotten married before, we're not going in on a vacation until I get into a hot streak. So here we are, 5 years later, I'm 2 in a row. Yeah. She earned it, man. My wife earned the vacation. Let me tell you something. She gave me twin daughters. I told her 1 pregnancy done. Boom, she hooked it up. So I'm taking her to Greece, man. We're celebrating.
I love it. You deserve it. And I mean, look, you have the name, you have the background, everything. It would be nice, man. I don't know about you. You probably feel the same way. We need to get the UFC back to Montreal. We need to get you know what I mean? It feels weird that you guys
love it.
You guys can't even go to Toronto. What is going on here? You guys deserve this.
Let me tell you something, man. Listen, the UFC is doing great with Canada right now. We got Jourdain fighting next week. I think he's going to do fantastic. I just won my fight. I think Tanner Boza, I don't know if he has a fight book, but we got a lot of guys that we could put on a good card in Canada for sure.
Michael Malott.
Only thing holding back. Sorry?
Michael Malott in Ontario. Yeah,
exactly.
The guy who trains with Alpha Male. Yeah, he looked great.
Yeah, all these guys are looking good. And I feel like the only thing holding them back now is got to be the COVID restrictions.
Yeah,
because I think in Canada, everyone has to be vaccinated. I'm not 100% correct still.
Yeah.
But I think that's the main issue. And I don't know if all of UFC staff is vaccinated. Like, I'm not going to ask, even me, like I hate that I was coerced into it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like the fact that we had to eventually just take it, whatever. We'll see what happens now.
We don't need to get into all of that. We don't want everyone getting mad at us.
Listen, I'm fed up of the whole thing.
I know. No one wants to talk about it.
I love Canada, though. Listen, Canada's my country. Quebec's my hometown. What can I tell you? Montreal, baby.
I
for life.
So, Perfect World, you return in October. Anyone that is on the radar? We thinking about
I'm
it?
going to do my homework during vacation.
Okay.
Like, honestly, I was so focused on Ricky, and I really wanted to get 2 in the row in the UFC. I hadn't done it before, and I'm just happy now that I got that done, and I'm going to do my homework while I'm there. I'm going to have a lot of downtime, and I'll come back with a few names to give for us, and then we'll reach out to Sean Shelby and see if something can work for October or November. That'd be perfect.
Man, it's amazing. It's really amazing because I feel like a lot of people put a lot of pressure on you when you came in because of the last name, and then they, as you said, tried to write you off. Now to see you on a roll here and doing so well, and you're no longer Faraz's younger brother anymore. I feel like that was how we referred to you for so long. Now you're freaking killing it out there, and I think the
now
move.
I'm a real Hawaii baby.
Well, yeah, I mean the move to shave the head, phenomenal. Grow out the beard, phenomenal. I don't know who advised you to do this. It wasn't me, but well done.
Take it as a compliment, man. I'm learning from the best.
I appreciate it. Now, does it bother you when you fight that everyone's congratulating me? Do you feel like this is taking away some of your shine?
It's funny, man. I love it, man. Listen, we're both from the same place. You know what I mean? We both grew up, with the same stuff. And I'm just happy to be sharing the light. And it's funny. Actually, I just heard Andrew Schulz say to you earlier that, you grow up with some guys and then you tell them they're going to do good and whatever. And I remember, I met you when I was young. I remember actually one time we bumped into a hotel. I thought I was going to my room and Louis wouldn't open the door for me, but I was knocking on your door. Do you remember that in Vegas?
No.
I was on the wrong floor.
Really?
And I'm knocking on your door. You had the exact same room number as us, but 1 floor lower.
Wow.
And you sounded exactly like Louis. I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, Louis, let me in. You're like, this is not Louis, it's Ariel Helwani. I'm like, Louis, get out of here, man. Stop playing with me. Just open the door. I went to go do what you asked me to do. And he wouldn't open that. You finally opened the door. I was like, oh, man, you are Ariel Helwani.
I don't remember this. This is a GSP fight?
That?
No.
No, it was a Miguel Torres fight. I think he was fighting Demetrius Johnson.
Man.
I was cornering him against Demetrius Johnson.
Have you talked to him
recently?
recently?
A long time ago. To Miguel.
Where is Miguel? What happened to him?
He's got his gym now. He's doing his own thing.
He's all right?
Teaching and everything. He's doing good. I don't see him that often. I would love it if he called more, man. I would love to see him more. He's great.
And you also dedicated your win to late great
Master Peter.
Master Peter, legend. I was so sad to hear of his passing. He was always a staple. Did you work with him closely at the gym?
Always, man. Always. And I'm happy that I won with low kicks because I think he would have been proud of that. He always tells me, chop the leg, chop the leg. He was an incredible person. What's beautiful about him is he would intimidate grown men. But when it came to children, when they came in the gym, he'd get on his hands and knees and be soft and sweet and teach them Muay Thai. He was an incredible human being. So I just want to honor him, thank him for everything he's done for the team and my family.
Much respect, my friend. Long overdue to have you on here. We are pulling for you. It was very nice. By the way, the guy that you beat, Ricky Tercios, looks like one of the guys on the team here. So we were all joking that it was like me versus him. Yes, he looks exactly like him from a few years ago. So it was just a crazy, crazy thing. And you were the underdog too. You were the underdog, which I thought was crazy. Maybe because of the time off. I don't know. He won tough.
I love that I was underdog, and then by the third round I was minus 400.
Yeah, of course, because of the way things were going.
That was incredible.
Congrats on the win. Enjoy Greece.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on, and we'll do it again soon. And keep up the look, my friend. Short hair, beard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It'll take you far places, let me tell you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Aiemann. Talk to you soon. Salam alaikum to Aiemann Zahabi joining us from Montreal, who looks exactly like me. That was a lot of fun. Every time he fights, every single time he fights, my Twitter just explodes. Oh, Ariel, you're fighting. And by the way, you could do worse than being, compared to a UFC fighter who's now on a little winning streak. Last win last year was incredible, and then comes back beating the tough winner with a masterful striking and defensive performance. Well done. So congrats to him. Now, reminder, later in the show, Jake Paul's going to join us. Later in the show, breaking news regarding this program. Stay tuned for all of that. For now, though, when we said goodbye last Wednesday, there was some breaking news in the world of UFC that affects the UFC London card, which is, 12 days away. We found out, unfortunately, Darren Till out. That fight against Jack Hermansson, the co-main event not happening, but in one of the hottest fighters in the UFC and one of the best stories in the sport right now, our good friend, the action man, Chris Curtis, who's undefeated in the UFC, coming off a win. He likes to fight and then come back relatively quickly, but no stage like this one. O2 Arena. Jack Hermansson, sold out show. He's going to London, and he even said on Twitter shortly thereafter there were 3 places he wanted to fight. MSG, check. O2, about to be checked. And then the last one is the Saitama Super Arena in Japan. Let us say hello to the action man, Chris Curtis, kind enough to join us here to talk about his big fight over Jack Hermansson, perhaps a win as well. Chris, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And I will say it was super funny to watch your twin fight. And I was watching it like, man, this is so uncomfortable.
But boy, did we look good, huh? You see that striking?
You guys looked really good. Like, the leg kicks are beautiful. You guys looked great. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Wow. Okay, so this is a big spot, Chris. You have been in big spots, MSG, but there's more attention on you, higher profile fight. Tell me, when did you get the call, offer to fight Jack Hermansson to replace Darren Till? How did this all go down?
No, it was Wednesday. I was leaving conditioning, and my manager pops up with the PI, and he's like, you should answer your phone, first of all. And then he's like, do you want to fight in 2 weeks? I'm like, yeah, sure. What's going on? And then he's like, do you want to fight in London in 2 weeks? I'm like, also, yes. What's happening? And he's like, well, I think we're fighting Jack Hermansson in 2 weeks. I said yes. I asked how much I was like, well, what's in it for me? He's like, well, it's a pay bump. They told me how much they're paying me. And I said yes. And then an hour later, Hermansson confirms, and just like that, we're on the card.
Damn. So you actually said yes before you even knew the location and the opponent?
My first question was when and what are they paying?
Okay. Is it a big pay bump?
It's a substantial pay bump.
Nice. This is great. Now, is it a new contract as well, or just like a one-off pay bump?
No, new contract and a substantial pay bump. So everyone always says Kevin Holland's crazy for like fighting so much, like short notice. No, I totally get why he does it, man. Like, I can only imagine what Kevin Holland's pay is right now, because like my pay bump was substantial. So like, yeah, they definitely take care of you for doing the short notice fights. It's
crazy, man. Like last year around this time, you're getting ready to fight in ex-MMA, right? And then you go like, and now here you are at the O2 a year later, co-main, pay bump, longer deal. I'm sure you've had another deal before this deal against your story continues to be one of the best stories.
I love it, man. It's crazy in this sport, how it's such a hard sport. It's very unforgiving, but your fortunes can change for the better or worse overnight, man. And like, it's, for me, this last year has been pretty insane. I went from making $4,000 a fight, maybe, to significantly more, fighting in O2 Arena, a top 10 guy in the world. Like, it has been a hell of a year.
By the way, where are you living these days? I feel like the last time we spoke, weren't you living at your manager's house or something?
Yeah, I was living with Lance, my manager. I moved out. I got a place like not too far down the street. Like,
nice. Yeah. Look at you.
You have your own space. Still driving the same piece of shit car though, and I'll drive until it explodes. But probably moved out like an adult and got my own space. But I'm just right down the street from it.
How many miles on the car?
God, who knows at this point? It's less than 100,000, but
okay,
it's still. It's definitely an old lady Sunday car before I got it, but like I'll drive until it explodes.
You're not treating yours?
No, it's like a 2006 Hyundai Sonata. But yeah.
Is there anything you want to treat yourself? Like maybe it's not a car. It's, I don't know, clothes, like gadget. I don't know, something.
The biggest thing I bought was I bought a new computer. That was like $3,000. That was the most money I've spent on like a single thing besides like the house. So like, yeah. I'm fine, man. I've lived like a hobo for so long, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't need fancy stuff, man. I just enjoy knowing I got money in the bank. I can take care of my son if he needs anything. So yeah, I don't really need anything special for me. I just want to keep putting stuff away for when I'm done and keep fighting. That's it.
So you said on Twitter, MSG O2 Saitama. Why O2? Like, why does that venue mean so much to you?
For me, man, like coming from the boxing background, having such a huge fan of boxing, there's so many cool fights that happen in the O2. It's just one of the coolest arenas in Europe. And it's like, it's one of those most famous arenas in Europe. Like, it sees so much action. There's so many big fights there. You got like Usyk and Joshua and all that stuff. And there's so many cool fights that have been there. So I think it'll really be fun to fight in such a big boxing arena. Like, it's for me, it's just one of those things. It's something I want to do.
Do you think you're going to
has all the history. Yeah.
Right, yeah, of course. No, I mean, like in a year, you're crossing off, like you're no Apex fighter. You're crossing off two of the most iconic venues in sports in the world. It's unbelievable. Do you think you'll be the fan favorite in this one? Because I feel like everyone loves you, and you're not fighting an Englishman. So I actually, but Jack is such a nice guy too. I'm not sure how it's gonna go.
This is weird. I think Jack and I are the two nicest guys.
Yes.
Like it's me, Jack, and Rodolfo are up there. Like, so it's funny, man. But I've got a lot of messages and support from the English fans, man. So they're super. I may not be an English fan, but they definitely English sports fans are crazy, man. Because like they're diehard for their team, but they respect the fight. They respect people stepping up. So I've gotten like 1,000 and so messages from English fans, like, "Oh, we're pulling for you. Me and all my mates are coming. We're gonna be cheering for you." So I think they just respect somebody stepping up, taking the fight. So like, I think I'll have some decent fans there.
You got some well wishes from Darren Till. Did that surprise you?
Nah, man, I've known Darren for a little bit. We trained together. Actually, he's gonna be in the corner.
Is this happening?
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, dude. So I think I'm gonna have my coach Eric and Nate. Then I'll have Darren, Till, and Brendan Lockney in my corner as well.
Wait a
so
second.
Two Englishmen.
And now you're for sure gonna get cheered. Wait a second. You throw this out on Twitter like that was the first time you threw it out there? That was just kind of like a passing thing, right?
Like, hey man, you want to corner me? Because Sean can't go to England. So I was like, you want to corner me? And Darren hit me up. He's like, yeah, man, let's go. So then I hit him and I hit Brendan up. And he's like, yeah, Brendan's like, I'll do it too. So there's my corner.
Damn. You've got one of the most famous fighters from Liverpool, Manchester. Are you surprised that he's doing it?
No, man, I've known Darren for a little bit. He's out in Vegas. We train together. He's a really cool dude. I like Darren. We get along great. And, it's not – the English fans were definitely upset he's not fighting there. And I know Darren's upset he's not fighting at home, man. Like, people give him shit, but like the dude trains really hard, like maybe too hard. I've done the same thing before. And, injuries happen. So I know he was crushed about it and the fans were crushed. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't have a shot in my corner. I get along great with Darren. He brings that same kind of energy. So why not? We give the fans still get to see Darren. He still gets to be out there in front of his hometown, and I get my corner out of it. So, everybody wins.
Incredible. Now, what is his role going to be?
He gets to be Sean. Just tell me, don't be a bitch. Like,
okay.
That's what Darren has much the same energy as Sean. Is like, I'm sure he'll scream something in like Scouser that I won't understand, but I'll get that it means like, hey, work harder, or, like stop being a bitch. And he just gets to be Sean for the fight.
By the way, why can't Sean come to England?
Because Sean, quote unquote, lost his passport, as he claims.
Okay.
Yeah.
No other reasons, right?
That we know of. I don't know. I haven't checked any government watch list lately, but you never know. You don't know, man. But I think it's because of passport issues.
What happened against Pereira with him?
Sean is Sean, man. Like, there was a clear game plan that was worked on in camp. We all went over. But at the end of the day, Sean is definitely a live by the sword, die by the sword kind of guy. And even more so than getting a title shot, I think important to him was testing himself and see where he was. And a lot of people won't get that. But until you've been in there, some of the best in the world, you have people telling you can't do something. Like, they won't understand that, like, sometimes, sometimes oh God. So I hate to make it sound like this, but you all say like, oh, it should financially, it should be money before pride. But as a man in fighting, oftentimes you will see that your pride will come first. Mm-hmm. For better or worse, like, you can't fight without pride. You can't be a high-level fighter without some sense of pride. And sometimes, to our detriment, we put that pride before everything else. But that's what he chose to do, man. He wanted to test himself. He wanted to see. And, it didn't work out in his favor this time. Something has most of the time. This time it didn't. But sometimes it's more important to know than to win. So I'll give him that. But it's fighters are different, man. But like a lot of times, it's more important to know than to win. Interesting.
I mean, I understand the way you put it. Obviously, you're watching and you're like, wait, why would he do that? What was the game plan, by the way?
So we worked on all camp. Sean's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And Sean's a grappler, and like his wrestling is very good. So we were like stay connected to him. Like, don't train kickboxing range. Stay connected to him. Drag him down, wear him out, beat him up, or submit him. I figured Sean would TKO him. I figured he'd drag him down, he'd lock up with him, he'd clinch him, he'd drag him to the mat, let him get up, drag him to the mat, beat him up, he'd wear him out, and beat him that way, which is like the easiest path to victory. But Sean's like, you know what? Fuck your kickboxing. I'm going to kickbox you. So Sean goes and does Sean because there's nothing else you can expect to Sean other than for him to be Sean.
I mean, yeah, a good way to put it. By the way, since it's your weight class, what did you think of the main event?
I stopped watching about like 2.5 rounds in. I was like, I went and did something else. I was like texting on Twitter, just like trolling with fans. Like it was not a great main event. I don't know. It felt really dialed in, man. It felt really dialed in. I was like, waiting not to actually try to win that fight.
Who do you blame more for that? Do you blame Izzy or do you blame Jared, or both?
I don't know. I had this talk with somebody yesterday. Like, I don't understand what it is, but I guess I would love to, even if I'm going to fight Izzy, I would love to spar Izzy, because I don't understand from the outside looking in. Nothing he does seems absolutely insane. He does some cool stuff, but like nothing seems absolutely insane. So I want to see, like, standing across from him, what's different? What is he doing that's so threatening? You know, maybe there's small stuff in there that you see as a fighter that makes you unsure. But I feel like he freezes guys. So it's kind of like, no, it's Jared's fight for like getting frozen. But at the same time, like, Izzy did nothing to end that fight. Like, you know, he did absolutely nothing to end that fight. So I would love to see it. I don't get it, man. But like, I would no disrespect to Izzy at all, man. He's a champ. He's phenomenal. But I want to see like what's going on in there that makes people freeze.
Do you think Alex has a chance against him?
Yeah, man. Alex knocked him out with 10-ounce gloves on. Now we've got 4-ounce gloves on. So, oof. If I was Izzy, I'd be on the first flight to Dagestan right now, and I'd be wrestling for like the next year until this goes down.
By the way, you beat Jack Hermansson, co-main event, big card. Like there's not that much between Jack. I mean, we're talking maybe 1 or 2 more. Do you agree with that? Like, you're in the mix at that point.
It's crazy. I've never once thought about that. I'm like, holy shit. Somebody was like, oh, bro, you're like 2 fights away from title contention. I'm like, holy shit. Ooh, yeah, that's I've never actually thought about that until like this week, and I'm like, that is actually a concerning thought, because I never thought about being in this position, never once.
Wow, like not even when you were coming up.
No, never once. I never once thought about it. It was always such a struggle to even like get signed that I never gave myself like time to think about title aspirations. Now they're like, if this goes well, you could be 1 or 2 away from a title shot. I'm like, holy shit.
That's an amazing, like this. It's almost like you're playing with house's money at this point, right? I feel like there's no pressure on you whatsoever. You didn't expect any of this.
The thing, like, I didn't expect it, and people are like, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, "Look, man, if I go in and lose, I took a 2-week notice fight against the top 10 guy in the world. Like, nobody wants to lose, but like, I don't think it really hurts me that much. Like, I literally fought 2 weeks ago. I took a 2-week notice fight against a top 10 guy. Like, if you're going to hold that against me, cool. You know, like, if I lose, shoot, let me run it back with a camp, but who knows? I think I can beat most people in the world, honestly. So I win, and I'm number 8 ranked guy in the world. But holy shit, we never thought we were going to be here. I lose, it's like, cool, I'm still 3-1 in my UFC run. So they're with a brand new big contract. So, and then I thought about it too. If I do lose, I still have a really good contract, a new contract. And now I can probably fight a guy coming off of a loss. So I'm like, oh. So, you know, win, lose, or draw, I come out above even. So I'm pretty happy with it.
What is it about these short notice fights that you like? Like, it seems like you don't, I mean, now it's like back to back where you have fight, then you come back relatively shortly thereafter. Like, are you not letting yourself go? Do you go right back to the gym? You're just that kind of guy. Why do you like these spots?
Because I'm ready, man. The new saying is, I was ready yesterday. Like, after that fight, I was back in the gym on Monday. I wanted to train Sunday, and I overslept, and I was too tired, overslept. But I was back in the gym on Monday, and I was back to regular practice that Monday. So one of the saying I just picked up from one of my guys I did a podcast with yesterday is ready yesterday. And like that's how I feel. It's like I don't let myself get out of shape. I don't let myself take too much time off. And I'm not a guy who goes and gains 30 pounds and takes a 2-month break. I'm right back to it. So 2 weeks is great for me. Like there was nothing worse for me when I was supposed to fight Driscus or Dricus, whatever his name is, Driscus.
Close enough.
I still don't know his name. I still don't know
Dricus.
Dricus. Like everyone says it. I've heard like 3 different pronunciations, and I'm just like, I feel bad every time I say it. But I was supposed to fight him. I had 3 months to train. That fight falls through, and then I have another 3 months to train for, or 2 months, 3 months to train for Rodolfo. That's just too much time for me, man. I train really, really hard 7 days a week. So training for 5 months it burns me out. I hate it. I lose interest. If I can, just do my regular thing, fight, and then like, hey, you want to fight 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Like, yeah, man, I'm in shape. Just let me go.
By the way, what's up with this guy, Joaquin Buckley?
He's just a snake. He's just a snake and a clout chaser. That's all it is, man. Like, he got mad at me. Apparently he's mad at me because I helped Albert train for that fight. He's like, you helped him train against me. I'm like, first of all, you idiot, he's part of my gym and I'm fighting a top grappler. So like, why would I not train with Albert? Like, if you guys want to go and fight each other, it's cool. You guys can kill each other. I don't give a fuck. But like, I had a fight coming up. He's like, well, you helped him get ready for me, so I'm mad at you. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah. And I think it's a combination of Joaquin Buckley's just an idiot, and like Joaquin Buckley does a lot of shit just to like chase clout and stay relevant. Like he's just that guy. Like I don't need to like weird call outs or to be like, oh well, I want people to talk about me, so I'm gonna go get the Detroit urban survival guy to corner me. Like, no, I don't have to go clout chase to like, have people talk about me. And it's just how he keeps himself relevant. So like, good to him, but die nameless, I don't care.
And you've trained together, right?
He came out here, he had a fight coming up. I fucking was trying to, we welcome to the gym with open arms, man. Like I tried to do anything I could to help him out. Oh, I thought I was a good training partner. I thought we were cool. And then he's like, oh, you helped somebody get ready for me. I'm like, he trains at this gym. And I needed him for my fight as well. Like, grow up.
Is that who you were referring to? You posted something on your Instagram about like the higher up the ladder you go, the more clout chasers and things like that come your way.
Yeah, he's definitely just random clout. He does anything to have people talk about him. Like the Detroit urban survival thing. Like it's just Joaquin Buckley is a guy who, not to be a dick, but he kind of shot himself in the foot. He had the best moment of his career with that kick. And from that point on, he's going to chase that white dragon, but he's never going to catch it. So now he's just trying to one-up himself. So, it's like peaking in high school, man. Everything you do from this point is not going to be the same. And he's just chasing that high, and he's never going to get it. So he'll do anything he can to, try to make himself viral again. So good for him, but, keep my name out your fucking mouth and die nameless. Woo, call it fast.
Or unless he becomes champion, then he will be topping it, right?
Not gonna hold my breath on that one.
All right, fair enough. By the way, what's the background that you got there?
Oh, I'm such a nerd. You see Megalobox, Gearless Joe?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a boxing anime. Really good though.
It's a boxing anime?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed. Anime about boxing?
No, it's a great one. There's Megalobox. There's Hadrino. No, go. I'll hit me up, man. This is actually a really good show, a very good story. Like very, very, yeah.
About the sport of boxing?
Yes. Well, this one's like a little bit more. It's like it's boxing with a twist. But then you got like Hadrino Ippo, which is super realistic boxing. Like, yeah.
From Japan?
Yeah.
Damn.
Just type it in. Megalobox.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I like that picture that you posted on Twitter when the fight came out of Superman punching Joker.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like that.
You got to have fun with it, and we've got very basic strategies. He's going to try to take me down and beat me up. I'm going to try to punch a hole in his chest. So we've got very well known strategies.
When you go out there?
I think next Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, just to get acclimated. I mean, it's going to be during the day here, so it won't be that big of a deal, right? Like it's not like
I'm not. I can. So here's one of my special powers. I can literally sleep anywhere at any time. Like it doesn't really matter to me. They're like, oh, the time difference. I'm like, bro, I could like be next to a garbage can at like 3 o'clock on the other side of the world. I can just go to sleep when I go to sleep. So I'm not worried about the time difference. It's always sucks more coming back, so I'll be fine there. It'll be like midday here. Like, yeah, it's fine.
God bless, man. What a story. You continue to be one of the best stories in the sport. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And now you're leveling up again. You're fighting in, O2. It's going to be a great scene. You deserve it. And I can't wait for it. So congrats on getting the fight, on the new deal. Good luck to you, my friend. Can't wait for it. July 23rd in London. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks a lot, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, on to the next one.
Yes, sir. There he is. Chris Curtis, the action man, going up against Jack Hermansson. Tremendous card. They have really, I think, one up themselves. Like the card in March was great. I think the main fights on this July 23rd card is I think the card is better. I think like the main event is better. Aspinall Blades is better. I think Patty's fight is more interesting. All these fight. I mean, the only knock is really Jack Shore for some reason is fighting on Long Island and not in London. I still don't get it. Speaking of Long Island, main event this Saturday, ABC UBS Arena. Beautiful. I hear tremendous things about it. Is an incredible fight. Brian Ortega, T-City against Yair Rodriguez. El Pantera returning. We haven't seen him in several months. Going up against Brian Ortega. Fantastic fight. Important fight at 145 pounds. Kind enough to be joined by our old friend Yair El Pantera Rodriguez, the pride of Mexico. He is now joining us. He is headlining the card Saturday on ABC from the UBS Arena on Long Island. There he is. Yair, ¿cómo estás? How are you, my friend?
Very good, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Yes, great to talk to you as always. I appreciate the time. Big opportunity for you, big stage, big card. But I'm wondering, when you were first approached about this, I know you and Brian are friends, right? Were you a bit like, man, I don't know. I don't want to fight this guy. I like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it, and the opportunities that we had before to talk. We didn't want to fight each other unless we had to. Now this is an opportunity for both of us, and we have to fight each other. It's as I say before, it's not the opponent I wanted, but the opportunity I wanted, and here we are, facing each other for this big opportunity. So this is an important fight, like you say.
Who is the opponent that you wanted? If it was up to you.
It's not the opponent. It's just the opportunity. It's the ranking, because it doesn't really matter, as I always have said, because you're in the mix. You're going to fight eventually, like basically all of the guys. So it doesn't matter, as soon as they get the opportunity, they will fight you or you will fight them. It doesn't matter. You're in the mix. For me, it's more of the opportunity to go keep moving forward.
Yes. Last time we saw you was against Max Holloway back in November. Incredible fight, but it was a brutal fight. You took some damage. How long did it take for you to heal up from that fight?
Well, there's some things that you never heal. Like you have pains here and there, but nothing serious. It's a contact sport. You gotta get used to it, and as you're moving forward on the sport and you're growing, you're getting older and stuff. Some things that they never go away, like little pains here and there, but healed completely. It took me like a couple of months, in order for me to be better, but here we are.
You took some time off from the gym after that fight.
Yeah, I couldn't really train. I was running, I was doing different kind of like exercises and stuff, but nothing of impact.
Right.
It's cardio basically.
Looking back on it, how do you? Because that was a big fight. You're coming back after the layoff. You're fighting one of the best guys in the world. You hung in there for 25 minutes. How do you feel about the fight now, several months later?
Well, I know a lot of people was happy because of the fight. It was a great fight, but for me, it was like a lot of experience. But I didn't get the result I want. And I'm not happy with my results, to be honest. I think that I still need a lot of work to work on myself a lot, learn a lot more. And it was like an eye-opening for me. And here, still learning and moving forward.
Is it one of those weird things where people are like, oh, congrats, such a great fight. But for you, you're like, I didn't win. I don't really want to celebrate this fight. I don't really like it.
Yeah, it was an amazing fight against an amazing opponent. But yeah, I didn't really celebrate that much. I was happy because, it was a great fight and everybody was happy with it. But yeah, like inside of me, I was like, fuck, I lost. I lost. So not happy 100%.
Did you feel like the time off affected you at all?
Well, I think it could affect, but I actually like doing that. I like taking my time off, healing completely. And then I understand why people think that if you take time off, you will come back like, I don't know, like we do this for a living. So, it doesn't matter. Reaction will be there. You won't forget how to fight. You get more time to prepare yourself. And for me, it's just normal. It's nothing crazy. Taking some time off and coming back. For me, it's like whatever.
You have two fighters here in this next fight, you and Brian Ortega. Obviously, two Hispanic fighters, very strong fan bases in Mexico, in Latin American markets, but you're fighting in New York. Were you surprised when you found out that it was not going to be maybe, I don't know, California, Texas, maybe even Mexico, that this was the location for the fight?
No. There's a saying in Mexico, I don't know how to say it in English, but it goes like this: El que es buen gallo, en cualquier gallinero canta. It doesn't matter. The place doesn't matter, if you're a good fighter, you'll fight good anywhere. So the place for me is the last thing that I care about, So anywhere for me is a good place to die.
Anywhere for me is a good place to die. That's the mentality.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Like we're ready. I mean, if you have to do that, like of course you're going to for glory, right? But if you're going to die, any place is good.
Wow.
Let's go.
But this is a big opportunity. Like when they told you main event on ABC, did you understand that this was a huge honor? This was a huge spot for you. Did that mean anything to you, or did it have to be explained to you?
No, I understand that it's a big opportunity. It's only that I don't really like to think about it too much. I only go, because what am I gonna do about it? I just go and do the best thing I can with what I have, and that's it. There is not many sides of it. You can either be pressure or not. I'm not pressured at all. I'm just going.
You don't get nervous.
Right now, I'm not.
Okay. Early in your career, did you get nervous?
Earlier, I'll say a little more, but no, I never let opportunities like this consume my energy because there is nothing you can do. If the public is gonna be there, television or cameras is part of your job, so you gotta get acclimated or adjust to it. It doesn't matter, and I actually like it. I like when a public is there, like hearing the loud, the public. It's just I like it.
I remember when you threw up in the cage. Was that because of nerves?
No, I was sick. I was sick in my stomach. I didn't know I was sick because one of those weight cuts. When I was recovering, I ate pizza, I ate pasta, all kinds of stuff. Because, I was so new for the sport, it was hard for me cutting weight. I didn't know how to do it correctly. And I got sick from my stomach, I was holding it, I fight like that. And after, I fought in Mexico City and it was so hard, and right after the fight, when my body was relaxed and everything happened, I threw up in the cage. But the good thing was right in the moment when Joe Rogan was like, okay, let's take a look at the big screen. And everybody okay,
that was brutal.
It was gross.
In this particular fight with this stuff, stakes and all that stuff, you just block it all out. You focus on the fight. You're fighting a friend. Maybe it's better. You no animosity between you guys, right? There's not going to be any trash talk. It's all good, right?
All good. All good. Yeah, no. I mean, I have nothing, no bad feelings towards Brian Ortega. I like the guy. But I think that makes even a better fight, in between each other, because we are more like relaxed. So if you're in a relaxed state when you're fighting, I think that's even better than being stressed out. So it's going to be a great one.
What about fighting in the empty Apex as opposed to now you're going to have tons of people there? You like it more with fans, right?
I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but it doesn't matter, It doesn't matter because you're fighting no matter what. Like you fight by yourself in the street. Like when I was young, growing up, the feeling of fighting is the same. It doesn't change that much whenever people is there or not. If one people is watching or 20 or 120,000 people are watching, it's the same feeling. For me, it's really.
By the way,
I've
seen on your social media these days, you're doing some crazy stuff, man. You're doing some like crazy, like on motorcycles, bikes, paragliding, all this stuff. What is going on here? Why do you do all of this?
I just like it. It's just something that I never had the opportunity growing up of having a dirt bike or anything like that. It's something that I always wanted to do, to learn how to do. And, I always do it with all the protection. And in the sand dunes, especially, so it's soft. If you ever land in the floor or whatever, it's really soft. So there is not much impact or anything like that. But I'm learning slowly how to do it.
You're spending too much time with Donald Cerrone. I'm getting nervous about all of this. I mean, this is crazy stuff. You got a lot at stake here. You're on the verge of a title shot, perhaps. You can't be jumping around, flying around. It's too much going on.
Yeah, I used to, live a life worth living. So, yeah.
And now you're doing some acting, too.
No, not really. Actually, Cabo brought me to one of his movies. And he was like, hey, we need some people. Do you want to be in the movie? And I was like, why not? Let's do it. And then I was just like for 10 seconds in the movie and that's it, but not an actor.
Okay.
I was just teasing with people when I posted that on my Instagram. I'm not really an actor. I have never taken classes of how to be an actor or anything like that. So no.
Were you surprised by the way that he retired?
I just hate the fact that I want to see him more. I want to see him more fighting. Because I know he loves fighting. But I'm also happy for him because I know it's something that he didn't say it, but knowing him, I knew it was something that he wanted to do because he didn't really love it no more. He was tired, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on in his life. He's done so much. There's nothing really left for him to do. So I get it. By the way, speaking of retiring, were you surprised? Maybe this one didn't really surprise you, but you've been tied to Zabit over the years. We never got to see the fight, and he retired. Were you surprised when you heard this?
Well, I thought he was already retired. I wasn't surprised when I hear like he officially retired. I was like, I thought he already retired. It's sad that we never get to, fight each other because, there was a lot of things in between him and I, and were safe. But, I don't have any bad feelings towards the guy. I wish him the best. I hope he's healthy. I hope everything is going well in his life. And, it's just sad that we never get to settle what we had. But, so it's out, so no problem.
That was like the featherweight version of Tony and Khabib. We kept, they book it, excited, falls off, like 3 times, right?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 times. I don't even remember how many times. Yeah, like 2 or 3 times.
Has anyone told you or your management, you win this fight on Saturday, you are next for a title shot? Has that been said to you?
Yes, that has been said to me. Yeah, and that's what we're looking for, right? First things first, going to win this fight, and then hit the champ sometimes to heal, and go for it. But for now, let's just take it step by step. First things first, July 16, Brian Ortega. That's for now.
Just curious, I'm assuming you saw Volkanovski's win over Max a couple of weeks ago. What did you think of his performance?
Shit! Wow. Yeah. That's all what I can say. Wow, he looked amazing. It was an eye opening for me too. So I better get ready for that if I wanna be the champion. If I wanna be the champion, I'm gonna have to put some work because he's tough. He's really tough.
What was eye opening for you?
On his last fights before, he didn't look that well. These fights, he looked so quick, explosive, smart, strategy wise. He had everything. He's shown why he's the champion.
It was an incredible. I think the gap has grown, right, between him and Max, and in that division at least. Like he has gone so much better in the last year and a half or so.
Yes, he looked so much better. Everybody was like, wow, surprised. Like my family and friends, they were, wait, what do you think? Like, I think he's great. I think he's good. And I think I'm going to have to put a lot of work if I want to beat him.
By the way, what about what Brian did to him last September? Like, that gets even more impressive over time, right? He was this close to finishing him.
Yeah, actually a couple of times. And I was there looking live. So I wasn't surprised. I wanted Brian to win, because it's my homie or whatever. I don't know how he couldn't get it. That talks a lot about who Volkanovski is as well, how tough he is. And of course, it tells me a lot of Brian Ortega as well.
Yeah, the guillotine, the triangle. By the way, regarding Max, you think he could bounce back?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Max is, I don't know what happened with Max last fight. Of course we're giving credit to the champ, but we don't know what happened to Max. He will never put he will never be like, oh, something bad happened to me, or I couldn't do a good performance because of this or that or whatever. But I think he's there still. I think he will be there for a long time. I don't think Max has changed at all, and I think he has a lot to keep.
You think this goes 25 minutes? Like, are you buckling up for a long fight here on Saturday? Do you feel like it's going to be a long one?
No, I don't want this to be a long fight. I'm tired of long fights. I'm tired of long fights. I wanna finish the fight quick, and I wanna be healthy. I don't wanna be hurt. I don't wanna take any more damage. So I'm looking to get the win quick.
What do you think is the best way to end it early?
So I don't really want us to get they're hurt during the fight. So anyway for me it's a good way to win. So it doesn't really matter.
Your story is such an inspiring one and an amazing one, because you got onto The Ultimate Fighter, and I remember when you told us you had $400 or $800, something like nothing to your name, right? When you won The Ultimate Fighter. And then there was all that stuff that happened with the UFC, and you're in, you're out. And now here you are on the verge, Yair, of a title shot in one of the best weight classes in the sport. I know you're not trying to think too much about it. At some point, if this all goes your way on Saturday, are you going to allow yourself to revel in how far you have come and how far you have had to travel, what you've had to overcome to get to this point? Because there were a lot of times where you could have easily stopped, crumbled, gave up. You've been through a lot, my friend. You've had to accomplish a lot. You've had to overcome a lot to get to this point.
Yeah, I'm not really looking back. I'm only looking forward, because it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, what has been done, it has been done, and we still need to do a lot of work, and that's what I have to be focused on. What has to be done, not what I already have done.
Well said. I wish you the best. I look forward to it very much. Good luck to you. Good luck in these last few days as you prepare for this fight. It's an incredible fight, an incredible opportunity. And I'm happy to hear that they have told you win this fight, you're getting a title shot. That's a big deal. They don't often do that, my friend.
Yeah, I hear that. So it's, first thing first, getting the win Saturday. and then giving the champ some time to heal, because I know he broke his hand, or I don't know what's going on with his health or whatever. I wish him the best, and I'm sure we'll see each other soon.
And your family, by the way, last thing, how are they doing?
They're great. They're coming. My family and friends are coming. They're gonna be here Tuesday,
okay,
or something like that. Yeah, but a lot of friends and family are coming to this one.
I love it.
It's a big one. It's a big one, so it's an important one. So
absolutely, absolutely. On a massive stage, ABC. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Good luck to you, Yair. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
All right, talk to you soon. There he is, El Pantera, Yair Rodriguez. What a fight! Saturday, July 16th. During the day, by the way. It's I think the main card starts at, the prelim start at 11. I think the main card starts at 2. And it's an East Coast card. Some interesting ones. Jessica Penne returning. Dustin Jacoby on there. Oh, New York Rick's going to be excited about that. Not a lot of New York flavor. The Ricky Simone-Jack Shore fight is tremendous. On the prelims. Lauren Murphy, Misha Tate, very important fight. Charles Jourdain against Shane Burgos. That's tremendous. Shane, one of the few New Yorkers on the card. Matt Schnell. Li Jingliang. Amanda Lemos against Michelle Watterson. The positioning of the card is a little interesting. Like Misha's low on the card. Ricky and Jack are low on the card. Michelle is up high. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. But they like to put Karate Hottie on those broadcast TV cards. And interesting to hear that we've got a number one contender fight on our hands. By the way, I want to thank everyone who's joining us in the YouTube chats. I see we've got the membership going here. I see Killishaw. This is nice. This is nice. Wow, I like this. I didn't even notice. Killishaw in the house. Let me see if I recognize it. Well, thank you for the support. It seems a lot more, dare I say, civil. Do you guys like it? Let me know. We've talked about this for a long time. It's members only now, so we have weeded out some of the weeds, if you will. Trying to see if I recognize anyone else. All right. Still to come, my friends. Breaking news regarding this program. You want to let everyone know. Breaking news regarding this program. Thank you. We also have Jake Paul coming up. And I also do want to let you know, I reported, well, I didn't report. I had nothing to do with it. But there was a story that came out around July 3rd regarding a well-known MMA manager named Jim Walter, who unfortunately his family dealing with a horrific tragedy where his brother allegedly murdered his grandmother and mother, very lovely lady who I had the pleasure of meeting before DC Stipe 2, and Jim was also brutally attacked and was in the hospital. Anyway, the story I tweeted out there, people were talking about it. Jim represented the likes of Stipe Miocic, Anthony Smith, Chris Weidman, etc. Really, really great guy. Very nice, great to deal with, and just a super, super nice guy. And I was shocked. I was speechless when I saw this news. And I texted him just to send my wishes. Didn't hear back for several days. And then out of the blue, I got a text on Saturday from him. Now, I won't share everything that we discussed, but I couldn't have been happier to get a text from him. And I couldn't have been happier to hear that he is fighting and that he was well aware of what happened and was in relatively good spirits. And so anyone out there hoping for an update on Jim's condition, there it is. He is alive. He is fighting. He's battling through some really, really severe injuries. But he seems pretty determined to get out of the hospital and to make a full recovery. And we wish him the best, and we are pulling for him and are sending him all the good thoughts and vibes in the world. In a minute, we're going to be joined by New York Rick and GC, as always, to recap the weekend, talk about the picks, talk about how I was screwed by the judges. Once again, we should be 3-0 with the H-Dow, officially 1-0, but really it was like there were 2 adjaces in any event. Before we get to all that, a quick word from our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. As you all know, the action never stops at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially this summer. There it is. With tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports, you can fuel your fandom and feel the heat of the season like never before. Plus, right now at DraftKings Sportsbook, they are giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right, make your first bet up to $1,000. And if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You can throw down on all the major action for baseball, golf, MMA, and more. Plus, with same-game parlays, spreads, money lines, over-unders, and props, your betting options feel endless. I can't wait to find out if GC's Adelaide Crows bet cashed yesterday. We shall find out in a matter of seconds. Stay tuned for that. There's a lot that you can bet on. There's Summer League. There's baseball. Blue Jays not doing very well right now. We're a little bit concerned about all of that, but have no fear. They shall make a comeback. I am very confident. Best of all, by the way, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DMAR. Make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet of up to $1,000. That's promo code TheMMAHour. Very important. Use that. Let them know we sent you. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Please support them because they support us. Again, Jake Paul coming up at 4 o'clock to talk about his big fight against Hasim Rahman Jr. Also breaking news regarding this program. Stay tuned for that. For now, though, let us talk to the boys. Are they there, or are they having a lunch break? What's going on? What's happening here with the guys? Oh, there they are. Hello, friends. How are you?
What's good?
New York Rick?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. By the way, did the Adelaide Crows bet hit?
No, they didn't even cover the spread.
They didn't cover the spread?
No.
What was the spread?
10.5.
And what was it? What was the actual?
I actually don't know how to read scores in this.
How do you know they didn't cover?
Because it's, all right, so it says 13.8 parentheses 86 to 8.6 parentheses 54.
Oh, of course.
So I would assume they didn't cover.
I have no idea.
Maybe they did cover.
Wait, so you may have won?
No.
Okay.
We rode the money line. They lost.
Oh, money line. Okay. I gotcha.
That's
well, listen, we fly as one, okay, through the good times and the bad times. Shout out to the Adelaide Crows. By the way, what about our good friend Andrew Schulz? How great was that?
fantastic.
I mean, that was one of my favorite in-studio guests. What a lovely guy.
I ordered the special.
You did?
He was on. Yep.
That's the thing I love about GC. Like, you're all in. You go all in no matter what.
I had more time. I was going to put up. This will be up. I'll put up the poster.
What do you mean if you had more time? This didn't, I mean, this
a lot of things happening back here.
Okay. Everything okay?
His shirt
Yeah?
looked like a regular polo.
Gucci.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like that?
$880, yeah.
Is that $8? I mean, he sold them. By the way, can we talk about
that independent money's coming in?
Yeah. That is
yesterday, by the way, I'm sitting on my couch. I get a few screen grabs sent to me from the great Bam Bam Baklava, Action Bronson, and I don't know what it is, like zoomed in on shoes. All right, screen grabs, and I'm like, what is he sending me here? It's like several pictures zoomed in on shoes. And he's like, bro, what is going on here? And I'm like, I don't get it. But then on the very, very bottom, I see Connor Burke's Instagram. And I was like, oh, are you pointing out GC styling and profiling because he's wearing like super fancy shoes in Italy? And he's like, bro, I didn't know he rode like that, GC. Bam Bam, not only pointing out your shoes, liking your post. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, no, I did.
Giving you the old like, says
Pretty
he's
crazy.
a huge GC mark and loves your style as well. How about that?
Oh, well, it's much appreciated. Yeah, pretty crazy moment.
Action Bronson.
Yeah. Been a pretty big Action Bronson fan for years now, so pretty crazy.
We need to get him in studio now that
Yeah.
we're opening things up to the.
I'll have to wear my nicest shoes when he comes in.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to uphold it now.
By the way, who's going to Long Island this weekend? I know you are. Birthday show, right?
I will be there. I'll be ready to go.
Rick, you going to be there?
I'll be there working.
Wow. How excited are you? Is it true that you asked to work this card because Dustin Jacoby's on it?
Yeah, that's it. I was like, listen, if Dustin's fighting, I'm there.
That's his guy. He loves Dustin.
Yeah, I'm being forced to ride Dustin Jacoby this week because of Rick.
Listen,
Wow.
I mean,
Friends support friends. People are hammering Don Jung. I think we might, by the end of the week, we might get Dustin Jacoby at plus odds.
Wow. Dog of the week, Dustin Jacoby. I don't have that kind of confidence. Now,
It could flip, man. People are
Please
loving
don't.
Donald
Please
Jones.
don't.
Yeah,
Is what I'll
actually,
say. Please
curse
don't.
Him. Don't curse him.
okay, first of all, I hate that we're perpetuating this, that this has become a thing. Number one, Courtney Casey got robbed. Agree or disagree? And I don't want to do the whole game where we're like, oh, she didn't get robbed. It was a really close fight. No, that was a robbery. That was 1,000% a robbery. How she lost that was, you know what that was? That was MVP versus the other dude a couple of months ago.
I don't know if
Storley?
Logan Storley.
Yes.
I don't know if that was a robbery.
Off her
Yeah.
back. That was a robbery too. Doing damage off her back. She was
Yeah.
busy. She was active. She was working.
I'm gonna go
So-
0 for 2 on the robberies there.
Yeah, I was watching it on my phone in a cup holder while I was still at the Brooklyn Cyclones game. So
Oh yeah, how was
can't
that?
definitively speak on whether it was robbery.
By the way, did Frank go to that or not?
Nah.
Thank
No.
God.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm
weather.
counting my blessings right now that
Yes.
he didn't.
You're a big Brooklyn Cyclones. You got season tickets yet?
No, that's the last game I'm going to.
Okay, she got robbed. Then I say, hey, look out for MJ. Didn't have the confidence to like seal the deal on that one. He gets robbed.
That was closer to a robbery than the
You think
Courtney
so?
Casey one.
I
Yeah,
thought
think-
Courtney was
see,
actually.
like, I thought you could have like said Courtney Casey won, but like I feel like Michael Johnson. I really think he won that fight.
Horrible.
Was also watching that one in the cup holder as well. So
And then, of course, Aiemann wins for all of us.
that's what we butchered that so bad. We should have dove in. I wish I had known he looked exactly like you at the beginning of the week, because then we could have really just
that
like,
up.
yes, I would have bet him. You would have made it the H-Dow. It would have been incredible when he came on.
Is there a reason you didn't pick him as H now?
So I sort of listen. Just like Aiemann, I'm dealing with confidence issues right now.
You didn't want to curse him. Just say it.
No, listen.
Just say it.
There was a period there back in April where I was throwing these down left, right, and center, right? Oh, Cheeto Vera,
Yeah.
Katie Taylor. I mean, I was freaking wheeling and dealing. Now I'm starting to have second thoughts.
And you didn't want to put that bad juju on him.
I had a moment there. I was like, I haven't done one in a couple. Okay, you know what? It's Courtney Casey. Courtney Casey wins these fights. This is when she thrived. Now, I know she's the queen of split decision losses as well. But here's what I didn't account for. I love Valentina. She's tremendous, friend of the program. I didn't count for her to yell after every strike in an empty apex. That 100% affected the judges. Come on, Valentina. Can you calm down a little bit? Not all these are actually like hitting. I've never, I was so frustrated.
Corners
with
that do
Valentina.
it's effective.
It
Can I
works.
just want to plug one thing real quick.
Please.
We're talking about all these fights, quote unquote robberies, which I will, on the record, I disagree with. But our very own AK Lee at MMAfighting.com does the robbery review. He did a robbery review for Johnson and Malarkey. So check that out at MMAfighting.com.
Oh,
Nice.
And what's
Great
the
plug.
verdict?
I mean, I don't want to tell you
Yeah,
the
that's
verdict
right,
because
that's
it's going
right.
to break your heart.
Wow, can we talk about the YouTube chat here for a second?
I mean, how great is that?
Oh, Olajuwon just joined. I love Olajuwon. Killishaw is just freaking
The man.
dominating that place. I mean, I never even knew Killishaw was here before. And how does one join? Does anyone know the info on this?
Yeah, you just hit join, and you sign out for the $2. $2 a month. We're gonna update these badges. We're gonna get some custom emojis.
It's incredible. I'm going to join as well.
Yeah, I'm already in there.
You're in there. You're talking.
Right, I just commented on it.
Better experience.
Much.
Oh, Connor
Much
Bergs,
better experience.
shout me out. This is tremendous. All right, let us recap the weekend that was. Then we have to talk about a few things happening in the world of MMA before we get to Jake Paul. And I'm sure you guys are going to apologize to me for the whole Jake Paul thing. It's okay. We'll get to that in a second. But first, let's.
Wait, what would we
I
have
don't
to
even know what he's
apologize
talking
for?
about.
What are you talking?
Apologize for what?
No, it's okay. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Let's recap the picks. How did we do?
It was a losing week, but I'm kind of like you. The confidence issues. These last card and this card, I kind of looked at it. I was like, man, I don't love this card from a betting standpoint. Turned out to be correct. If you look at the singles, Ricky Tercios, against our guy Zahabi, he did not come out. Malarkey Johnson, I thought we were going to get a stoppage there, didn't. And then I just have to apologize to everyone for Jared Van Der sub doesn't even come close to attempting a takedown. That was just like.
But you knew that was a bit of a flyer, right?
No, I mean, yeah, when you're taking a plus 700, it's definitely a flyer. But I was hoping we were at least going to get like just like the excitement of him going, at least shooting for a takedown. Just like if he went for a double leg, I would have gotten out of my seat in pure exhilaration. But we didn't even get that. Cal looked great. Rafael dos Anjos thought he started turning it on at the end. Obviously, it was a definitive knockout there by Fiziev. Parlays. We get the Kennedy. I get all excited about maybe hitting the air fryer. Trayshawn. No go. Real quickly. He got out of there. So we go 2-4 on singles, but we went light this week. So even, we went 3-5 overall. We only lost 1.65 units. Not the end of the world. I want to say we're going to bounce back big this week. I'm really not sure. This is
we are going to bounce back big this week.
Oh,
Dustin Jacoby.
There we go. That's how you get back.
I'm telling you, the world is on Da Un Jung. We are people. It is us against the world. We are camp. We are team Dustin Jacoby over here. So, still up 36 units overall, close to 25 on the year. When you're in a 12-week streak, a 12-week run of events, you're going to have some down ones. So it is what it is.
Yeah, trust the math. If you're making the right picks, if you were on the right side of it and they're coming out wrong, you got to just ride it out.
We'll be all right.
Of course. We're good.
I can't lie. I am looking forward to that week off in August. It's going to be nice
Reset
to not have
it.
to tape.
regroup.
Yeah, just to not have to tape everything and I was like, all right, well, next week we got London. Oh, and we got Bellator. I think there's a PFL card.
Something you can pick up on that week to wager on.
By the way, what about Chase Sherman taking a picture with OJ after his fight?
Yeah, the caption was...
caption was...
I didn't see the caption. What were the caption?
Killers.
That's what he wrote?
Yeah,
Oh,
all caps.
geez. I mean, way to ruin your moment.
I mean,
unbelievable knockout. Like, he went that flurry to finish Vandera. I was like, when Vandera started getting mauled, I was like, well, maybe he's going to shoot for the takedown now. He didn't. He didn't.
By the way, you guys know about my OJ moment, right?
No,
I'm aware of it.
I'm not.
Have I told you the story?
I'm not sure if you've told it on air. I know it.
People like to drop that picture like it's like, oh, look at Ari. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not something actually, I told this story recently when I was working for a production company that was working for Spike TV, and I was pretty much producing / hosting a web series, which was called, wait for it, Spike's Sexiest Bartenders, where I had to go across America to find the sexiest bartenders in America. This is a true story.
You hosted this.
Yes, I hosted it. There's footage somewhere of it online. This is back in 2006. So one of the stops was Dallas.
Go dig it up.
Yeah. Jedi, EK, someone out there, Killishaw. Anyway, one of the stops was Dallas, and I'm in Dallas with someone who's working on the show with me, and we're in the lobby, and there's O.J. Simpson. This is 2006. So I think this was before he went to jail for the the second thing, right? The Nevada thing. But shortly thereafter, I think he went to jail. Anyway, we go in the elevator at the same time as O.J. Simpson. We go all the way. So I'm like, I just want to see where this goes. We go all the way to the top, and there's like, I don't know, like a rooftop bar. It was at the W, right next to the American Airlines Arena or Center. No, I think it's Arena in Dallas. I always get confused which one is Arena, which one's Center, Dallas, and Miami. Anyway, we go, and at some point in this elevator ride, very brief, we start talking to O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson then says, come hang out with us. So here's the thing. I was a big Buffalo Bills fan. I was fascinated. Oh, I am a big Buffalo Bills fan. I was fascinated by the trial. So I was like, I just want to see where this goes, right? So we end up sitting with O.J. Simpson, me, my colleague, O.J., and I'm pretty sure, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it was either 2 or 3, dare I say, ladies of the night, if you catch my drift. Now,
Sure.
OJ sitting there telling everyone, holding court. I'm sitting there with him, holding court, telling stories about God knows what. At one point, turns to me, I kid you not, and tells me that he's not having a good time. And tells me, no joke, that he's going to go to the bathroom and leave.
Irish goodbye.
Yeah, but he tells me, like, this is, and sure enough, he did it. He went to the bathroom and never returned.
Did he like shake your hand? Like he was like, all right, man, I'm out of here. I'm just telling you.
I'm just going to go, yeah, I'm just going to leave.
It seemed like he was having a great time though.
I thought he was having a great time. I mean, I was just like kind of, taking it all in like a sponge. And then at some point we all just dispersed. But so there's a picture of me out there with OJ, because I don't know how the picture came about. I'm not a big picture guy, but this is pre MMA media career, and OJ and I took a photo together.
Wow. That's a ridiculous story.
It is a ridiculous story. The best is the videos. Oh, well, hey there, Twitter world.
Oh God, yeah.
We got our fantasy draft coming up.
Yeah,
and I got to
he's in the
tell
golf cart.
you. Yeah. It's always like catching him off guard, but clearly not. Oh, well, hey there,
The
Twitter
old
world.
shows where they'd come into the house of the celebrity.
Right.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, I totally hijacked that. Was there anything else as far as the DraftKings is concerned?
Yeah, betting stuff. We got some big hitters here.
You got the slips?
Oh, I got the slips, bro. Yeah, let's go through them real quick.
Yes, please.
First shout out is to our man Jake Berlin. Yeah, he goes 3 different parlays, but in all of them he has Said Nurmagomedov, Bohalio, and Rafael Fiziev by points, by submission, by knockout, some sort of variation. He turns $250 into over $3,100. Yeah, so you can't really complain about that week. Shout out to these two guys, J-Dog and Piezo DFS. They both hit Rafael Fiziev in round 5. One plus 2,000, the other one plus 3,300. I just can't imagine cashing one of these. How crazy you must have been going when he got that knockout. Like it looked like it was cruising to a decision. Piezo also went pretty big on Chase Sherman, so shout out to him. Great calls by both of them. And then lastly, David Dean, the Mind Artist.
Wow.
He goes with a 3-leg, hell of a name, 3-leg, exact method parlay, Saeed by decision, Bahalio by decision, Fiziev by knockout, plus 2,782, wins $1,001 off of a $36 bet. So tough to complain about that night as well. And then Michael Carrasco, 6-leg, plus 4,561 over-unders parlay, finishes with the main event not going the distance. So he must have also been going crazy when Fiziev got the knockout, but he turns $10 into $456. So a great night all around for these guys. And then we have the DraftKings as usual, the quick little plug to the DraftKings league to shout out the winner, signify.
How many did we get?
I think we were at like 140 entries.
Okay.
Something,
Not bad for a fight night.
Yeah, not bad for a fight night. I haven't gotten too many complaints, but I like the one league thing.
Sorry, I'm just writing to the people on the chat.
That's okay. Yeah. No, I'm actually stalling right now till we get the
Till we get what?
The DraftKings.
Oh, there it is.
There it
Okay.
is. There it is. Let's go. Yeah, we usually get the horns. S. Dixon though. Shout out to S. Dixon. Looks great. Him and his baby. He's the draft king for this week. So yeah, that is. We got the same thing as last week. I think I'm doing something wrong in these videos. The shading. I think we have to finish the video off.
If you're wondering why I'm turning, they're telling me they don't believe that it's me in the chat, so they said spin around if it's not fake, spin around. So this is me spinning around. All right, Jordy Palacios.
Dance for them.
By the way, New York Rick asking why there's $100 on my table. First of all, because I'm the man. Second of all, this is straight from WWE because I'm a WWE shill. It was in the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Very cool.
It's real, by the way. Look at that.
Damn.
Yeah. So I put it here for good luck.
$1 million man over here.
Did anyone get the? I was one of those times where you like to hear if there's a pop in the crowd. Did you guys like the? On a scale of 1 to.
Yeah, but I noted it.
What? Okay.
He no-sold everything. He's
Were you surprised that he no-sold?
He's not leaning into that.
Yeah,
That's his friend.
I know.
He's not
but
going there.
if the tables were turned, I feel like he'd be hitting me with the hot stuff. He was trying to get the UFC stuff out of me.
Deflected it well. He was laughing about it.
But you could tell. I mean, I feel like he appreciated it.
he wanted to say something. I feel like, but he didn't.
I don't think he was expecting it too. What do you think?
No, he definitely was expecting it. In fact, I would wager that a lot of his interviews, people ask him about it.
You think so?
It was a thing,
Trug walk. Fiziev Gaethje, is that the fight?
That would be a sick fight.
Yeah, that's the fight. That is definitely the fight.
Man, I love Fiziev. I'm a huge fan.
He's awesome.
Tough to dislike, dude.
Can I just tell you my one thing? And I think he's going to be on the show Wednesday. What do you think it is going to be?
The post-fight callouts?
Bro. I mean, now it's great for it's great for your
opposite.
It's great for your engagement. I saw the tweet, the Instagram. Everyone, come on, man. First of all, you just spent the week verbally sparring with Conor McGregor. You're on the verge of, I don't know, a top 3 fight. Really? Rafael Nadal is the call out? Or at the very least,
the injured tennis
it's
player.
a Trojan horse. It's a Trojan horse.
at the very least, do that and then come back with something else. He didn't come back with anything else.
He did. He said Gaethje at the post-fight press conference.
Oh,
and now
yeah,
everybody's
with
talking about
4
Gaethje.
people watching?
Is anybody not talking? You're talking about Gaethje. Is anybody not talking about Gaethje because he did Nadal? No.
Who did you do last time? Vince
In
Vaughn?
fact,
Vince Vaughn.
more people, and then Hasbulla before that.
Hasbulla
In fact,
was the all-timer.
More people are talking about the Gaethje fight for him because he called out.
You think so?
Rafa Nadal. Of course. It's the Trojan horse. He's getting your attention, and then he gets what he wants. It's brilliant.
You think
brilliant.
more people are talking about it because of the Nadal call out?
Yeah, because more people care about him, because more people care about what he has to say or what he's doing. If he just walks out there, who do we know who random main event fighter calls out like after every fight?
No, I know. But I feel like there was an opening there to at least, I mean, like everyone calls out Conor.
See that? See, after the interview with you, it seemed like he kind of wasn't like in on the Conor.
But by the way, bad timing on our part. After the interview, that's when the thing really heated up.
That's when it heated up.
That's when it was like 8 straight tweets about him.
Connor's talking
Golf.
about 12 irons.
Yeah, I don't know. What's
turning
going on?
into Tiger Woods of Muay Thai.
So I
whatever.
felt for sure he should have then leaned in.
Yeah, I mean, I just think is that like that could have been equally interesting from a not gonna happen but why not perspective as Rafa Nadal. So yeah, you could have leaned into the Conor thing because that fight's not happening. Let's be real.
Why not?
Rafael Nadal.
First of all, they look alike.
How's he gonna get the Conor fight?
Why not? I mean, by the
Conor's
way,
not coming back to fight Fiziev.
you don't think
Come
so?
on. No, stop that.
You said McGregor and Fiziev look alike?
Yeah.
No, me and
Well, I know you.
Oh, Rick and Fiziev.
No, and Conor and Fiziev.
seeing like a little bit of that shaped beard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hey, a
When
little
he has
bit.
the close cropped hair, I could see that. I think me and Fiziev.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
it? Brett with
Brett,
the
yes.
yeah.
Had the great
Great tweet. Great
Brett
tweet.
K.
Didn't
He's already
even,
done with
didn't even
Sh-
think
done
about
one
it.
with
Never
Shane
even
Burgos
thought about
this
it.
week.
But well done.
But you don't do the shaved sides anymore.
Listen, maybe one day soon we'll.
No, but like you always said that was your big mistake.
the
right?
man. Yeah. No, this is long.
This
now.
is long,
The-
yeah.
The sides are grown all the way back here. No,
razor
that was
Ramon.
that was the big mistake. But no, I mean he's not fighting Conor. You know that. How's he going to get that fight? There's
I actually don't
10
think it's
names ahead of him.
Sure, but Conor comes back first quarter. You never know. I mean, who would have thought that Conor
But that's
would be
my
in the
point.
running
Like,
to fight Michael Chandler?
Why not? Sure, I would have accepted that. I would have accepted that call out. But again, that's only as a platform, as a springboard to then go. I really want Justin Gaethje. Everybody knows I want Justin Gaethje. Give me Justin Gaethje.
You think Gaethje takes it?
Man, I mean, who's left for Gaethje? I mean, he's fought. It's got to be like, what is it? It's Gamrot or Fiziev, the guys that have called him out. Like, what else would be out there for him? A Dustin
Gamrot's
rematch?
ranked 8th right now in the
a
UFC
Dustin rematch?
rankings.
But
I kind of
Fiziev's probably going to jump him, right?
He's got it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, sometimes those rankings are screwy, but
Like, he's
like
not gonna
Tony
fight
Ferguson is ranked
RDA.
9th.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
He's not going to fight Dariush.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
already fought Chandler.
Gaethje's going to have to fight one of these guys coming up. That's really what it is. Or I could do Poirier if you're Gaethje.
No,
Poirier and Gaethje.
Poirier Diaz.
Chandler and Poirier.
Chandler
That one's
Poirier
got
would be
some-
great.
Got some real heat on it now. I like that one.
I feel like Chandler is gonna try to wait as long as he can to fight Conor.
Smart.
First quarter.
See, he, I think, can get Conor, whereas Fiziev,
Yeah.
that's a no. Just not happening.
I don't think it's a crazy thought. Next, no, but I don't think it's a
next,
crazy
no way.
thought.
Maybe
For
sometime
Conor,
down the
why?
line.
That's
Yeah,
all risk
yeah.
and no reward. What is
It's
the
not
point
like
of
it's
that
a
fight?
warm-up fight.
I'm
Fiziev's
saying
unbelievable.
at some point Fiziev is gonna. I think
Ascend.
I think the sky is the limit
Oh, I
for
see.
the
What
guy.
you-
So at
oh,
some
okay.
point he's got.
I'm talking like near term.
No.
I'm talking
at some
next
point.
fight.
No, I don't think next fight.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I think
Yeah,
literally
sure.
no chance.
Maybe. He's got the the guy's got the tools. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Also, he's
he
got
is
the
that
look.
good.
He speaks
Yeah.
enough English to where he connects with people. He's fun.
Yeah. He's got that level of English where he could be funny in English.
Yeah,
and,
he
and
is
push it
pretty
forward.
funny,
Where
actually.
Habib started. And now
1,000%.
Habib's out here,
Triple
one of the-
G started it with the big
Yeah.
drama show.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like you would like a guy like Shavkat.
Yeah, like when he was talking to you on the show and he was talking about the Valentina fishhook and how he's nervous. He's like, I was shit myself. Like, he's funny. Yeah. He's a funny dude, clearly.
He's a very funny guy.
And he's got, as you shamelessly plugged on.
No,
he's got great, management team
First of all, the only management duo to show up to the meetup, but that's not why I shouted them out. Look, here's the thing about Danny.
I mean, the roster.
Danny and Sayat, two great guys. Met them, Menches. Here's the thing. Tremendous roster. I mean, Jan, Tsarukian, Shavkat, Fiziev.
Top guys from that part of the world, like just crushing.
And, you got your Calvillos, your Kiesas, your Drickuses of the world. Not enough people talk about them. And for me, selfishly, I will say, you text Danny or Sayat about someone coming on the show, like they respond within 30 seconds.
Sharp.
So
they know what they're doing.
I respect that. To me means a lot. That's number one.
I would say Fiziev is the cream of that crop, and
over Jan,
I could see him.
I was gonna say over Jan.
I could see him.
I mean, Jan's tasted the gold.
Yeah, I think he's the guy, man. I really do.
It's one or two. Shavkat?
How are you going to be? You know what?
Yeah,
Might have got me there.
They really are loaded.
It's incredible.
Even
Tsarukian.
It's a nice little problem to have.
And he's coming off a loss, but like this guy is still the limit for that dude.
I think Drickus is amazing.
That one.
Didn't Aurelio call him out?
I don't have the ceiling as high as some of these.
No, but I'm just saying that's a solid roster. No one talks about them as one of the top dogs, and I think we should. By the way, Yair saying earlier, you guys are going to be there. Win title shot. Warranted? Like it? Is that the call? I'm not near Sacramento, but I could feel Josh Emmett's head, spinning at that, suggestion.
It's not a meritocracy, unfortunately. Just how
what about Josh Emmett coming on the show saying that he was going to sit cage side for the fight, and then Uriah tells everyone that they put him in the rafters?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I mean, I think that tells you why Yair is pretty confident that he'll be next.
How much of a challenge does Yair?
Who's that? Is that Danny Rubenstein?
No, I just got a text from Chael saying, more on OJ. That was amazing. Don't stop.
Chael knows.
Wow.
Chael knows.
I mean, it's quite the story. I'm not going to lie.
Listen, why don't you just sell him that story? Because he buys people's stories. Sell him that story and he can tell it on
Chael buys stories?
Wait, serious?
What are you talking about?
Notorious.
Is this shade on Chael? Because I won't accept it.
No, this is true. He talks about this.
That he buys people's stories?
If he hears a good story, you tell him a good story.
Yes.
He will say, I'll give you money to never tell that story again. And now it's mine. So
what?
But see, here's the problem. You already told the OJ story, but maybe half price? Maybe he'll do a half price deal.
Wow.
He buys people's stories. I mean, is that not brilliant? Like,
I didn't know that was a thing.
No shade at all. It's brilliant.
Any proof of this? Like, has anyone confirmed it?
Yes, I think it was either Matt Hughes, Matt Lindland. Obviously, Lindland would be an easy one because he's like, a teammate. He has.
They said that Chael. Wow. By the way,
Chael's talked about it before, and then they have confirmed.
I've known Chael for quite some time. I've never been offered a story.
Former UFC fighter reveals that Chael Sonnen used to purchase stories to narrate in interviews.
That is amazing.
I can't believe you didn't know this.
I did not know that.
This is the first time in our
with
many years together that I have. Oh, Lieben. Lieben is one who recently came out and said it. This is the first time in many years I've ever told you something MMA related that you didn't know already.
By the way, you could do pictures on the fly over there, right?
Yeah. If you give me 30 seconds.
If you type in my name and OJ, does it come up?
Nah, I already checked.
What?
Ariel Helwani, OJ Simpson. All that comes up is the cover for
Twitter?
DC and Helwani when you had Charles Barkley on.
Yeah, Jose Young saying
Charles Barkley.
Lieben stories.
I don't know. I don't know about Charles Barkley. Does it come up? I bet you someone's going to tweet in like 0.4 seconds. Wow, that's I'm surprised.
Alexander Caley saying like when Jay Peterman bought Kramer started.
People post this all the time. I get it all the time. Like they think that they've like unveiled some deep dark secret about me. In any event, well, I bet you someone's gonna tweet it. We could show it if you want, or you can try to find it somewhere. I think it's on my Facebook, which I have not been on in years.
I don't have Facebook.
Wow.
See that?
Anti-Facebook? Oh, there it is.
Oh, you found it?
No, someone just tweeted it to me. I don't know how. Yeah, there it is. And Jose posted it. Have you ever seen that pic?
I've seen it, yeah.
It's tremendous. He's all disheveled and stuff.
Yeah,
Let me
it
get it
looks
up
like
here.
you guys were in a like. That's exactly what it looks like. A
How
club that he wanted to escape from.
How old am I?
Soon? Well, no. How soon did he leave after this?
That's a good question. It was quite the time. Like it was a significant amount of time that we were sitting there. There was a
Now,
drink
what are
or
you
two.
doing? What are you doing?
I'm just free. Well, first of all, look at me. This is when I'm weighing like 145 pounds.
Yeah. But what's your posture? Where are you sitting? Like
I'm literally sitting next to him. Yeah.
But like what
I was not going to give up this
talking
opportunity.
to the women. Like what's happening?
I
People
remember
coming over?
trying to figure out what their connection was to him, and that's how I figured out, what was
their
going on
profession, yes.
here. And there was someone with him too that I think was like a business manager, a business person that was
Handler.
trying to like get the night rolling for him, and I just think he wasn't feeling it. I'm almost 100% certain that I was asking him questions about the Bills.
But are you two chatting? Is he chatting with everybody? Are people coming
Honestly,
over?
I think he like I hate to say it. I think we hit it off. I mean, I think that there was
sure
there was
he'll be in the
some-
next book.
I mean, I don't know what it was about it, but maybe I was like asking him, but not asking too much. I wasn't fanboying too much. I don't know. It's one of those
I'm
things.
sure he loved your energy.
Now, before we get Jake Paul joining us at 4:00,
Yeah.
and then breaking news regarding the show. Do you guys know what the breaking news is?
I'm not aware,
I have
but
no clue.
Well, you're about to find out. We'll do it after the Jake interview. I think a lot of people will be excited about it. I just wanted to say, now I'm getting flooded by the damn picture on my Twitter. Jesus.
I know I'm doing all this work.
You
and
open the- you open
we've
the-
moved
the
on
gates
from
for
it
this.
now.
No. Whenever you're ready. You ready for it?
If you give me
all right, keep talking, Ariel.
Okay. Well, I just want
one
I
more
don't.
second.
Here's the thing. Jake Paul, Hasim Rahman Jr.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. There's the
Oh,
picture.
now we're ready.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. There I am.
Just made Chael's
Hey,
day.
who laughed back there? I don't appreciate that. Whoever did that. Yeah, there
Turning
I
off
am.
the cough box here.
Young Helwani, beardless, with Arenthal.
He does look a little disheveled.
Juice. I mean, he doesn't
All
want
right,
to be
I'm
there.
gonna
He wants
head
to get
outta here.
out.
So anyhow, Hasim Rahman Jr. I see people like
Joe
this.
just said, "Look at the size of his hands. Yeah, he's got some
His
big mitts
size
on.
are freaking huge. There's a guy that I follow, Matt Casavant, Montreal boxing guy. Like, don't let Jake off the hook. This is a sham of a fight. I'm like, bro,
Wait,
what?
what?
What are you talking about? I see this now. There's guys that I respect, like Dan Canobio. I think is great, who call it like it is. If you go, and I don't need to do the whole thing again. I did it last week. Go to every single top boxer. Go to every single one and see who they fought as a 5-0. And by the way, I don't even know if I consider the first two fights legit professional fights. Nate Robinson and Inson Gibb. Like these
You
aren't.
don't know if you do. Let me tell you. You do not.
Okay.
Those are not
So-
real fights.
Askren coming off hip replacement, sure. Tyron twice, sure. Right?
I can forgive hip replacement. He's
Yeah,
still
okay.
he's still a top level fighter. Yep.
At best. And the thing is that people like to say about Woodley, they like to say, oh, he's never boxed before. Let me
Sure.
tell you something. He's a former UFC champion. He has fought on the highest of levels in MMA. He's a tough freaking guy. He's a Division I. Like, just the fact that he's never actually been in a boxing match should not take anything away from the fact that he beat him via points and then knocked him out. And now you're fighting a guy who has nowhere near the name value as not only a Woodley, but a Tommy Fury as well. Yes, he's got the family, and he probably got it because he's Hasim Rahman Jr. Fine. And then they like to say he's coming off a loss. Who gives a freaking crap? Like, so is Yair Rodriguez. Since when is coming off a loss some sort of,
In boxing, it's different, but to your point, I get it. Like
12-1, and now we're going to go through his record and tell everyone like, what are you talking about? The majority of guys who are 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 are fighting debutantes, are fighting guys who are 1-12.
Even worse than that.
Yes.
Yeah, the 1-12 guys.
None of you expected this. None of you thought that this was going to be an
This
option.
is a harder fight. This is a harder fight.
MMA fans like, fight someone real like Anderson Silva.
Harder fight.
What? 40. Anderson Silva's 47.
You can't criticize that. Oh, yes, but you can't criticize that if you're also going to use
no, the point is,
Askren or Tyron Woodley to prop up that fighting is fighting, because then Anderson Silva is up to the challenge and of equal caliber. But this is a harder fight than Tommy Fury.
he has reached this level. He has reached the level that Conor was at in 2015, 14, 16, where he could do no right. If he picks Chad Mendez, they'll say it was on 2 weeks' notice. If he picks this guy,
It's like somebody predicted that. It's almost like somebody on this show.
What did you
sat
predict?
here for a really long time when you kept talking about Tommy Fury and the legitimacy of fighting a boxer, and then I said, if he fought him, nothing would change, and they would still find a reason to say he never fought a boxer. Great.
What was the apology that you wanted from
Yeah,
us?
what was the apology you wanted from us, by the way?
Well, because I'm the one who has said time and again that he's actually a pretty good boxer who is willing to put in the work, put in the time to stick his neck out.
And who said the?
Oh, you
said
guys
the
were all like, he's a sham, he's a circus.
Nobody said this.
All of
Nobody
you were
said
like,
this.
oh,
But I
he's
did
putting
say-
a black eye on boxing.
But I did say, no matter who he fights, nobody will give him credit, and that's why the Tommy Fury fight was
That I agree
stupid
with.
from the very beginning. Because
So
it
what's
doesn't
the
matter
point?
if he fights a quote unquote boxer, as is evidenced by this fight. He's fighting a real boxer, and nobody cares. And nobody's going to say, oh, Jake Paul beat a boxer. They will find an excuse, as I've always said. And that's why the Tommy Fury fight never made any sense. Tommy's not any good.
I think
Doesn't- it
after
doesn't
this
help.
one, if he wins, he will. I mean, especially if he wins impressively, there are going to be people who are going to say, "Oh, he's coming up on
Yep.
us. He's a knockout." Blah
Yep.
blah 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 blah.
Yep.
I think you'll start to see a lot more credit thrown his way.
I don't, but
You really don't.
yeah, why? Why would that all of a sudden change? Nobody wants to. If people don't want to give him credit, this is not going to make them give him credit.
Why do you think people are so hesitant?
Just because he's Jake Paul. Like, I just think that's the reason. Like,
Because he's obnoxious, because he's loud,
Yeah.
because he's in your face, because
Because he's getting
courting
attention
this.
at 5-0,
hey,
4-0.
he's Jake Paul.
If he was
so
quiet
crazy
and
to
building himself up and fighting Rahman, nobody would talk about it. Like this, it's very obvious, but yeah, he's not going to get credit for this. Come on, no way. And one of the things I think you and Schultz talked about this, the amateur career is more significant
Right.
than the pro career. That's where you start to see like the toughest fights, crazy turnaround times and things like that. He's legit. He is extremely legit, and we'll see if Jake Paul can beat him. I was much more confident Jake Paul would beat Tommy Fury than ever.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
By the way, are the
It's a
lines
harder
out for
fight.
this?
I don't think so. That's what I was just
It's a
thinking.
much harder fight.
I think I'm going to bet Jake Paul no matter what.
Yeah.
It's been a cash cow. Oh,
This
wow. Wow. What, the line is out. What do you guys think it is?
Rahman minus 160.
I'm going to say Jake minus 125.
Currently on DraftKings Sportsbook, Jake Paul minus 225.
Whoa.
Rahman coming back at plus 175.
Wow.
Sounds like Rick has to take.
I'm definitely taking it.
Yeah, he said Rahman was minus 160 plus 175.
Well,
That's great value.
He's getting a little bit of that juice of, interest. Dallas Cowboys, Knicks, Lakers.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to bet Jake Paul at minus 225.
Maybe via finish? Is there any prop action there?
Nah, no prop. Unless you want to take fights to draw
But-
at one book plus 1600.
Boring.
By the way, I mean, we talk about this like being meta for a second, dissecting this. Jake Paul being doubted is the best thing for Jake Paul. Like, he shouldn't get credit,
Yes,
and he
yeah.
shouldn't want to get credit. He should want people to continue
Right.
to doubt him. Floyd Mayweather built one of the best legacies in boxing off people wanting to doubt him. He should never want. He should always want to be doubted if he wants to continue to get this attention, and he should never be aiming for people to be like, you know what, Jake Paul, you finally did it. You're a true boxer, and we love you. Everything would disappear overnight. Nobody wants that. He should want to be doubted.
Amanda Serrano,
She's probably a gigantic fan.
minus 4,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, 4,000. I agree with what you just said. I will say you want people to doubt, but also tune in, right?
Yeah,
so it's
they
okay
wanna
to
see you lose.
want to see you lose. This is just like going into the Woodley fight last year, which was a big deal in Cleveland. He's selling it out. I don't think anyone would have predicted a year later Madison Square Garden against a pro boxer. Right? A year later.
Isn't that what you would have predicted, though? That was your thing. The next step was a pro boxer.
It's a pretty big freaking deal. MSG. People don't
I
just
mean-
waltz into MSG. Like that's
Yeah,
a
that's
pretty
true.
big freaking
The
deal.
venue part,
I mean,
sure,
that too.
prestigious, but like, I mean, Jake could-
they needed a name. They needed someone. Like that's probably why Rahman. I knew that they had trained together, but I didn't know that there was any bad blood.
Sure.
What about the marketing of just dropping that video,
Yeah.
holding on to that for
It's the-
2
it's the-
years?
It's the Paulie Malignaggi sparring. It's the Paulie Malignaggi sparring with Conor fight.
It is really compelling stuff.
100%. I think though the unfortunate downside of that, the side effect of that is the people who will say that this is a quote unquote work, a setup because they had previously had a relationship. Now, if you watch the video, it's a contentious relationship. It's
Right.
not a friendly relationship, but it opens the door for people who want to put on their tinfoil hats and shout conspiracy.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like if he knocks him out, there will
That's
be
what they
the
will say.
conspiracies like that. Yeah. Oh, they trained together. He got paid to do this.
This annoys me, and I think this is an MMA thing because I think MMA fans don't realize that in boxing, like, you bring in people to spar with you. You pay them to spar you.
Your camp is built around you, and you bring in other fighters to.
There's been
fight.
countless stories over the years. Oh, this guy was in this guy's camp, and now they're fighting each other. This and that, like that. There's a difference between sparring partner and teammate, friend. You know what I mean? Like, this guy was never, to the best of my knowledge, around the camp, friends, living there. This
video didn't make them look like friends. That's for damn sure.
No, but to your point, that video gets jobs like, oh, this is fake. This is rigged. Why did you hold on to this? Why did you do this? It's to me, and it has nothing. I felt the same way. Go back to the MMA beat. I used to argue with Jeff Wagenheim about this all the time. This reluctance to give people credit, this cynicism that exists, especially on the internet, to not give people credit, give them their due, give them their props, is very frustrating. Especially, this is very reminiscent of Conor back in the day.
And
now, again, please, for the love of God, don't. I'm not comparing him to Conor in terms of skill, impact.
This one.
He should want this, and I'm sure Nikisa, Jake understand how the game is played. Believe me, they want it.
Jake Paul is McGregor. McGregor is your Ali, as you said earlier. Schulz.
Did I get killed for that one?
No, I think you're all right there.
I love the whole thing of like, oh, Nikisa doesn't want me to. They're playing this perfectly.
They're playing this perfectly. This is how it gets built. This is how it gets built. You continue to doubt. Conor doesn't become Conor. Conor doesn't become successful if the doubters aren't doubting. The Jose Aldo fight, like, that was supposed to be Conor's. Oh, he's finally there. Or even anniversary. Wow, wait a minute. Anniversary today. UFC 189.
Oh yeah, what a fight!
That was supposed to be Aldo.
One of my favorites.
But it was Chad Mendez. I mean,
where were you, Conor,
I have a
when that
crazy
fight
story.
Sophomore in high school.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that okay? That's Wait,
what year was that?
2016.
15.
15? No, yeah, I was like a junior in college then. No.
Great fight.
What's the crazy story?
Remember I was there in Vegas, not for the fight.
Oh yeah.
A guy gave me tickets.
And you flew out?
3 rows off the floor. No, I was in Vegas. I wasn't going to go to the fight. I was looking for a bar. Couldn't find it.
Why were you in Vegas, though?
I was with my buddies, degenerate gamblers. I mean, just doing what people do in Vegas.
Scumbags.
That is
scumbags.
Yeah, and we were doing MMA, and I remember that being one of the first times that we were actually. I don't even think I saw you, but it was like we were in the.
No, I saw you because wasn't that the airport trip when?
Yes, Kristaps Porzingis.
I saw you there.
What a story! 33rd birthday.
What an event too.
Wow,
189 was insane. But yeah, a fan, an awesome dude, gave me tickets
for free.
He couldn't go. He wasn't there. He couldn't sell them, and he wasn't there.
How could he not sell tickets that were 3 rows back?
They were too expensive, and the fight had already started. I was like, he gave me the tickets, and I got there at the start of Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler.
What?
That is when I walked into the arena.
You missed the rest? You missed like the Jeremy Stevens?
You're acting like I missed the good part?
No,
I walked in.
That was a great card, top to bottom.
Yeah, but to hang out with your friends and then walk into the arena for Rory, Robbie, and then Conor and Chad, I mean, unbelievable.
And for free.
Shout out to that guy. I believe his name was Matt. I'll look it back up.
I don't even remember his name. Golly.
I mean, it's years ago now. But the point I was trying to make, the thing I was trying to illustrate there, Chad Mendez was supposed to be Conor never faced a wrestler. Then he faces Chad Mendez. Oh, but Chad Mendez took it on short notice. Jose Aldo is surely going to be the one. Oh, flash knockout. Every moment, the doubt was what got him to that next level. It wasn't because he was just winning. It was because people wanted to cast aspersions on it, because people wanted to doubt. And it built him into the megastar that he is. And Jake Paul could follow that path if he keeps defying the expectations while being doubted. But the doubt is what he wants. The doubt is what gets you there.
I can't wait. You guys going to go?
Yeah, I hope to.
Oh, you're going to cover it. You're going tomorrow?
I will not.
Oh,
be there tomorrow.
You were going to go to the last one.
Tuesday's not a great day.
Oh, all right.
Got 2 kids. Got to watch them a little bit.
Do you see you going
tomorrow?
Yeah. No. To the event.
TBD.
Wow, it's a better card than
sales yet?
I think
tomorrow
they just went on sale.
or today. Tomorrow,
like
today?
pre-sale. I
Right.
think.
I should probably know this since I'm.
Yeah. I mean, geez,
Posting the
just trying
damn
to shame me for not even going. You don't even know.
Not doing a great job of selling it to us. Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you want me to do? This is going to be actually a big. Should I do it now? Should I break the news now?
Save it.
Save it. All right. We're
Yes.
trying to locate.
Don't sandwich it. Don't sandwich it. Let it
Crypto
breathe.
Joe is efforting it right now.
He's efforting?
Yeah, he's on the phone with with JP's people.
JP. All right. I like
Doesn't
that.
hurt that they they tune in for a little bit longer. You get the little Jake bump. Then on the back end we got this big
All right.
breaking news.
Big
Come on,
breaking news.
Yes.
By the way, some other breaking news ish last night, and we are excited about it. I think most people are excited about it. Yuri Prochaska coming out. By the way, I love the way Yuri Prochaska handled this. He's like, I'm making the decision. I am going to announce.
but I
this."
mean, you got to take that with a grain of salt, right? Like,
What did he do
What?
at the end? He's like, "This is
What do you
my
mean, why?
announcement," and he just stares at the camera.
I love it.
Yeah, I
Also,
thought it
where the hell
amazing.
was he? He was like in a castle or
Yeah,
something.
look,
I mean,
the
that's
scenes.
Yuri Prochaska for you, though. It's amazing.
He's
It's
just the most
amazing.
interesting man.
He's the
in
man.
the sport.
He's the freaking
Yeah.
man. I'm a little sad about the hair. I'm not gonna lie. I feel
No,
like
it looks
takes-
great. He looks like $1 million.
I want the hair back.
I love the hair, but I also like how he's like,
Yeah.
that was then,
Fresh start.
this is
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
I get it, but don't you think the hair makes him stick out?
Yeah,
It
it's
gives
like
him an
iconic.
edge. It gives him a gimmick.
Not
The
no.
thing on Twitter,
What?
the two,
He's the champ now. He doesn't need it.
the slants, the slashes, was that like, did that used to be the hair? Is that what he was referencing?
Oh,
Whenever he tweets,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
slash,
I
slash,
actually think
slash.
I asked him about this once, and I don't remember what he said.
I guess I wasn't listening.
Someone, yeah.
He's got it. I like the sleek. I like the new sleek Yuri. But no, what do you mean?
What do you think happens in a rematch?
Before we say that, him just saying it doesn't mean it's done. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
First of all, I like the chutzpah to say it.
Yeah,
I like
that's cool.
Yes.
but it doesn't mean
I like this movement of announcing your own fights. Even like they did it for Mackenzie Dern and Yan Xiaonan
yeah.
on Friday or whatever it was. Anyhow, I've been a big proponent of this. I like it though. I'm actually surprised. Like from the conversations that I was having with them before, post our interview, and even post the fight, it seemed like he was leaning in the direction of Jan Blachowicz. Fresh start, cut the hair, didn't like the last fight. I think you guys tell me if I'm wrong, based on the street cred and the response and all that. I think the people like this, right? I think people are giving him props for this. Like no one's saying,
Yeah.
we've seen it, move on, blah, blah, blah. I think the combination
Yeah, I
of
mean,
the
how
fight
could you
being
not
so
want it
good,
again?
Glover being loved, and also Jan's fight being a little bit sort of unceremonious. and-
ending, yeah.
Right? People giving him love for this? You guys like
Oh,
it?
for sure. Yeah. I didn't see anyone talking negatively about it.
And I think we talked about this right after the fight. None of these are bad options, right? Every single one of these is a really good option. I'm down for Yuri versus any of these guys. It's great.
I wonder if the UFC. I saw an interview with Dana White where Aaron Bronstetter was interviewing him, and he asked him about Glover, and he was a little bit non-committal, but it seemed like he was leaning in that direction. He was like, "Oh, I like it, but I'm not gonna,
This is why I'm saying not. We got to wait to see, but not a bad option to run back what's likely going to be the fight of the year. Let's do it.
Glover in September.
That's
Magomed
soon.
Ankalaev in December.
Golly."
No, I'm just jamming Ankalaev in 2021.
Got to get that future right.
Also, Uncle. Oh,
I got the Yuri. I got the
have it.
Yuri and the Ankalaev futures.
Oh, could be a win-win.
Oh,
Is this why
that's
I'm getting the title shot. Come on.
because you double down, right?
What do you
What do
mean?
you mean?
Well, or I guess not double down. You hedged it, right? That's the one where you had like multiples.
In the light heavyweight, I have Yuri and Ankalaev. Those are the two.
He's got a few in.
Which one
different
pays out more?
Yuri. Or no, I think they pay out the same, but Yuri was like plus 350 and Ankalaev was plus 1,000.
Oh yeah, no, that makes.
Yeah, it was like big difference in odds.
Also,
Yeah.
Ankalaev has to get by Anthony.
I know. Mine is like 450. That was kind of
Ankalaev?
Yeah, monster favorite.
What is Anthony Smith?
Plus
I see the wheels turning on a.
Yeah, I mean this.
plus 340 right now on
see the
DraftKings
wheels
Sportsbook.
turning there.
I like that one. By the way, who's the favorite in the Brandon Moreno fight?
Brandon Moreno. I have already bet Kakar France plus 190.
Well, don't you have him as a future as well?
Ride it, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get screwed with the interim belt thing.
No, I think
Yeah, we talked about
I think they'll squeeze one in before. You don't think?
Yeah, December.
But
December
if
he
they
gets
don't,
the
that's a tough win.
Oh my God, yeah. Or if Islam gets like a title shot in January.
Oh.
'Cause the Islam one was my biggest bet. That was like plus 285 too.
Are there any right now that are completely out? I guess Joanna is out, right?
Yeah, Joanna's out. Rose. I did like Joanna and Rose. I'd have to go back and look.
I feel like Rose still, I mean, crazy things happen. Probably not.
Not before end of the year, though.
Nah, not before the end of the year.
And then didn't you have
Carla
something
doesn't even
with
want to come
Francis?
back
No, I had something with Cyril and John Jones.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which is gonna get kaput because Francis.
Still
will lay
nothing.
off.
Still nothing on that front.
I mean, yeah, I'd imagine he's out for a minute now.
Crazy. All right. Well, in a minute, we're going to be joined by the problem child, Jake Paul. I'm going to let him know what you guys said about the fight. Hate the fight.
How
This,
great it
that.
I'm excited for it, and I'm betting on him. Let him know that.
Oh yeah, it's legit. Wait, you just said you thought you didn't.
Oh
like
yeah,
the odds.
minus 225.
Yeah.
I forgot he's minus 225. I'll figure
Rahman
something
H
out.
Dow Rahman. Nah, I'm joking.
Wow, let him know.
I'm
let
working.
him know.
I'm working.
As
Do
you're
worse.
drinking
Do
Prime.
worse. Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to Prime. I forgot about that. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And by the way, stay tuned. Afterwards, we are going to have breaking news. Breaking news regarding the show that I think a lot of you will like very much. But in a matter of moments here, we're going to be joined by the problem child, by Jake Paul, the man that everyone's talking about in the world of MMA, in the world of boxing, who will be returning to action on August 6th, Madison Square Garden, about 20 minutes from here, live on Showtime pay-per-view. It was supposed to be the Tommy Fury fight. That's no more. It's now Hasim Rahman Jr. Again, not Rahman or Raymond or Roman, it's Rahman Jr., all right? You got to get the in there. Rahman Jr., the son of the former heavyweight champion who once knocked out Lennox Lewis to become the heavyweight king of boxing. No one saw this coming. It's going to be a big freaking deal. Press conference tomorrow at MSG, 1 p.m. It's going to be lit, dare I say. The opposite of mid. I don't know what the opposite of mid is, but I think it's a great thing if you call it lit, so it's going to be lit. Here's Jake Paul, kind enough to join us. Hello, Jake. How are you? Jake, you there? Do you hear me? I don't hear you. Jake, you there?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. You're in transit. Are you in New York? No, I see some palm trees there. That's definitely not New York.
No, I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm on my way to New York right now, actually.
Okay, for the big press conference tomorrow, 1 p.m. MSG. It's going down. You and Rahman going to meet again. So let's obviously I'm going to ask a few things about Tommy in a moment, but I want to start with Hasim because this is the task at hand here. I've just been defending you to the world. I don't know if you know this. I take a lot of bullets on your behalf, Jake, and no problem. It's all good. But we've just been talking about the fight. I'm very excited about it. That footage that you dropped upon announcing the fight, when was that? What's the time frame of that footage when you sparred him?
That was before the Nate Robinson fight, so like roughly 2 years ago. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. The kid was saying, "You'll never be a professional fighter. You know, I'm going to beat your ass. You're a bitch." Like saying all of this stuff to me during our sparring session. "You're just a YouTuber. You suck, blah, blah, blah." So yeah, I've been waiting for this moment, man, to come back and get revenge on him.
Was it just one sparring session with him or multiple?
It was just one. And it was intense, man. I'm not gonna lie. And I think, you know, over the past 2 years, we'll see who became the better fighter. You know, he was saying, "You'll never be a professional fighter. You'll never be this." And all of these guys, you know, all the people, all of my critics, it's great motivation for me. I use it against them. You know, it fuels me in the gym. And so now, 2 years later, we will actually get to see who the professional fighter is.
Who won that sparring match?
It was close, man. Like, it was a war. That was right when I started fighting. You know, that was before the Nate Robinson fight even. And he was way more experienced than I was at the time. So if anything, yeah, he got the better of me. I don't even, it doesn't matter to admit that because I know what I'm capable of now. And I know I'm going to be able to come in and beat him 2 years later because I guarantee you I've worked harder over the past 2 years than he has.
Have you kept in contact with him? Like when all this went down, was that the first time you spoke to him in the last 2 years, or would he pop up in your DMs, talk to you, all this stuff? Oh,
I haven't spoke to him since. I still haven't spoke to him. You know, everything that you see of us, all of our communication is online, and our managers are the ones who are talking. But all the trolling and stuff, that's the only communication I've had with them.
Once you realized that Tommy was out, can you take us into the decision-making process? I mean, like, you've got this big canvas, right? You could go in a million different directions because of your background, who you are. How do you ultimately end up with Hasim Rahman, who wasn't really being discussed, like he wasn't in your orbit before all this came out? So how do you end up there?
There's actually not that big of a canvas, right? Because you have to think who has a name and who is a professional boxer, who has a good record, and that eliminates 99.9% of people. And so we're just like spitballing, you know, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Was on that list. Then we found out he was in rehab or some shit. Then there wasn't really anyone else. You know, I want Anderson Silva. I want these guys. But first, I need to check off the list of professional boxer. I want a professional boxer. I need a professional boxer. Because that's been the number one criticism is fight a real boxer. Okay, here we go. He has a name. He's big. He's 12-1, and he's still not old. You know, like I don't want to beat someone who's old and everyone's like, oh, you just beat him because he's old. So this guy's in his prime. He's bigger than me. He's got a good record. He's more experienced than me. He switches southpaw, you know, which is another big risk and another big like task and challenge that I'm taking on going up against my first southpaw. So there's just like a lot of factors here that make this a intense and good fight and a really tough matchup.
Did you ever seriously consider Anderson?
No, 100%. I think that fight still happens at some point, but you know, I just didn't want to knock out another old MMA guy, and then people are just like, oh, we don't want to see it. After I beat a professional boxer August 6th, then I'll be able to do whatever I want and fight whoever I want without any criticism.
In the midst of this whole thing of whether you're going to fight Tommy or not, the Nate Diaz stuff starts to ramp up again. He even tweets a video of you knocking out Tyron Woodley, asking for his release. Dana White even comes out and says, yeah, I think that fight makes sense. Was there ever any, discussion, door opening, anything behind the scenes in terms of trying to make that fight finally happen?
There wasn't, the ball is in Dana's court. I've said that I will fight Nate Diaz in the UFC for free. All Dana White has to do is raise the fighter minimum from $12,000 to $50,000 and give the fighters long-term health care. And I'll fight Nate Diaz for free as his last fight in the UFC contract. Made that offer to no avail. And that's that. That's really where things stand. I think that fight could happen eventually. If he gets out of his UFC contract, I would love to box him. Nate wants that to happen. But obviously Dana White is, in control of all of these guys and won't let them out of his contract.
When you threw that out there, did they kick the can at all? Did they reach out? Did they try to take the temperature to see if, it's quite the offer to fight for free. Insane stuff. Was there any sort of, let's see if this is for real, anything behind, a text, something?
Nah, nothing. They don't want that. They want to avoid however they can to pay their fighters. That's the last thing that they want to do. They're sharks and they're taking advantage of these poor UFC fighters. And it sucks, but they probably won't ever pay them at this rate unless more and more fighters continue to speak up. But none of them really do. Really, Francis Ngannou is really the only one who's speaking up about it recently and has had the balls to do so because everyone's afraid of getting benched. So really, I'm the only one that's still speaking up about it and trying to do anything to make change. And I can't really make change by myself.
Considering that, have you taken your foot off that gas pedal a little bit? Like, this has happened in the past. People have tried to start associations, unions. They see no one speaks up, and then they kind of give up. Since you're not feeling any kind of reciprocation, are you going to start to lay off that?
No, my best on everything I can and still continue to speak up about it because eventually there's gonna be change. It just might take a couple of years longer. But yeah, it's a long process and it's not easy. And, you need to build up the power as a whole. But the problem is that these fighters are selfish. They're not smart enough to really band together to create a union or to create a singular force that, Dana White couldn't mess with, or these boxing promoters couldn't mess with. These fighters don't really understand things. I mean, it's sad to see. So can't really do it by myself.
By the way, as of right this moment, to the best of my knowledge, Nate hasn't re-signed. He has one fight left. Are you hoping that he doesn't go back so that maybe end of the year or early next year you can have that fight?
Yeah, look, I'm hoping, because none of these guys actually really want to fight me is what I'm coming to find out. Some exclusive news for you, Ariel. Hasim Rahman Jr. actually right now is trying to renegotiate his contract. So he signed a contract last week for 10 times more than he's ever been paid for any one of his fights. And now, boom, fast forward 1 week, he's trying to renegotiate. He's trying to suck more money out of the fight. He's trying to do anything he can to claw and make the money, because I think he realizes, the consequences of what might happen. I think he's actually scared to fight me. A lot of these guys are excited by the money at first, and then when it actually comes time to start training and getting into camp and doing all of these things, they all chicken out. So who knows if this fight's even going to happen at this point? Because we're not going to pay him more money. He's not worth it. He has a name, but he doesn't have a massive name. So it's unfortunate, man. And that's, I guess going back to your point, why I hope that Nate Diaz can get out of his contract, because I believe Nate Diaz will actually fight me and isn't afraid like most of these professional boxers.
Wait a second. So is there a chance, like in the back of your mind right now, are you worried that he doesn't show up tomorrow?
100%. Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Is he threatening that?
Yeah, I think his team is, and we don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not paying the guy more. I'm tired of these guys trying to overprice themselves. We're paying him 10 times more than he's ever made, and now he's trying to ask for 30 times more than what he's ever made all of a sudden. But there's a signed contract already. He already signed the dotted line, and now he's trying to go back and be like, well, I'm not going to fight. And it's tough because he could just, fake an injury or say his hand is broken or some shit, or whatever. We saw Tommy Fury do it with the visa thing. There's so many excuses in boxing to get out of things. So, there is a worry that he might not even show up tomorrow, and that this fight might not actually even happen.
Oh, and what's the reason? Like, why is he saying he wants to renegotiate?
He just wants more money. That's it.
Like there's no reason for it? He's not saying because...
No reason. Just like there's these new promoters that all of a sudden came in out of nowhere. And they're like, hey, we want 30 times more money, whatever. And it's these promoters who were involved with his career at some point. And they basically told Hasim, like, no, you should be getting paid more. We're not doing this fight unless you're getting paid more. So yeah, pretty unfortunate. But it just to show that these guys, they want to fight me until it's time to actually fight me. They all want the money, and then they're like, whoa, I need more money. I need more money. You see Tommy Fury do it. Even Tommy's dad was like, well, come fight us in the UK for less money. And then I tweet him. I'm like, all right, I'll give you $500K to fight me. And Tommy's like, oh, we won't even get out of bid for $400K. But you just said you'd fight me for less money. So it is a reoccurring theme. And I think this is why boxing, was such a dying sport before I came into it, and literally saved the whole entire sport, basically single-handedly, along with some other heavyweights and some lightweights, but mostly because of me, boxing was saved. And I'm starting to realize what the problem was. It's all of these fucking fitters who want fucking nuts to man up and make these fights happen. That's why you don't see the biggest. That's why fucking Tyson Fury's afraid to fight Joshua. Tyson Fury's afraid to fight Usyk. Why hasn't Gervonta and Devin Haney fought? Why hasn't Gervonta and Ryan Garcia fought? Why aren't these big fights happening? Because one of the parties is scared. Who knows which party it is? But this is why boxing is dying, is because these fights aren't mandatory. No one can force them to do these fights like they can in the UFC. So that's why I give the UFC props. That's why I give Dana White props. But it pisses me off because I just want to get into the ring and do my fucking job, put on a show for the fans, and I just can't do it.
Is there a backup to the backup now? Is there another guy that you can tap if Hasim pulls out?
Nah. If Hasim pulls out, we just won't do the event. I'm tired of switching opponents. There's really no other names. We'll have to reschedule, and it's too last minute to switch out another opponent. Like the tickets, and it creates so many complications for refunds, and it's just a fucking nightmare and a pain in the ass at this point. And it's too late to give someone a fair amount of time to train. I want someone in there who's going to give me a challenge. So if we called someone up 3 weeks before and we're like, hey, we got the fight in 3 weeks, then there could be the excuse, well, they only had a couple of weeks to train. It wasn't fair fight, blah, blah, blah. So, this is the last resort. Hopefully it comes through, and we're not paying him more. So we'll see what decision he makes. But it's just really unfortunate. It pisses me off, man. It really fucking irks me because it's so crazy how the Disney Channel everyday bro fucking kid is down to fight, but no one else is.
If I would have spoken, I think it's going to happen. I'm going to put out the good vibes. I think it's going to happen. I think he comes to the table and figures it out. And this will be suicide for him if it doesn't happen. But if I, like last August when we spoke in Cleveland, if I would have told you in a year you're going to headline MSG, you're going to co-headline MSG, Nikisa gets very mad when I don't say co-headline MSG with the great Amanda Serrano. And come on, would you have believed that? Or is this like a little bit out there for, I mean, like even this, is this impressing you?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, anything is possible. It's just how far I want to take it. I'm trying not to even set limits in my head of what's possible. So if you told me 3 years ago, I would say absolutely not. But if you told me a year ago, I'd be like, yeah, this is very possible. But none of these guys are wanting to really show up, and that's what's upsetting about this. So as cool as it is, I'm not going to be happy about it until August 6th is over and I knock the guy out and on to the next one. That's when we can celebrate and reminisce and be like, yeah, we did it.
One thing that wasn't talked about a lot was the fact that you were a free agent after the second Woodley fight. You ended up going back to Showtime. Ultimately, why did you make that decision?
Well, I think they're just the best in the boxing business. They're the most professional. They put on the best shows, the best events. I have a great relationship with them. And yeah, that's really it. The business deal is great. I love Steven Espinoza. I love the whole entire crew there, the family there, everyone. The all access teams are amazing. Shout out to Patrick. Everyone there is just really nice and jolly, and we get along great. So yeah, just excited to be with the best business in boxing.
And is this a multiple fight deal with them?
I don't know if I can speak on that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay. By the way, regarding Tommy, the word was he couldn't come over, the visa stopped at the airport, etc. Then I saw the comments from his dad about being unhappy about the shape that he was in. So now, as we stand here today speaking, what do you believe happened?
I believe exactly what his dad said. I believe that he was out of shape and his dad was like, don't take this fight right now. That's what I truly believe happened, and that he blamed the whole entire thing on not being able to get in because of a visa, which doesn't make any sense because a month earlier he was in Los Angeles on vacation. There's proof of that. There's pictures on his Instagram. And by the way, who knows if he even went to the airport? There's no pictures. He's one of the most famous people in the United Kingdom. He goes through the public airport, the most populated airport, London Heathrow, and there's not a single picture of him there with a fan or anything like that. That seems weird to me. So who knows if he even went to the airport. And then obviously his dad came out and said he wasn't training, he was fat, so I told him not to do the fight. The kid's a chump, bro. The kid's a chump. His own dad stitches on him. His own brother didn't want to put the money in escrow. When his brother made the $1 million bet a couple weeks ago, I was like, all right, let's do it. Bet $1 million. I hit up his lawyer through Nikisa. His lawyer never responded. They didn't put the money into escrow. So basically this family is all talk, all publicity, and he doesn't actually want to fight me.
And so why still even entertain it? Because you're still kind of going back and forth. Oh, UK, like why? Now it's twice that it's fallen through no fault of your own. Why even still entertain it?
For me, I want to knock him the fuck out and make him pay for all of the shit that he's done and put me through and all the money that's been lost trying to put on these events with him. He has to own up to that. He has to pay for that. And at the end of the day, if his promoters put on an event, have to do is show off their event, then I'm down. I'm down to run it. And for me, you know, this is about the legacy and knocking out a Fury and fucking up their whole boxing legacy would be really fun for me.
By the way, speaking of MSG, we last saw you in April. You're alongside Eddie Hearn, one of the greatest nights in the history of boxing. It was incredible. A huge night for MVP, huge night for Matchroom, for everyone involved. And we all thought, all right, this is a shoo-in. They're going to run it back. Maybe MSG, maybe Ireland. Now Amanda's fighting someone else on your card. Eddie was sitting here thinking, you know, saying that he doesn't know if she wants it. What's the truth from your perspective? Why isn't this rematch happening? And why does it seem like it's so far away from happening all of a sudden?
The truth, and the only truth, is the fact that Amanda Serrano has to go back down to 126 pounds to defend her belts and to stay unified as a champion, because otherwise they were going to strip her of her belts if she didn't do this fight right now, right then. So she didn't want to lose all of her belts at 126, waiting for the Katie Taylor rematch. So she's going to unify her belts again, beat this Brenda girl August 6th, and then go and do the rematch with Katie Taylor. That's it. That's bottom line. You know, all of these boxing people are snakes. You know, Eddie Hearn's a snake. He's a typical promoter, grown up in the business. He's a liar as far as I'm concerned. So you get the truth from me. Everyone knows that. So that's the bottom line. She wanted to go unify her belts, so she didn't lose them. So she stayed the 126-pound champ. And then after that, she can go and fight Katie Taylor in the rematch. So
you think the rematch happens eventually?
100%. 100%. There's no reason why it shouldn't. You know, it's going to be even bigger than the last fight. Amanda wants it. Her coach wants it. I want to do it. Nikisa wants to do it. So we're ready. And as soon as she unifies her belts, that's going to be the next conversation on the table.
By the way, even like, obviously you have the history with Eddie, and then even build up to this fight. Like, okay, he was saying some things. You have the picture on the ring. Now it feels like the relationship has really turned, where before it almost felt like two friends poking each other. Now it feels like you actually genuinely don't like him. And I've heard you call him a snake before. You just called him a snake now. It feels like your feelings towards him have changed dramatically. Is that accurate?
Yeah, they have. You know, I started to see his character for who he really was. You know, time is really the only way you can get to know somebody and understand who they are. You know, you could fool someone the first time you meet them or the first 10 times you meet them. But once you start to spend more and more time around someone, you really get a gauge of who they are and their character. And I have a really good gauge of people because I've met tens of thousands of people. I meet more people than probably 99.9% of the people in the world because of who I am and what I do and how much I travel and so on and so forth. So I have a really good gauge of people and who they are and their heart and all of these things. And, you know, it took me a while to sort of catch on to how Eddie Hearn is and how he acts. And he's very, very two-faced. You know, for example, you know, just to throw something out there, when we made the bet on stage for Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, I think it was like $1 million or something like that. And he was like, oh, let's do it. Oh, you only want to bet 500,000. Let's make it $1 million. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's do it. We shake on it on stage, right? Bet is done, signed, sealed, delivered. And then all of a sudden I get off the stage and 20 minutes later, I hear through the grapevine, like, oh no, Eddie doesn't want to actually do the bet. Eddie doesn't want to actually do the bet. Like, let's call it off. And I'm like, why? Like, why would we do that? We shook on it on stage. But he doesn't do it. This is not the time right now. And then he came up with a whole elaborate plan to tell the media that we couldn't make the bet because we were promoters or some shit like that, which isn't true. And at the time, I just went along with it. I was like, all right, whatever. If he doesn't want to do this, whatever, we'll go along with his excuse. But it's just like little things like that where on camera, he's such a different person than he is behind the scenes. And yeah, that's just one example. And I just get that from him all the time in many different situations now that I don't need to go into all of them, but that's just like how he is. And that is his character. And he's very conniving. He's a jealous person. And I think he's really jealous of me, right? I'm this new young boxing promoter that came in and is doing it way bigger and better than him, have 20 times his platform. And he's been doing this his whole entire life. His dad's been doing it his whole entire life. And now all of a sudden there's this new kid on the block. He's going to do anything he can to discredit me. So I get this like jealous, manipulative, sort of snaky guy coming out of him every single time I'm around him. And I didn't see that until recently. So I'm just keeping my distance, and, he's cool for what it is. And we can do business together, and business is business. But as far as being friends and all that shit, fuck that.
I said we have a couple more minutes. You still in transit here? Can I still pepper you with questions, or are we good?
Yeah, no, yeah, I got like 5 more minutes here.
All right, cool. Are we inching closer to Jake Paul, Conor McGregor? I see he's responded on Twitter a couple of times. Do you feel like we are getting closer to it? For a while, it felt like he wasn't responding. Now, a couple of times we've seen it. Do you feel like we are inching closer to this crazy dream actually coming to fruition?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, fighting a couple more times, continuing to knock some people out, and he has to get active again. Who knows when that's going to happen. So I think those two things need to happen. And then at some point it's got to happen. Why not? He's a businessman. I'm a businessman. And that's, $75 to $100 million for both of us. Which
one would mean more to you? Like, which impossible dream would mean more, Conor or Canelo?
I think Conor and I would be way more exciting, way more electric. I think we're both, more of a showman than Canelo. So just the press conferences and all the shit talk would be absolutely legendary. It'd be historic, and it would be so entertaining for the fans. It would be riveting. People would be on the edge of their seat salivating to see us fight because of how much promotion going into it that we would both bring.
We like to talk a lot. It comes up with Conor. It comes up with boxers. You reach a certain status, a certain pay scale. It's hard to wake up. I mention the Marvin Hagler line all the time. People make fun of me. Hard to wake up at 4 a.m. when you're, waking up in satin sheets, right? It's hard to wake up to pound the pavement to spar when you're making millions of dollars. You entered this world making that money, and it comes out last year, 45 million, something like that. And you could, at some point, you're like, I don't really like, I'm 20 something years old. Like, I don't want to get punched in the face. Like, I feel like this is going to make your career a lot shorter. Are you starting to fear that you're losing that fire, that edge? You're making so much money. There's so much money for you to make out there. Even your brother now is in wrestling, and that's no knock on him, but you're not getting punched in the face when you're doing wrestling. Like, are you at all starting to feel what those great boxers have felt in the past? When you make a certain amount of money, it's hard to keep sparring and running in the morning and all that stuff.
No, look, I'm addicted to this shit. Quite literally. It's the weirdest thing in the world, and I feel like I'm just starting. I feel like I'm just starting to catch stride in my ability and my progress. I need to fight. Period. Like, this is who I am. Fighting is me. Jake Paul is fighting, and it's built into my DNA. It makes me alive. I get a fucking hard on in the ring every time I get to spar. And yeah, there's days that are hard. It's the hardest sport in the world for sure. There's some days where it's not fun and you take your licks. But for right now, I'm just getting warmed up, and the world should be scared. The world should be put on notice, because the ability that I'm creating in the gym right now, and the training I'm going through, and how good I am getting, people should be very scared. And the possibilities are endless, man. I could really take this as far as I want to. And there's no limit, because I have the talent, and I have the mindset, and I have the balls. A lot of people don't have the ability to perform in front of 20,000 people. They get scared when they make that ring walk. Me, I'm the exact opposite. Like I'm looking forward to the ring walk. I love this fight day more than anything else. So I don't know. I'm just built for this, man.
Two last things. WWE try to get you to team up with your brother or anything like that? I saw you at Mania. Was there any talks of that? You guys as a tag team, a one-off?
Nah, there hasn't been. I can't really risk getting hurt for my boxing career, because obviously the wrestling stuff is very intense and people get injured in that. So for me, it's just not worth the risk right now at this point in my career.
I read on your Instagram, you said that you went on one of those ayahuasca trips in Costa Rica. Sounds like hell. You're throwing up. You're all sweaty, all gross. Did you enjoy it? Be honest. I mean, I feel like everyone feels like they have to say they enjoy it, but why would anyone want to do this? It's a crazy thing.
It is very, very crazy. And yeah, I had a beautiful experience, but also very, very difficult. It's a very hard look into the mirror at oneself, and it brings up a lot of problems and things that you don't like about yourself. But at the same time, it's very, very magical. It's very, very eye-opening, and it makes you appreciate life more. And the shit that happens on it is just beyond words. There's no way to even describe it, but it just shows you how beautiful life is. And I would recommend it to everyone, man. I think if every single person in the world did ayahuasca once a year, there would be so many problems solved in the world. And so there'd be so much change in the world. There'd be so much more peace, so much more understanding. People's egos would, start to dissipate. So it's really just a magical thing. And the throwing up, the sweating, all of that is a part of the amazing journey. And wow, it's life-changing, to say the least.
All right. I'll leave it to you young kids. You're on your way to New York.
I'll bring you. I'm gonna go back and do it next year. If you want to come, I'll invite you.
Yeah, me and you, just us two, or is it like a crew? I mean, is it?
I'm bringing my whole team. It's like 25 people. So if you want to come, I'll.
I got the VIP invite. If Nikisa goes, I go. Is he going?
Okay. I think Nikisa would be afraid, but I'll see.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You're on your way to New York. Press conference tomorrow, 1 p.m. It'll be streamed on the Showtime YouTube, probably your YouTube channel as well, as is usually the case. What's the message to Hasim Rahman? Are you going to see him in 21 hours? What's the message?
Hey, don't fumble the biggest bag of your life, dumbass. I know you're not a very smart guy, but you're literally going to lose all of the fucking money right now. Don't make the wrong decision. Don't let these sharks around you try to negotiate to get more money, because we're not paying you more money. Show up, be a professional boxer, and don't be a bitch. You're nothing like your dad. This might be your moment to become something like your dad, but right now you've let your dad down in every single thing you've done in your life. And if you fumble this, he's going to be even more disappointed in you. So make it happen and come knock me out August 6th. Otherwise, you're a bitch.
Appreciate it, Jake. Safe travels. I'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out, Ariel.
All right, there he is, Jake Paul. I mean, that was something. And how about that breaking news? Hasim Rahman trying to renegotiate the deal, and hopefully we actually get to see this fight. This is this one intrigues me. This one really intrigues me. I think it should intrigue you as well. And I feel like after that, I'm even more intrigued. I think we'll see Hasim tomorrow, 1 p.m. I'll be there, and I hope you will as well, virtually or not. And so I appreciate Jake doing that on the way to the airport. Appreciate his team setting him up. and making that happen. By the way, the car was really cool with the lights on top. What was that? I mean, is that a special thing that you put in, or is that a special car? I should have asked that. Probably messed that one up big time. But here's so that's the great story. We've got a big week. We've had a big show. We had Andrew Schulz in studio. We had my doppelganger. We had Chris Curtis. We had Yair, main event this Saturday. We had Jake on August 6th, Madison Square Garden. We're hosting the press conference tomorrow. I say we because we're all in this together. We hosting the press conference tomorrow, capital W, tomorrow at 1 p.m. When that's done, probably around 2, I could have gone home, but I'm not going home. I'm not going home because I'm coming here. I'm coming here. Why? Because we have breaking news for all of you. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, July 12th, special Tuesday edition, Tuesday edition of the Mixed Martial Arts Hour. Special Tuesday edition. There's only been one man that we've done a special edition for in the past. We did it in 2016. We did it in 2017. One man. Tomorrow, around 4 p.m.-ish Eastern, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. BST-ish. On this channel, YouTube, live, podcast afterwards, MMA Fighting YouTube, members chat now. What's up? Tomorrow, after the press conference, 4 o'clock Eastern, I'll be in this chair because we'll have a special edition of the show featuring the one and only Nathan Diaz. Yes, it is true. The pride of the 209 back on the program. Do you think we have a few things to discuss? Do you think we have a few things to talk about? We're doing a special Tuesday show and then back Wednesday. 3 shows this week, back to back to back. We're going back to back to back like the Bulls in the 90s. Tuesday edition, Nathan Diaz live, not pre-taped, not taping it tonight and posting it tomorrow as a premiere, live on the program like we did in 2016 after the first Conor fight, like we did in 2017 a year later. Tomorrow, again, Tuesday, what a day tomorrow is going to be. Press conference at 1. Come on over here, hang out with us. Tuesday edition of the Can we get another breaking news? I mean, if there ever was a time that deserved 2 breaking news jingles, it was now. Tomorrow and then back on Wednesday, same time and place. How about that? 3 MMA hours for all of y'all. I can't wait. I mean, I was thinking to myself, you know what, Ariel? The 30s were great. And we're not going to sit here and pat ourselves on the back and do the old Barry H. But how are we going to start the 40s off with a bang? How are we going to start this decade, which will be no doubt, hopefully, our best decade yet? How are we going to start it off? Schultzy, King Hezzy, big time show today. Wednesday, big time show. Tuesday, special edition of the MMA Hour. I can't wait. I hope you're as excited as I am. And by the way, today's a great day, July 11th. Great day in the history of the sport. UFC 189, as New York Rick said, UFC 100 back in the day. Brock versus Frank Mir. Do want to give a special shout out and mazel tov to my brother, who Uriah Faber says I never shout out, who got married this morning to his lovely new wife, Hannah. How about that? My brother now married, so all 3 Helwani boys and the Helwani girl in the family all married. A very exciting day, which we shall celebrate later on today. I'm very, very happy for them and very excited. So it's a great day all around. We're all on cloud 9. We're all happy to be alive. It's the best month of the year. We got the UFC in town. We've got big time guests. And again, once again, read it and weep right there. Tomorrow, Nathan Diaz live on the show. Tuesday, consume this show because we're right back at it in around 23 hours from right now. I can't wait. I'm super pumped. There's nothing like a special edition with Nathan. Of course, we saw the boxing last week. We saw the uppercuts. We saw the slips. We saw the jabs. We saw everything. Now we're actually going to speak about it all. I think we have a few things to discuss. With that, we're out of time. Thank you very much. You can hit my music. It's time to go. We've got a wedding to celebrate, a marriage to celebrate, and we also have, we've got to recharge the batteries. You know, we got to dust off the old suit. We're going to be standing there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the world's most famous arena. Welcome to the Mecca. Welcome to Madison Square Garden. How about that? Your old friend, Helwani. A lot going on, my friends. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary of this show returning. Independent Helwani, that era well underway. 1 year in the book. Got some plans, got some things in motion. I need to wear this to the gym now. I'm going to work out these days. By the way, what do you give me here? A large, I haven't worn a large since high school. So, I don't know if you guys know about what's going on over here, right over here at the 24 inches. But I do appreciate it, and that was a lot of fun. And go check out his special, Andrew Schulz's special, infamous, theandrewschulz.com, theandrewschulz.com, SHULZ. I think I won the face-off as well. There's just W's all over. I'm dropping W's here. I'm dropping W's there. W's all over the place. So we're feeling good. Thank you very much to him for coming by. That was fun. Thank you very much to Aiemann Zahabi. Congrats on the win. Big-time win for him. Always great to see a fellow Montrealer pick up the big win. Good luck to Chris Curtis. Massive opportunity against Jack Hermansson coming up on July 23rd. Couple of big-time fights coming up, big-time cards for the UFC. Good luck to Yair Rodriguez, and of course, good luck to Jake Paul. Hopefully we see both Jake and Hasim Rahman tomorrow, and then I'll be back here. Nathan Diaz, Tuesday edition. Back tomorrow, same time and place. Until I say peace, I'm out of here.